You have 1 billion in your bank card, but you are not happy because the system stipulates that you must spend all 1 billion within 24 hours. Otherwise your kidney will be removed. You take out your phone with trembling hands and carefully confirm that the balance displayed is 1 billion and 5 yuan, so you immediately go straight to the Bay Villa district. As soon as I arrived at the gate, I heard a familiar voice. Isn't this Huxin? At this time, a luxury car came speeding and stopped at the gate. Sitting in the passenger seat is Wang Yinghong, your green tea girlfriend who deceived you completely. You were furious when you saw her, but then you calmed down a little when you remembered that you now have 1 billion. Is it really you? You actually begged at the Bay Villa? I'm here to buy a villa, not to beg. Wang Yinghong burst out laughing. Tell me again what you are doing here, Jun, did you hear me? My useless ex-boyfriend actually said he was here to buy a villa. The young man driving the car sneered and said, what a coincidence. We are also here to buy a villa since you said you are also here to buy a villa. Then get in the car and let's go buy a villa together. Seeing that the gate is still 1 kilometer away from the sales office, you get in the car happily. Huxin, you really dare to get in the car. Aren't you afraid of dirtying my boyfriend's new car? Baby, it's okay, let us see how he buys a villa. Li Kongjun looks like he's waiting to see me laugh. But at this moment I smiled and said, this car is not bad. It should be worth thousands. Li Kongjun frowned when he heard this, feeling that this was a mockery and attack on him. After all, this car was only over 1 million yuan. Don't worry about how much my car costs. You can't afford it anyway. That's right, I really don't like cars that cost thousands of dollars. The ex-girlfriend burst out laughing again. Huxin. How come I didn't know your ability to brag before? You narrowed your eyes and said, of course you don't know, you approached me just to covet my body. Hearing this, Li Kongjun braked suddenly, looked at Wang Yinghong and asked loudly, didn't you tell me that you are still a virgin? John, I didn't lie to you, although Huxin and I have been together for almost 2 years. He really has never touched me. Huxin, stop talking nonsense. Yes, I have been with Wang Yinghong for nearly 2 years. And I have never even touched his hand. Huxin, you are just seeking revenge. Right? Get out of here right now. Wang Yinghong is going crazy. Take over, man, your baby is angry, so I'll get out of the car. After saying that, he opened the car door and walked out of the car in a cool manner. Hearing the word take over, man, Li Kongjun was immediately furious. You get out of here too, quickly. Even a poor guy like Huxin has been your partner for 2 years. Do you think I'm a rag collector? At this time, I had arrived at the sales office and walked in. A female salesperson came to greet me and asked, sir, are you going to buy a villa? Give me the most expensive one. Before the beautiful saleswoman finishes speaking, you take out your bank card and hand it over. Sir, are you serious? This was the first time for the beautiful saleswoman to meet such a customer. And she was a little confused. There were several other customers and salespeople at the scene, all looking at me at the same time. I have no patience when it comes to buying things. Just give me what I want and I'll pay if you want to show off. Then you should do it in a straightforward manner. Li Kongjun and his green tea ex-girlfriend, who had just come in, were stunned when they heard this. This kind of pretense is too direct. Sir, the most expensive villa we have here is Villa No. 2, which is worth 880 million. Are you sure you want to buy it? What? The most expensive one is less than 1 billion. Do you look down on me? You asked in a very dissatisfied tone. The green tea ex-girlfriend seized the opportunity and laughed. Seeing that everyone's eyes were on you, the green tea ex-girlfriend pointed at you viciously and said, he is my ex-boyfriend because he is too poor. He couldn't stand the stimulation after the breakup. So he came to the Bay Villa to buy a villa. Now, he is afraid that he can't even take out 1,000 yuan. If you don't want to pay attention to him, just use the villa card. Don't delay my spending time, you urged. Everyone was stunned again. This guy was so serious that he didn't look like he was joking. But he was too arrogant. Don't delay him from spending money. He even dared to say this word. Hurry up and do it. I am really in a hurry to spend money, I urged. This made everyone at the scene unable to listen. In my life, I have never seen such a pretentious person. Soon the payment reminder sounded. At 8,888,888 yuan has arrived. Chapter 351, Bitten. Dark Sky rolled his eyes and said, technological weapons cannot harm the resentment of vengeful spirits. Doing this will only accelerate the fusion of resentment and form a powerful and invincible super vengeful spirit. Then what should we do? Shihong Yui was very anxious. After all, this was related to the safety of the mainland. Dark Sky said, it is very easy for my husband to deal with evil spirits. Whether it is lightning, light, or the power of death, they are all powerful weapons to deal with evil spirits. You actually have mastered so many attribute genetic powers. And each one is stronger than the other. Can living beings also control the power of death gene? Shihong Yui was shocked to the extreme. Huaxian said calmly. It's just basic operation, don't make a fuss. I thought to myself. I have the awesome skill of devouring souls, but I don't know if it will work against evil spirits. What is your identity? Shihong Yui asked suddenly. And suddenly realized that this guy's identity seemed to be very unusual. No wonder his father attached so much importance to him. Huaxian said seriously, don't be curious about me, and don't fall in love with me. After all, I swear I won't be interested in you. Shihong Yui's body trembled. Feeling very unwilling, but unable to refute. Let's go and see if there are any strange things. Dark Sky said curiously. Now that he can live like an ordinary person. He likes it very much and is gradually getting used to it. There's another meatball there, Dark Sky said in surprise. Trotted over. This meatball is even bigger than the previous one. And it has things like hands and feet growing on it. Which is extremely weird. Shihong Yui looked around the meatball curiously. Suddenly I saw that it looked like a human nose, mouth and eyes, but it was not yet fully formed. She was so curious that she reached out and touched the unformed facial features. Just touched. Unexpectedly, the huge mouth suddenly opened and bit her hand. Shihong Yui was so scared that he screamed and tried hard to pull his hand out. But he couldn't. Huaxian and Hiatian both looked over. Why are you touching it? It's over. The only way is to cut off your arm. Said Dark Sky. Huaxian said, it's not that serious. Right? See for yourself. Huaxian observed carefully and found that the lump of flesh was spreading along Shihong Yui's arm. Shihong Yui himself saw it and was terrified to the extreme. How do you feel now? Huaxian asked Shihong Yui. Asshole. What else can you feel? It's so disgusting also, your hand has lost feeling. You'd better think of a way to deal with it. Shihong Yui roared angrily. I also deeply regretted that my curiosity killed me. Why did I touch him for no reason? Huaxian said, and I'll try to see if I can help you. A ray of healing holy light fell on the flesh that was biting Shihong Yui. The holy light lasted for a while, but there was no response. Dark Sky shook his head and said, it's useless. The only way is to cut off her arm. Besides, an arm that has been devoured by this thing will never grow back no matter how good the treatment is. No, how can I live without arms? I would rather die. Shihong Yui cried. Huaxian said, let me try. He reached out and grabbed Shihong Yui's little arm. What are you going to do? Shihong Yui cursed angrily with his body trembling. You subconsciously slapped Huaxian with one hand. Huaxian took her hand and said, you are really a barbaric woman. I am helping you. Let me see if this meatball will spread to my hand and replace you. Shihong Yui was stunned. And he asked in disbelief. But your arm might be broken if you do this. Huaxian said speechless lie. So what? You can't bear to give up your arm. You are the commander's daughter. I can't just stand by and watch you die. As he spoke, the lump of flesh indeed spread onto Huaxian's arm. A surprising scene appeared. As if Huaxian's arm was more delicious, the meatball wrapped around Shihong Yui actually gave up on its own initiative. Shihong Yui quickly pulled his hand back. The entire palm wrapped in the flesh ball was full of pits and pits due to corrosion. It was definitely painful, but Shihong Yui resisted it. Huaxian's hand was completely wrapped by the meatball. And as if stimulated, it spread and wanted to swallow Huaxian much faster than when it targeted Shihong Yui. Shihong Yui simply treated the injury on his hand, looked at Huaxian with a strange mood, and looked at his face. I thought this guy was actually pretty good even though he wasn't very handsome. He wasn't bad either, just a little bit strong. Suddenly remembering that she couldn't pull her hand out after biting the meatball, she said to Dark Sky, hurry up and think of a way to save your husband. Dark Sky said, if it was my husband who was bitten by him, it would be his sorrow. You just need to watch. Shihong Yui was stunned, and observed Huaxian carefully. He looked indifferent, as if he was experiencing something seriously. Huaxian naturally felt the corrosive power, but it seemed to have no effect on him after all. He was a person who had experienced the high stomach acid caused by the Abyss Demon chapter. Thinking of the stomach acid of the Abyss Demon seal, Huaxian's eyes lit up. System, extract the stomach acid of the Abyss Demon seal and release it into my right hand. Ding, the stomach acid right hand extracted from the Abyss Demon chapter was released successfully. Because the host has unlimited strengthening points, no consumption will be deducted. When the gastric acid of the Abyss Demon seal was released into the body of the meatball, the powerful corrosiveness caused the entire meatball to tremble violently. Then, green smoke came out of the meatball, and both Shihong Yui and Hiatian smelled the aroma of barbecue. Shihong Yui was extremely shocked and asked Huaxian, what did you do to him? Huaxian said calmly, there's nothing to do. Shihong Yui rolled his eyes and didn't believe his plan. But Huaxian became more and more curious. Gradually, the flesh ball, which was as tall as a human, began to shrink, and foul-smelling black water flowed out from the ground. After a few minutes, the meatball dried up completely and finally turned into a pool of black water. Huaxian shook his hands in disgust to get rid of the dirt on them. But he still felt disgusted. Dark Sky asked in shock. Hubby, you used the gastric juice of the abyss demon seal. Huaxian's eyes lit up and he said, Wife, you can see this. Dark Sky said, I am very sensitive to any energy. And I am an old friend of the abyss demon chapter. The highly corrosive gastric juice is the source of her energy. You must have drained all of his gastric juice, otherwise she wouldn't have died so easily. Huaxian chuckled and said, my wife is still the best. So corny, Shihama Yui said, speechless lie. At the same time, she was also shocked. Although she had never seen the abyss demon chapter, she had seen records of it in ancient books. It was an extremely terrifying existence, at least at the level of a true god. What is shocking is that Huaxian actually killed the abyss demon chapter. Dark Sky and the abyss demon chapter are old friends. And what is she? I feel that both Huaxian and this Dark Sky are so mysterious. Chapter 352, The Soul of the Wrathful Spirit. Huaxian looked at the meatballs in the distance and said, let's go and give them some extra food. When Huaxian walked in front of a fleshy ball, he would start to touch it randomly. When he touched their mouth, they would bite it. Then inject the high-strength gastric acid of the abyss demon seal. Repeat this process. 1, 2, 5 more and more meatballs melted under the stomach acid of the abyss demon seal. When there are 100. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have eliminated 100 evil meatballs, opened the Human King rewards book, and received 100 Human King points as a reward note. Human King points can be converted into any power, and the host can use them to reward subordinates, improve their cultivation, etc. Huaxian's eyes lit up, and he was overjoyed after learning in detail the function of the Human King point. It turns out that anyone can be upgraded and strengthened at will, no longer restricted by the system. For example, his current gene points can only be used by him and the heroine, but no one else can. However, the Human King points are different. Very good, I need to accumulate more Human King points. Honey, why do I feel like you're suddenly very happy? And Hietian asked curiously as he looked at Huaxian, who was grinning foolishly. Wife, I am happy that I have eliminated these evils. I have to speed up and try to eliminate all these evil meatballs before dark. With the reward, Huaxian worked even harder. Chihama Yui's eyes sparkled as he looked at him, thinking, this guy may be annoying with his mouth, but he has a very good heart and is very kind. Unconsciously, she didn't even notice that she had developed a crush on Huaxian. Time passes by every second. Darkness is coming. The entire cemetery seemed to be in the grip of a cold winter. And it was truly bone-chillingly cold, making people feel uneasy and increasingly frightened. You know, it's not completely dark yet. Chihama Yui felt increasingly uneasy and suggested, why don't we just leave here and come back tomorrow? Dark Sky said, you can't leave now. At this moment, the countless dry bones actually crawled up. Chihama Yui was so scared that she was about to scream. But Hietian quickly covered her mouth and whispered, the dry bones at this time are like zombies. There is no point. But if you scream, you will wake up the evil spirits in their heads in advance. Chihama Yui nodded pale-eyed, and the dark genius let go of his hand, looking at the countless dead bones walking aimlessly. My heart was shocked to the extreme. Huaxian didn't care about these dry bones and continued to work hard to destroy the evil meatballs. Looking at the accumulated 3,100 Human King points, the smile on his face never disappeared. You know, this Human King point can be converted into any power. That is to say, it can allow a person at the peak of a pseudo-god to instantly break through to a true god. It's scary to think about it. The afterglow of sunset disappears and darkness finally falls. At this time, green flames appeared in the heads of countless dry bones. Immediately all the dead bones looked at Huaxian and the others. Chihama Yui was extremely frightened and felt a strong hostility. As Hietian waved his hand, darkness enveloped both her and Chihama Yui. Chihama Yui suddenly felt that those dry bones seemed to have lost their target, and the powerful hostility also disappeared. He looked at Dark Sky in shock and asked, what on earth are you? Dark Sky ignored him. Chihama Yui was speechless, and suddenly thought of Huaxian, and asked, what about your husband? He doesn't need us to worry. Countless dry bones stared at Huaxian for a long time, and as if receiving an order, countless dry bones swarmed towards Huaxian. Chihama Yui screamed in fright, but then realized that he couldn't scream, so he quickly covered his mouth. I was so shocked by this scene. Looking at Huaxian again, he had a calm expression and was still destroying a meatball. Facing the countless dead bones approaching, he was not afraid at all. Devouring souls. Huaxian's soul rushed out of his body instantly. Of course, only Dark Sky could feel it. Shi Hongyui couldn't see it. Huaxian's soul turned into a huge mouth and rushed madly into a dry skeleton's head. The next moment, the flickering strange blue fire of the vengeful spirit went out. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have successfully devoured the vengeful spirit and obtained 0 soul points. Since the host has sealed a powerful soul, the soul points will be automatically converted into soul gene points. After hearing the system's prompt, Huaxian suddenly lost interest. He now possesses 35 million soul gene points, and he really doesn't care about these 0. Of course, it is better to have something than nothing. After all, strengthening the heroine requires soul gene points. So the crazy eating mode started again. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have eliminated 100 resentful spirits and received 100 king points as a reward. A pleasant surprise. Compared with the soul gene points, Huaxian believes that the human king points are the good ones. I immediately became motivated, madly devouring the souls of those resentful spirits. Shi Hongyui was shocked by the scene before him and asked Dark Sky, why do the blue flames in the heads of those withered bones go out when they approach Huaxian? Dark Sky said, because my husband's soul left his body and destroyed those resentful spirits. Spirit soul. Shi Hongyui was extremely shocked. The soul is recognized as the most difficult power to cultivate, and it is also the necessary power to become a true god. To reach the peak of pseudo-god realm in genetic cultivation, if one wants to break through to the true god level, one must increase the strength of the soul. But the soul is illusory and it is too difficult to remind it. So there are very few false gods in various worlds who have broken through to the true god. Looking at Huaxian's body, his expression was dull, as if he was in a trance. It seemed that Dark Sky did not lie to him. So what exactly is this Huaxian? Does he have a soul? Is he a true god? Mysterious, he feels so mysterious. I suddenly want to dig deeper and understand him. The night was a torment for Shi Hongyui, but it passed too quickly for Huaxian. When the dawn light shines on the earth. Boom boom boom. In the cemetery, the resentful spirits instantly hid in the earth, and the dry bones fell to the ground. Huaxian did have some regrets. The harvest for one night was 33 million soul gene points and the corresponding 33 million human king points. Huaxian was surprised and extremely excited about such a harvest. Honey, it seems like we gained a lot last night. Dark Sky walked over and asked. Shi Hongyui looked around Huaxian with great curiosity. It's okay, not too bad. Huaxian was in a good mood. Shi Hongyui, what are you doing? I'm warning you, don't like me. Don't fall in love with me. I swear I won't have any feelings for you. Shi Hongyui rolled his eyes and said, I don't have a good impression of you either. Boom! With a loud bang, Huaxian and the others felt the earth shake violently, and the ground beneath my feet collapsed. A powerful suction force came suddenly, and even Dark Sky had no time to react, and sucked the three of them into the darkness. Chapter 353, Yin and Yang. Dark Sky reacted and with a wave of his hand, he hugged Shi Hongyui in his arms. As for Huaxian, she didn't care. Shi Hongyui didn't make a fuss and gradually adapted to following them. In her heart, Huaxian and Enheian were both abnormally strong. After falling for a while, Huaxian did a somersault and landed steadily. Dark Sky and Shi Hongyui also landed beside him. What caught the eye was a huge ice coffin emitting a faint blue light. So it's not dark here. Wife, feel it. Is there some big devil in this ice coffin? Dark Sky shook his head and said, I can't feel it. It must be specially sealed. But it is certain that the changes in the cemetery are related to this crystal coffin. And all we have to do is open it and take a look. Shi Hongyui, why don't you open it? Huaxian asked. Shi Hongyui had suffered from being bitten by the evil meatball before. So he rolled his eyes and said, you are dreaming, go by yourself. Just go by yourself. Huaxian walked to the side of the ice coffin, which was 2 meters 74 in height. He then looked at the width, which was 1 meter 74 in width. He then looked at the thickness of the coffin lid, which was 0.74 in thickness. They are all inseparable from July 4th, which is very strange. With Dark Sky following closely behind him, Shi Hongyui dared not stay there alone. He looked around and discovered that in addition to this ice coffin, there were countless other coffins. Hey, Huaxian, why don't you take a look at those coffins first? Shi Hongyui suggested. I thought, if you can't deal with those coffins, opening the ice coffin would be seeking death. Huaxian looked at the coffins around him, thought for a moment and said, that's right, let's take a look at those coffins first. As he spoke, he walked to the nearest black coffin and looked around. This is a normal coffin, nothing special about its appearance. Push it open violently. Black smoke came out. This is corpse key, Dark Sky reminded loudly. Shi Hongyui quickly dodged, and Huaxian was sprayed in the face. He turned to look at Dark Yandao. Wife, remind me earlier next time. Diu. Jihonga Yui looked at Huxian and couldn't help laughing out loud. Huxian said speechless lie, what are you laughing at? He quickly observed himself with his soul, and saw that his face and lips were completely black. Dark Sky said, husband, you have been poisoned by corpse poison. It's okay, I don't feel anything. Huxian said inferently and looked into the coffin. It's a delight. A living corpse of a beautiful woman. As if a living person was sleeping inside. If the corpse gas just now hadn't been real, I would have suspected that she was alive. After Dark Qian came over and took a look, he frowned and said, this is a yin corpse. Wife, what is a yin corpse? It is a yin corpse. It is a girl born on a yin day in a yin month and yin year. After death, she becomes a yin corpse. There are countless coffins here. And there must be many yin corpses. The coffins on the periphery must contain yang corpses. This is how we set up the yin-yang corpse raising formation. Looking at the ice coffin, he continued, in this case, a person in the ice coffin is definitely not simple. Once successful, it must be the big devil. Jihonga Yui was extremely shocked when he heard this. He didn't expect that there was such an evil existence under the military cemetery. Huxian smiled and said, it seems that the other party has no intention of letting us go. Otherwise how could they get us down? Then he looked at the body in the coffin and said, what a pity, such a beautiful woman eyed like this. Jihonga Yui rolled his eyes and muttered, he is indeed a pervert. Huxian stared at her and asked, how am I a pervert? I just felt sorry for her. Did I say I was going to do anything to her? Besides, I see that you just want to. If your wife and I weren't here, you would definitely not let go of the corpse. You can't let me go even if I'm here. After Huxian finished speaking, he jumped up, stood with his legs apart on both sides of the coffin, reached out and grabbed the corpse's arms and pulled her up. Upon seeing this, Dark Sky immediately put his arm around Jihonga Yui's waist, using the dark power to shield each other, and retreated to the corner. Jihonga Yui hadn't reacted yet, and subconsciously asked, what are you doing? Dark Sky didn't answer. The next moment, boom boom boom, all the coffin lids were shaking, not just the ordinary coffin lids, but even the lid of the ice coffin was shaking. The whole thing was weird to the extreme. Only then did Jihonga Yui realize that it was Huxian who had moved the corpse. Immediately all the coffin lids flew up and did not fall to the ground. As if someone was directing them, they were all aimed at Huxian. The densely packed coffin lids crashed towards Huxian. Fuck, that's too much. Huxian immediately threw himself into the coffin lid at his feet. Ding dong. The lid of the coffin actually collapsed by itself, trapping Huxian and the female corpse inside. The strange thing was that the other coffin lids were suspended in the air and did not hit this coffin. The coffin was narrow, and Huxian had close contact with the beautiful woman's corpse. Suddenly, the corpse opened its eyes, as if it had come back to life, and hugged him and bit him hard on the mouth. Huxian was stunned. I thought, am I going to be raped by a corpse? Ding! The host's yang energy is rapidly draining away, losing 10.0 points of yang energy per second. There. It's so horrible. Outside, gray smoke and golden gas appeared in all the coffins, and they all floated towards the ice coffin in the middle. Jihonga Yui asked in a shocked voice, what is that? And Ian replied in a deep voice, Yang Qi, my husband's Yang Qi. With so much yang energy loss, your husband won't. No, if he died like this, he would not be the human king. Human king? Dark Sky let the secret slip, and Jihonga Yui was extremely shocked. She had always been curious about the human king, so she consulted countless ancient books about him, but still knew very little. I never dreamed that the man I looked down upon would actually be the king of men. Thinking back carefully, he is full of mystery and can overcome all kinds of dangers. Isn't he the human king with great fortune recorded in the book? He smiled bitterly, never expecting that he would actually force the human king to swear not to think about him. In the coffin, Huxian was angry. I'm going to die because you've washed away all my yang energy. Won't I be suffering from yang deficiency? In a rage, Huxian exploded. He might as well go all out and practice dual cultivation with the beautiful woman who wouldn't let go of him. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have obtained the first drop of blood from the 10,000-year-old yin corpse, replenishing both yin and yang, increasing the yang key value by 100 million points, and obtaining 100 million points of death key. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have bound yourself to the top female master of the Death Corpse clan, Yin Yunyu, and gained a 100 million times increase in combat power. Huxian was stunned. When I realized what was happening, I was overjoyed and thought that if I had known there was such a reward, I would have taken action earlier. Next, with the blessing of 100 million points of yang energy, Huxian completely resisted the loss of yang energy. Outside, Jihonga Yui, who was watching this scene, asked numbly, Is your husband's yang energy inexhaustible? Dark Sky also frowned, wondering why her husband's yang qi was so strong. Chapter 354. 10,000 years of planning ended in failure. After the yin and yang supplements, Wu Xin was shocked. I can feel my physical fitness improving rapidly, and I can perceive the improvement. This feeling can only be felt when the system is strengthened. But now he has not performed any strengthening. The improvement in his physical fitness is so terrifying. Not only that, even the soul is becoming more and more solid. I am extremely shocked. Is this the yin and yang complement? I never thought that a crisis would bring me such huge benefits. Of course, Hu Xian also understood that if it weren't for the 100 million points of yang energy, he would definitely not be able to hold on. At that time it was not to supplements. Click. A voice that only the soul could hear rang out. Then, a kind of comfort, an indescribable comfort, surged throughout my body. Even my soul felt extremely comfortable. Ding, congratulations to the host. Your basic attributes have broken through the pseudo-god gene limit and entered the true god level. Ding, congratulations to the host for breaking through a difficult level and receiving 3 lucky draw opportunities as a reward. Wu Xian was stunned. Basic attributes are at the true god level? This is a breakthrough? Why does it feel so simple? Outside, Dark Sky sensed something and his body trembled. He was extremely shocked. I muttered to myself, you are worthy of being the human king. It was clearly a situation where you were bound to die. But you broke through the shackles and achieved the status of a true god. Chihongra Yui sensed the changes in Dark Sky and asked in surprise. What's wrong with you? Unannate Chiite thought about the fact that she was the wife of the human king. She was in a good mood and replied, my husband has made a breakthrough. Breakthrough? What realm? Chihongra Yui was very curious. A realm of true god. He was so powerful before. Wasn't he at the level of true god? Chihongra Yui was extremely shocked. He is the human king, so it is normal for him to have the ability to fight above his level. Now that he has broken through to the true god realm, I dare not imagine how powerful he will be. Is the human king really that powerful? Chihongra Yui muttered, regretting that he had disliked Hu Xin and forced him to swear. It is 1,000 times more powerful than you can imagine, said Dark Sky. I never thought that, as a dark and evil person, I would become the wife of the human king in this life. I am looking forward to what will happen next. In the coffin. It took Hu Xian a long time to calm down. System, give me 3 draws. Ding, congratulations to the host. You won the level-less weapon Human King Spear in the lottery. Ding, congratulations to the host. You won the level-less Human King Armor set in the lottery. Ding, congratulations to the host. You won the skill of Human King Deterrence in the lottery. Hu Xian was stunned this time. The rewards were not related to light, but were all related to the human king. It doesn't matter. It's the system's arrangement anyway and he is powerless to resist. Another 3 hours passed, a total of 7 hours, and the dual cultivation was completed. Boom! The ice coffin exploded. Boom boom boom. As Chihongra Yui watched in shock, after the ice coffin exploded, all the coffins exploded. Dark Sky was extremely shocked and exclaimed in shock. My husband is so strong that he turned the tide and made the female corpse in the coffin become the master, taking advantage of the huge benefits that others had laid out for thousands of years. If I were the master of the ice coffin, and I knew that my plan of thousands of years had become someone else's wedding dress, I would probably be so angry that I would come back to life. Chihongra Yui didn't quite understand and asked curiously, what do you mean by that? What else can it mean? The female corpse in the coffin where my husband is just a yin corpse. A sacrifice. Yes, she is lucky her husband chose her. Although her role is only to extract and transmit the yang qi. After filtering the 10,000 yin and yang corpses, it will be transmitted to the owner of the ice coffin. But the master of the ice coffin probably didn't expect that my husband would be so crazy as to practice dual cultivation with a corpse. In this way, the yin and yang complement each other. This benefit cannot be predicted by the master of the ice coffin. So my husband has breakthroughs everywhere, and she has also achieved breakthroughs in the right places. The key is that this nutrition formation is actually upside down, and mistakenly thinks she is the real owner. So when all the coffins exploded and negative energy gathered, she was afraid that she would be able to seize the opportunity and break through to the Daochao God realm in one fell swoop. Super God? Chihongra Yui was completely stunned, and the shock in his heart could not be described in words. Sure enough, the terrifying evil energy all rushed towards the coffin where Hu Xian was. In the coffin, the corpse suddenly opened its eyes, loosened its grip on Hu Xian and said, "Hubby, help me." Hu Xian understood what she meant and worked even harder. The terrifying negative energy poured into the coffin. It was so huge. Magnetic, 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 magnetic. The coffin couldn't bear it and was corroded by the thick and powerful yin energy. Finally it turned into ashes. A rolling negative energy entered the sight of Shihong Yui and others. It looks scary. At this time, an extremely powerful aura burst out, becoming stronger and stronger. Not to mention Shihong Yui. Even Dark Sky couldn't resist it. He grabbed Shihong Yui and left quickly. When they got outside, they found that the terrifying aura was sealed in the pit by a strange and powerful force. Obviously, all this was prepared by the owner of the ice coffin. But it ended up becoming Yin Yunyu's wedding dress. Is Huaxian going to be okay? Shihong Yui was very worried when he thought of that extremely powerful aura, which was definitely the super god level aura that Dark Sky mentioned. She didn't even notice it herself, but she was unknowingly worried about Huaxian's safety. Dark Sky said, "Don't worry, my husband has tied up the female corpse. She can't hurt my husband. The only thing I'm worried about is whether my husband can withstand the horrible evil spirit." In the underground tomb, Huaxian didn't look like he couldn't bear it at all and was extremely excited. Ding, congratulations to the host. The Yin Spirit Gene realm has reached the 5th level of True God. That's right. After the basic attributes reached the True God level, other attributes were no longer suppressed, and the super strong True God level Yin Qi Gene entered the body, causing Huaxian's Yinling Gene realm to rise steadily. In a short period of time, he was promoted from True God level 1 to True God level 5. This is even more terrifying than a system cheat. It took a full 7 hours to finish. Click. A deafening sound made Huaxian deaf. Amid the buzzing sound, everyone was stunned by the momentum erupting from Yin Yunyu. Looking at Yin Yunyu's realm displayed in the system, it is the first level above God. Shocked and terrified. Another 14 minutes passed, and Yin Yunyu suddenly opened her eyes. As she controlled it, the powerful yin energy and momentum began to recede. The entire cemetery returned to peace. At this moment, Yin Yunyu, because of his powerful position as a god, is no different from a living person. She looked at Huaxian. A smile spread across her face, and gently called out, "Husband." Huaxian also laughed. What a godly wife, she is a great supporter. "Wife, I will rely on you from now on," Huaxian said. Yin Yunyu landed in front of him, snuggled in Huaxian's arms and said, "Husband, as the king of men, you don't need me to follow you. Thank you." Huaxian naturally knew what she was thanking him for. So he hugged her and said, "No need to thank me, you are just lucky. Honey, it's all over, it's time to come out." The voice of Dark Sky came. Chapter 355, Shihong Yui wants to cry. Huaxian flew out of the cemetery with Yin Yunyu. Shihong Yui looked at Yin Yunyu with great curiosity and thought to himself, "He looks ordinary, but is he really a super god? Are you, Sister Dark?" Yin Yunyu asked, looking at Dark Tian. And Hiatian smiled and said, "Sister, you don't deserve it. You are better than me now." "Sister, you are joking. In the inherited memory I got, you are an immortal being. Eternal life?" Shihong Yui muttered in shock, and there was fear in his eyes when he looked at Hiatian. "The only things that last forever are darkness and evil. Other creatures, even human kings, will perish." I murmured in my heart. Dark Sky, isn't that just darkness? Thinking about the fact that she had been exerting dark power, he realized that she herself was a dark giant. Dark Sky smiled bitterly and said, "Times have changed, and I am getting worse day by day. If nothing unexpected happens, I will perish in this life, and a new darkness will appear." Yin Yunyu looked at Huaxian and said, "But didn't an accident happen? Sister Darkness actually became the woman of the human king. If this were to get out, I'm afraid it would shock a billion universes." Dark Sky didn't dwell on this question anymore, but asked, "You said you got an inheritance, but what inheritance is it? I thought it must be good to know my heritage. What I obtained is the inheritance of the Corpse King." Corpse King? Could it be that the owner of the ice coffin is the Corpse King? Or rather, it is the body chosen by the Corpse King. And now you have replaced the Corpse King? And Hiatian was very surprised. Yin Yunyu nodded and said, "You can understand it that way." Dark Sky said enviously, "I envy your luck. It's all thanks to my husband." Huaxian said, "Let's go it, it's time to go out, otherwise King and the others will be worried." "What should we do here?" Shihong Yui asked. "What else can we do? The crisis here has been resolved. Let your father arrange for these bodies to be reburied." After Huaxian finished speaking, he left holding Hiatian in one hand and Yin Yunyu in the other. Shihong Yui looked at their backs and unknowingly felt envious. He clenched his fists and thought to himself, "Huaxian, you definitely swore on purpose. Do you really look down on me?" When we were about to leave the cemetery, "Husband." Fan King's excited voice came. Fan King Yao saw that there was one more person and asked in surprise, "Aren't there only 3 people with brother Huaxian? How come there are 4 people now?" Lan Ying and the others also looked at Yin Yunyu. Honey, who is she? Fan King King asked curiously after walking in. Let me introduce you to your new sister, Yin Yunyu. But husband, this is a cemetery, and everyone shuddered at the thought. Huaxian explained, yes, Yin Yunyu is the gravekeeper in the cemetery. But for some reason, she has not come out to meet people. I helped her solve some problems, so she decided to leave with me now. Huaxian made up a story. Fan King King said speechless lie. Hubby, I think you saw that Sister Yunyu was pretty. So you did something to her. Chihong Yui hurriedly said. Sister King King, you are right, it was my husband who did something bad to her. Sister Yunyu cried for a long time. Sister Hiadian, and I persuaded her for a long time before she healed. Huaxian rolled his eyes at, as fine if he's just talking nonsense. But what nonsense are you, Chihong Yui, talking about? Fan King Yao suddenly asked. Sister Chihong Yui, you haven't been taken down by your husband either, have you? Chihong Yui did not answer and looked at Huaxian. Huaxian said, don't talk nonsense, I swore that I would not be interested in her. Chihong Yui suddenly became depressed and felt very unhappy. Let's go, it's time for us to leave here, Huaxian said as he jumped out of the cemetery. Bad guy, you really came to the military headquarters. A girl's voice came from a distance. Everyone looked over. I was thinking, Huaxian, how many women have you been cheating on with outside? Huaxian felt that the voice sounded familiar. He looked over and saw that it was Tao Yuoying who was rescued from the kidnappers. The girl ran over hurriedly, ignoring everyone, and threw herself directly into Huaxian's arms. He hugged Huaxian tightly and said, bad boy, do you know how much I miss you? Huaxian was speechless. Little girl, what do you want me to do? I have a family, I advise you not to have any ideas about me. I don't care, I just miss you, miss you, miss you. Finally, he said weakly, I like you. She lowered her head, extremely shy. Fan King King said, hubby, you wouldn't fall in love with every woman you meet, right? There are so many women in the world, can you marry them all? She pouted, obviously jealous. Tao Yuoying was afraid of being rejected by Huaxian. So she quickly said, it's just me, please. He held Huaxian tightly and didn't let go. Huaxian thought for a moment and said, how about this? I'll give you a chance if you can become a first-class general in the military with your own strength and get a place on the battlefield this time. I will consider recruiting you. Really? Tao Yuoying was very happy to hear that there was an opportunity. It was better than being rejected. Real. Okay, Pinky, promise. I won't let you down. I'll go find Huaxian for training. After Huaxian shook hands with her, the little girl left excitedly. Chihong Yui felt even more upset when he saw that Tao Yuoying had missed every opportunity. At this time, a guard arrived. Supervisor, you finally came out. A commander wants to see you. Huaxian nodded and said, led the way. Everyone followed and came to the commander-in-chief's office. The supervisor asked you to come out. I heard that you entered the cemetery. And I was very worried. Shi Yun Hong greeted him warmly. I'm sorry to trouble you, Commander. By the way, what do you want to talk to me about? I just want to know what's going on in the cemetery. The cemetery was invaded by evil, but it has been resolved now. Evil? Shi Yun Hong muttered to himself, and seeing that Huaxian was unwilling to say more, he did not ask any more questions. I was even more curious about Huaxian's identity. By the way, let's go eat first, and then you can go visit the military camp after dinner. Shi Yun Hong led the way and Huaxian did not refuse. And Shi Yun Hong walked over to his daughter and asked, Daughter, how are you getting along with the supervisor? Chihong Yui smiled bitterly and said, Dad, you are right. Seeing that his daughter was impressed by Huaxian, Shi Yun Hong was even more certain that Huaxian was not an ordinary person. And whispered, catch him. Chihong Yui smiled bitterly and said, Dad, I'm afraid it's difficult. Why is it so difficult? I've done some research. This guy has a lot of wives. One more or one less won't make a difference with your looks and your initiative in pursuing him. He will definitely agree. Chihong Yui wanted to cry and said sadly, Dad, I misjudged him before. I didn't know he was so outstanding. He had a very bad impression of me and even swore that he would never set his sights on me. What, daughter, you are confused? Chapter 356, A Trick. Come to the cafeteria. There is no special treatment, it's just a public canteen. At this moment, it is crowded. There were quite a few women and girls among them, which surprised Huaxian. Then he asked, Commander Shi, what's going on? Shi Yun Hong came over and explained with a smile. Supervisory envoy, these are the family members of our military's high-ranking officials. Following Shi Yun Hong's introduction, the standing generals all came over with their families. Shi Yun Hong leaned close to Huaxian's ear and whispered, the details are like this. Everyone heard that the supervisor made you marry many wives, so those who had girls of their own brought them here. What the hell? Blind date? Hu Xin was speechless. Walking in front was in King Zhu, with his mother and sister. When he came in front of Hu Xin, and King Zhu apologized first. Supervisor, I'm sorry, I know everything about you and my mother. I apologize to you on my behalf. Hu Xin frowned and said, no need to apologize, just nothing else. This one sentence blocked what King Zhu wanted to say next. He didn't know what to do and looked at Shi Yunhong. Shi Yunhong said quickly, Supervisor, it is like this. And King Zhu performed very well in the army. He has been on the battlefield and was very brave. He also participated in several large-scale rescue operations. After praising King Zhu for a while, Shi Yunhong said, so, Supervisor, I hope you can give King Zhu a chance and help her sister for my sake. Hu Xin shook his head and said, it's not up to me to decide whether to help his sister or not. They offended my wife. If my wife asks, I have no problem with that. Yan Ryu quickly said, his wife is the woman in the black skirt. And King Zhu looked at Hei Yan and bowed to apologize first. I'm sorry, Madam Hu, on behalf of my mother. Dark Sky interrupted. If you want my husband to heal your sister, you can. But just ask your mother to kneel down and apologize. You. Yan Ryu was so angry that she was about to die. As the wife of the head of the Yan family, a top-tier wealthy family, how could she kneel down to others so easily? Not daring to offend the other party again. He said to King Zhu, son, it is absolutely impossible for me to kneel down. And King Zhu was also in a dilemma after hesitating for a while. He said, Madam Hu, how about I kneel down to you on behalf of my mother? Son, are you crazy? You are a general in the military and the heir of my Yan family. Besides, a man has gold under his knees. How can you kneel like a woman? Brother, no need. I don't want to treat my eyes. Even in Yan Ran said. Hu Xin looked at Shi Yunhong and said, if we can't eat well, then we'll leave. Shi Yunhong's body trembled, and he hurriedly said, please, 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 please. The other generals who were going to introduce their daughters to Hu Xin suddenly became extremely depressed. Secretly hating the Yan family. Wouldn't it be better to mention this kind of thing later? Now that Hu Xin has been offended, they dare not introduce their daughter anymore. Hu Xin took the lead and came to an empty table and sat down. He picked up the chopsticks and started eating without any hesitation. Seeing Hu Xin like this, Dark Sky and the others didn't show any mercy either. The people in the military were embarrassed and could only eat in silence. After a while, a girl dressed in a pink dress, looking gorgeous, came over with a wine glass in hand. A beautiful voice said, Supervisor, I, Dou Lily, would like to offer you a toast. A beautiful woman came to toast him, and Hu Xin couldn't refuse. He raised his glass and said, it's an honor to drink with you. Dou Lily hurriedly said, in the eyes of the supervisor, it is my honor to drink with you. Cheers. Finished it in one gulp. Hu Xin naturally did not fall behind. Supervisor, you have a good alcohol-tolerant supervisor. May I have the honor of leaving your contact information? Her words and actions were very dignified. Hu Xin wanted to refuse, but couldn't bear to do so. I thought it was just a contact method, so I just left it. The two parties left their contact information. And Dou Lily did not argue too much and left generously. Everyone secretly admired that General Dou's daughter was so courageous. As Dou Lily left, another tall and beautiful woman wearing tight jeans and a white t-shirt, with a proud and eye-catching figure, came over. She raised her glass and said hello. Supervisor, I am Yan Hongyi. I have heard that you are a man of both civil and military talents. I would like to take this opportunity to exchange a few moves with you. Is that possible? Hu Xin was stunned. I thought this was another attempt to flirt with me. But now it seems like he's trying to slap me in the face. As a supervisor, wouldn't it be embarrassing if I lost the competition? But it would be even more embarrassing to refuse. So he smiled and said, you are right, not only am I proficient in both literature and martial arts, I am also very good in bed. I especially like hot girls like you. I wonder what you mean by sparring with me. After saying that, he stared at places he shouldn't be looking at with lustful eyes. Yan Hongyi's originally confident face was instantly replaced by anger. She said without disguising her anger, I've heard for a long time that supervision makes people lustful. Now it seems that it is true. Hongyi, don't be rude. A middle-aged man shouted angrily. He never expected that his daughter would talk to the supervisor like this. And he regretted bringing her here. Others were also extremely shocked. Hu Xin smiled, since you want to spar with me, that's fine. No matter what we spar about, how about we make a bet? What's the bet? It's simple. If I die and lose, you can just make any condition and I will definitely fulfill it. If you lose, just stay with me for one night. Yan Hongyi was very angry. What did he think of her? But he suppressed it. Okay, then let's make this bet. If you lose, I will castrate you. All the men present were frightened. "Han Yi, don't mess around," the middle-aged man roared, took a few big steps over, and said to Hu Xian apologetically, "Supervisor, my daughter is not sensible, please don't take it to heart." Hu Xian waved his hand and said, "It's okay, I like those with personality." He said to Yan Hongyi, "Tell me, how do you want to spar with me?" Yan Hongyi suddenly looked towards the place not far away and said, "Let's bet on curing in Yan Ran's eyes." This. The whole audience was surprised. Hu Xian frowned. Yan Hongyi took advantage of the victory and continued, "Why you don't dare, then you lose." He took out a dagger and said, "If you don't dare to bet, you lose, I will fulfill the bet." Hu Xian laughed, then said unhappily, "You actually plotted against me and set me up." Yan Hongyi said coldly, "It's your own low IQ, who can you blame?" Hearing her speak so rudely to the supervisor, everyone else broke into a cold sweat for her. Her father, in particular, was extremely nervous. Hu Xian looked at Ian. "Wife, what do you think?" Seeing that Hu Xian actually wanted to ask for instructions from Dark Sky and cared so much about her feelings, everyone silently remembered Dark Sky. "I thought that it would be better to please the people around him who care about him than to please Hu Xian." Chapter 357, Falling Out. Dark Sky said, "Hubby, let's gamble. But I want to change the bet. If this girl loses, she will have to be my maid." Hu Xian looked at Yan Hongyi and said, "If you can agree to my wife's bet, I will treat in Yan Ran." Yan Hongyi said readily, "Okay. I agree." She thought to herself, "Being a maid is better than being abused by you." And Yan Ran cried, "Sister Hongyi, it's not worth it for you to do this for me." Yan Hongyi smiled and said, "Sister Yan Ran, don't be afraid. I may not lose. You have sought medical treatment for your eyes, but none of them have been able to cure them. I don't think he can cure them." And Yan Ran thought about it and agreed that this was true. This guy said he could heal the disease, but he didn't really know how to do it. Yan Hongyi urged, "Since you have agreed to the bet, hurry up and don't waste everyone's time." Su Yuran smiled bitterly. He didn't expect that the daughter of the Yan family was so strong. He was afraid that she would offend the supervisor. Hu Xian looked at Yan Ran and said, "Come with me." And Yan Ran was a little scared. Yan Ryu said loudly, "Why would my daughter go with you, seeing so many women around you? You are not a good man. I am afraid you have been thinking about my daughter for a long time." Hu Xian frowned and said after a while, "If you continue to provoke me like this, not only will I not treat your daughter, I will also make sure your son doesn't continue to work in the military." And King Ju was so frightened that his body trembled. Yan Ryu thought that as long as her son did not make any mistakes, what did it matter if you were the supervisor? He mocked. "Hu Xian, you are abusing your power to bully others by saying this. Do you think this military department belongs to you? I don't think you can treat illnesses at all. You were just worried about my daughter's health from the beginning. You are such a beast." Hu Xian looked at the military commander Shi Yunhong and said, "If I stay today, he will definitely not be here. If he does, he will leave immediately." This. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect Hu Xian to be so stingy. I thought to myself, if this guy is really the military supervisor, I have to be careful in the future and not offend him. Shi Yunhong was suddenly in great trouble. Yan Ryu sneered and said loudly, "Everyone has seen it with this kind of character. This guy is not suitable to be a supervisor. He hasn't even secured his position yet, but he's bullying others. Does he really think that our Kaizhong Cheng military headquarters is his?" Well, and King Ju noticed that the commander's face was becoming increasingly ugly. And he immediately realized that his commander did not matter as much as this supervisor. He said to Yan Ryu, who was still chattering, "Shut up. And you, are you crazy? You want me to shut up? I'm helping you." Yan Ryu looked at King Ju with disbelief. "You are still the supervisor? My father is the same. I don't know what he is thinking. He actually wants to match you and me." Yan Hongyi said with a sneer. "Shut up," Yan Haozhen shouted angrily. Then he said to Hu Xian, "Supervisor, my daughter is ignorant. Please don't take it to heart." Seeing that Shi Yunhong hadn't made a decision yet, Hu Xian said to Fan King and the others, "Wife, Wam, let's go. Turn around and walk away." "Hu Xian," Shi Yunhong shouted anxiously, but didn't know how to start. Although he knew that Hu Xian was definitely more important than An King Ju, he could not drive An King Ju away for no reason just to keep Hu Xian, as this would discourage other generals. Therefore, even though it was extremely difficult to make a decision, he still chose to remain silent. Hu Xian led everyone away without looking back. Jihong Yui stood up suddenly and said, "Dad, you are confused. You have never experienced it. You will never know how terrifying Hu Xian is. Also, you will definitely regret it." After saying that, he chased after her. "Hu Xian, wait for me, I'll go with you." Everyone was stunned. I can't figure out what's going on with Jihong Yui. Knowing her character, It seems that this shouldn't be the case. Shi Yunhong's heart trembled violently. His daughter's words made him realize that he was wrong. Perhaps very wrong. He looked at An Qingju fiercely and said angrily, "An Qingju, I warn you, no one from your family is allowed to step into the military from now on. Or they will be expelled. Get them out now." I thought to myself, if it weren't for your damn mother, Hu Xian and I wouldn't have gotten to this point. And Qingju's body trembled violently. He turned around and took Yan Ryu, and Yan ran away. Yan Ryu continued to chatter. "What a rubbish military department. I will never come here again. We did nothing wrong. Why are you being so mean to us? Mom, shut up. Are you going to kill me?" And King was desperate. As a son, he naturally knew what kind of person his mother was. Shi Yunhong looked at Yan Haozhen again and said sternly, "Take your self-righteous daughter and get out of here." Although Yan Haozhen was terrified, he did not think there was anything wrong with his daughter. So he mustered up the courage to say, "Commander-in-Chief, I know you think highly of Hu Xian. But even if he has the ability, he has just come to our military department. He is so arrogant without any military achievements. What will happen if he has some achievements?" "Yes, that's right." Many of the Adventists present stood up and agreed. Military merit, huh? Well, let me tell you, just yesterday, my daughter personally assisted Hu Xian in resolving the issue at the military cemetery. What? The whole audience was shocked. The military cemetery is so terrifying that it can be said to be a forbidden area. Didn't expect it to be solved? An old general asked. "Commander-in-Chief, what's going on with the military cemetery?" A military cemetery is controlled by evil creatures, and their purpose is to cultivate an unparalleled demon. Fortunately, Hu Xian discovered it and solved it. According to the partial information revealed by my daughter, Hu Xian is at least at the true god level of genes. What? True god level? The whole audience was shocked. Thinking of Shi Hongyui's reaction just now, everyone believed it. I finally understood why Shi Hongyui, who was always as upright as a man, would say that about his commander-in-chief father. Yan Hongyi's body also trembled, and her face turned pale. From what Yan Ryu said to Hu Xian just now, it was not difficult to hear that the two had a conflict before, which was also the reason why Hu Xian did not help treat Yanran. But because of my relationship with Yanran, I am so hostile to her, which must be a great offense. Yan Hongyi felt even more terrified when he thought that the person he had offended was most likely a true god-level genius. "Daughter, stop being dazed and leave quickly. Never set foot in the military again," Yan Haozhen said loudly. An old general said sadly, "Commander-in-Chief, since you know that Hu Xian is so capable, why don't you just fire An Qingju? It's not worth offending a true god for him. The way you looked at me just now, what you were thinking. You know it yourself. If I really fired An Qingju directly, I'm afraid many of you would turn against me immediately." Everyone was speechless, and the generals who had such thoughts were even more ashamed. Chapter 358, Spend money to calm down when you're in a bad mood? Hu Xian, wait for me. Shi Hongyui caught up as fast as he could. Hu Xian asked in a deep voice without even turning his head. "Why are you following us?" Shi Hongyui was stunned by Hu Xian's tone and felt very uncomfortable. He thought to himself, "Do you really hate me that much?" After a while, he said, "Hu Xian, we are comrades who have experienced danger together. I want to follow you." Hu Xian stopped, turned around and said, "I'm sorry, I don't have much affection for you as for other aspects. I have also sworn that you should not follow us anymore." Shi Hongyui was shaking all over and was about to cry. "From childhood to adulthood, I have never suffered such injustice." Hu Xian turned around and led everyone away. "Hu Xian, how can you do this? How can you do this to me? They can all follow you. So why can't I?" Shi Hongyui roared. Hu Xian ignored him. Shi Hongyui caught up with him, grabbed Hu Xian's sleeve and said, "If you don't explain clearly, I won't let you go." Hu Xian said coldly, "You want to know why, right? Because they are all my women. Let go." Shi Hongyui was stunned. After a while, he said, "I don't believe he is like this now, and she is not pretty. There is no way you would like her." The person being referred to was Huo Dongyu. When Huo Dongyu heard this, she looked at Hu Xian shyly and expectantly. Hu Xian said, "I'm sorry to disappoint you, I really like her." When these words came out, Shi Hongyui was struck by lightning and stood there in shock. But Huo Dongyu was extremely moved. Gone. Hu Xian led everyone away gradually. Behind them, An Qingju came up with Yan Ryu, and An Yan ran with a gloomy face. Seeing the stunned Shi Hongyui, Yan Ryu couldn't help but ask, "Shi Hongyui, didn't you go after that damn Hu Xian? You, pop." Shi Hongyui slapped her in the face and angrily said, "Shut up, you bitch. If it weren't for you, Hu Xian wouldn't have been able to leave the military." Yan Ryu was stunned. Behind them, Yan Haozhen and his daughter Yan Hongyi also walked over and saw this scene. Yan Hongyi, who was already worried, saw this scene and felt that she might be wrong. Yan Ryu reacted and was extremely angry as an elder. She felt extremely humiliated to be slapped in the face by a junior. Chi Hong are you crazy? I am the mother of General An Qingju. You hit me, you are really uneducated, is there no one to teach you? Then I will teach you. If you shake your hand, you will fight back. And Qingju suddenly grabbed his mother's wrist. If this fight really goes on, his career in the military will really be over. Son, what do you mean? Didn't you see me being beaten by her? He is so. Mom, shut up, haven't you heard me enough? Also, I have sent people to investigate and verify what happened between you and Hu Xin. I have investigated Hu Xin, he has done countless good things along the way. If you had spoken nicely, she would not have failed to treat her sister. Everything is your fault. You. Yan Ryu was so angry that she couldn't speak. I felt so wrong that I wanted to cry. I never thought that the son whom I loved since childhood would say this about me. Brother, don't be like this, mom is doing this for your own good. And Yan Ran said, crying. I secretly hated myself because it was all because of my poor eyesight. When Yan Hongyi heard An Qingju say this in person, she realized that she had misunderstood Hu Xin. No wonder people are so angry. Yan Haozhen said, my daughter, you need to change your personality. This won't work. Hu Xin led everyone out of the military headquarters on foot. Lan Ying asked, son-in-law, what are you going to do next? Spend the money. Fan King said, speechless lie. Husband, are you in a bad mood and want to spend money to vent? What are you talking about? I'm not in a bad mood. At this time, Hu Odongyu said, Brother Xin, you said that there might be medicine in the cemetery to treat my sister and me. I wonder if there is any. Hu Xin shook his head and said, no, don't worry, you will be fine if you follow me, and I will definitely cure you. Cure? After saying that, 2 rays of holy light hit the brother and sister. The brother and sister suddenly felt extremely comfortable. Sister, I really wanted to stay like this forever. Huo Dongji said longingly while bathing in the holy light. Don't worry, brother, it will happen. Away from the military headquarters, everyone took a spaceship back to Kaijiang City. Hu Xin took the lead and everyone followed silently, thinking that Hu Xin must be in a bad mood. Soon we arrived at an equipment store. Before I even walked in, I heard a noisy sound. Get out. Or bastard, if you can't afford it, don't come out and pretend to be rich. It's disgusting to pretend to be rich when you can't afford it. How did I disgust you? Who else told you that I had no money? I just felt that you were selling the same equipment at a higher price than other places. Or bastard, if you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. And you're still pretending. Go away and don't delay our business. Hu Xin walked in curiously and saw 2 girls arguing in the distance. One was a salesperson in uniform, with a medium build and decent looks. The other one is a girl dressed in white and wearing a bamboo hat. She has a very good temper and a perfect figure, but her face cannot be seen. Sir, are you interested in purchasing equipment? A salesperson came up to Hu Xin and his team and asked. I want to buy this store, Hu Xin said seriously. The salesperson was stunned. People nearby who heard this were also shocked. Even the 2 people who were arguing looked over curiously. Sir, you are kidding me. How much platinum coins is your store worth? Hu Xin asked. Sir, I don't know how much our store is worth, but I can tell you that all the goods in our store add up to more than 100 trillion platinum coins. So expensive. Yes sir, it is that expensive. Then there's nothing we can do. Let's not buy the store. The whole audience sneered. This guy is really funny, said a customer girl. What are you kidding me about? I think he's just pretending to be cool because he has so many beautiful daughters. I think so too. The salesperson said with a little dissatisfaction. Sir, if you like to joke, I suggest you change the place. Hu Xin apologized. Excuse me, please prepare a set of equipment worth 6.48 billion platinum coins for me. What? Everyone was shocked. And everyone in the audience sneered, and no one believed that Hu Xin had such spending power. The salesperson got even angrier. Sir, I told you to go somewhere else if you're joking. If you keep doing this, I'll call security. Hu Xin said seriously. I'm not kidding, do I look like I'm joking? If you don't believe me, ask my companions. Fan King immediately said, my husband is not joking. The salesperson said speechless lie, okay, you pay first and I'll match the equipment for you. After that, he took out the payment code. Chapter 359. Why is it you? Okay, no problem. Hu Xin scans the QR code to transfer money. Many people nearby were looking at this side, wanting to see if this guy could really come up with billions of platinum coins. Ding, 6.48 billion platinum coins have been credited to the store account. Please check. Ding! Congratulations to the host for spending 10 billion platinum coins within 8 hours and completing the task to receive an evolution gene pill as a reward. Ding! New mission. Spend 20 billion to purchase equipment shop within 8 hours. If the mission fails, the host's highest gene realm will be deducted by 3 levels. And if the mission is completed, a chance to draw a lottery will be awarded. Huaxian was stunned. He didn't expect that this was a designated task. Suddenly it felt extremely bitter. The salesperson just said that the equipment in this store is worth 100 trillion. Isn't it robbery to buy the equipment store for 20 billion? The key is how to rob. What made him even more uncomfortable was that there was an 8-hour time limit, which was extremely difficult. After receiving the payment, the salesperson was also shocked. I didn't expect the other party was not joking. After reacting, he said excitedly, "Sir, please wait a moment. I will go and equip you with equipment." After saying this, he left excitedly. All orders described by Billion are big orders. Others were also surprised. They didn't expect that the other party was just joking but actually had money. I was wondering why he has so many beautiful women around him. It looks like he must be very rich. A young girl said this and walked towards Huaxian. The young man next to him was stunned and then shouted loudly, "Wang Feng, what are you doing?" Wang Fengli ignored him and took out a mirror to look at her makeup along the way. After making sure it was perfect, she confidently walked to Huaxian's front. "Handsome guy, can you add my contact information?" She was deliberately showing off her charm. "Bitch." The young man rushed over cursing angrily, pulling Wang Feng away. Ding dong. Wang Feng pushed him away fiercely, using too much force, causing the young man to fall to the ground. He said viciously, "Yao Jin Kai, I'm telling you, we're breaking up." After saying that, he looked at Huaxian again. "Brother, leave me your contact information. I will be yours from now on. Look at me. I am no worse than anyone around you, and I." The rest of the words were spoken into Huaxian's ear. Huaxian didn't even look at him. He walked to the front desk and asked, "Who is your boss? I have a big business to discuss with him." "Sir, we don't know who the boss is, but our manager should know." "Wait a moment, I'll go call the manager." The salesperson also saw that Huaxian spent billions of dollars, so he didn't dare to be negligent and hurried to call the manager. After a while, a man with glasses arrived. Huaxian didn't expect that the person who worked in this store was a man. The man with glasses asked politely, "Sir, are you the one who said you wanted to discuss a big deal with our boss?" Huaxian nodded and said, "Yes, I have a business worth 200 billion platinum coins to do. But I have to talk to your boss." The manager frowned and asked, "Sir, I don't know how I can believe what you say." Huaxian took out the remaining balance and said, "If the deal is successful, this will be the deposit." When the manager saw the 20 billion, he immediately believed it, especially since he also heard that Huaxian had just spent several billion. "Okay, wait a moment, I'll ask the boss if she's willing to talk to you, then we can talk." After saying that, he walked away and contacted his boss, Kaizhong City Yan family. Yan Hongyi, who was full of worries, had her communicator light up. When she is in a bad mood, she doesn't want to answer the call. But when she saw that the call was from the equipment store under her family's name, she answered the call. "Boss, a young man with a group of women came to the store and said they have a 200 billion order. But they must discuss it with you in person." "Youth? With a group of women?" Suddenly I remembered that Huaxian also brought a group of women with him. So he asked, "What does the young man look like?" "Boss, I'll connect the surveillance camera to you, you can check it out for yourself." "Okay, hurry up," Yan Hongyi said anxiously. The manager felt something was wrong and quickly connected the monitor to Yan Hongyi. Immediately the image of Huaxian and others came into Yan Hongyi's sight. Seeing that it was really Huaxian, Yan Hongyi was overjoyed. Since she had offended Huaxian just now, she had sent people to investigate. It was all Yan Ryu's fault, so she felt very guilty. I was thinking about how to find him and explain things to him. But I didn't expect him to come to me on his own initiative. "Manager, take them to the VIP room, immediately, I will come and receive them personally." The manager was stunned. He didn't expect that the boss would be so anxious after seeing this guy. "What is going on?" "Okay boss." After hanging up the phone, the manager found Huaxian and said, "Sir, our boss has agreed to meet with you. Please follow me and wait in the VIP room, the boss is on his way." "Good." Huaxian and others followed the manager to the VIP lounge. The scene was in an uproar. I really didn't realize that guy was so rich. I can see that. Look at all the people around him. He doesn't look like a poor man. Come to think of it, a certain girl took the initiative to throw herself into my arms but was rejected. VIP room. The decoration here is extremely luxurious, with all kinds of delicious teas, snacks and foods, all of which are high-end products. I waited for almost half an hour. The door to the VIP room opened. Everyone looked over, curious about what kind of person the equipment shop owner was. And I saw a familiar voice in a red dress walking in. Yan Hongyi, why is it you? Fan Qingqing didn't have a good impression of Yan Hongyi. After all, she had been against Hu Xian just now, so she asked in a deep voice. Yan Hongyi smiled and said, "This shop is mine, of course it's mine." And he looked at Hu Xian and asked, "I wonder what business you want to discuss with me." Although she felt guilty, Yan Hongyi was not humble. Hu Xian frowned. He never expected that the owner of the equipment shop would be this woman. I have no good feelings towards Yan Hongyi. If it wasn't for the system task, I would have just gotten up and left. Yan Hongyi noticed that Hu Xian's expression was not right, and he seemed to be dazzling her, which made her feel uncomfortable. Hu Xian, I have investigated the situation. What happened today was indeed Yan Ryu's fault. I don't know the situation and I think you are right and I am wrong. But Yan Ran is innocent. I really hope you can help her. Hearing this, Hu Xian's brows relaxed slightly. After all, they still had to negotiate business. It was a bit too much to spend 20 billion to buy someone's assets worth at least 120 trillion. It's also a headache. How to start? Suddenly an idea came to me. Yan Hongyi mentioned Yan Ran again, and it was obvious that the relationship between the two was really good. This may be a breakthrough. So he said, Yan Hongyi, if you want me to heal Yan Ran, it's not impossible. Really? What are the conditions? Yan Hongyi was a little excited. Hu Xian said, I'll give you 20 billion in curing Yan Ran's eyes. And you sell this store to me. Chapter 360, a deal. Ew. Yan Hongyi wanted to get angry. He wanted to buy a store with an actual output value of 120 trillion yuan with only 20 billion yuan. He was simply dreaming. You know, the market value of this store is 500 trillion, and the value of a store is defined by how much money it can make. And Hu Xian wanted to buy it for 20 billion yuan, which is simply too much. But he was confident that he could cure Yan Ran's eyes. So he hesitated. Thinking back to the past, when they were still young, they went out to play together and encountered danger. If Yan Ran hadn't rescued her, she would have lost her life. And Yan Ran lost her eyes while saving her. After thinking for a while, he said, 20 billion is really too little, you know. The market value of my store is 50 billion platinum coins. Lan Ying and the others looked at Hu Xian, unable to understand what he was thinking. How could he buy a store with a market value of 50 billion yuan with only 20 billion yuan? Hu Xian said, 2 billion is indeed a small amount. Don't forget Yan Ran's eyes. She must have sought out countless doctors. Many famous doctors. Even if you gave them 100 trillion, they still couldn't cure Yan Ran's eyes. And I only need to spend 20 billion to buy your store with a market value of 50 billion to cure his eye. Do you still think it's a loss? Yan Hongyi pondered for a while and asked, Can you really guarantee that you can cure Yan Ran's eyes? I swear I can. Hu Xian stretched out his hand and said, The main reason is that the task is arduous and must be completed as soon as possible. Otherwise it would be a pity to have 3 levels deducted. Hu Xian even suspected that the system deliberately created such a task to weaken his strength. Okay, if you really cure Yan Ran's eyes, I'll do as you say. Yan Hongyi made a decision. I thought, this thing belongs to Yan Ran. I should return it to her. Okay, bring Yan Ran here right away. By the way, forget about her damn mother. Hearing this, Yan Hongyi smiled bitterly, thinking to herself, as expected. Hu Xian hated Yan Ryu so much that he would even give up his job as a military supervisor for her. I don't know if it's personality or stupidity. Wait for me. I'll go find Yan Ran myself. After saying that, he left in a hurry. She was also very anxious to know whether Hu Xian could really cure Yan Ran's eyes. About an hour and a half later, Yan Ran was brought to the equipment shop by Yan Hongyi, and there was no one else around her. Hongyi, are you telling the truth? Is there really someone who swears that he can cure my eyes? And Yan Ran asked expectantly. I wondered if that person was Hu Xian. But then I thought, since both parties had offended each other so badly, it couldn't be him. Believe me, you will definitely see the light of day again this time. Well, I believe you, Hongyi. Soon we arrived at the VIP room. Yan Hongyi said, Hu Xian, I brought Yan Ran here. Let's start treating her. But you can't treat her alone. Is it really this Hu Xian? And Yan Ran asked in shock. Thinking of something, he asked nervously, Hongyi, how did you ask him to heal my eyes? Yan Hongyi said, Yan Ran, don't worry about it. Nothing is more important than healing your eyes. Hongyi, don't say that. I'm used to being a blind man. If he makes any excessive demands on you, I will be blind for the rest of my life and will never let him succeed. Also, if you don't explain it to me clearly, I won't let him treat you. And Yan Ran said stubbornly, Hey, Yan Ran, I'll tell you the truth. This guy wants 20 billion platinum coins to buy my equipment store worth 500 trillion. The additional condition is that he will heal your eyes. Is it really just that? And Yan Ran asked with some disbelief. In her opinion, any problem that can be solved with money is not a problem. It's really like this, I swear, Yan Hongyi said seriously. Okay, Hongyi, then let him treat me. I am looking forward to it but also very nervous. After all, there are countless people who have sought medical treatment, and many people who claim to be miracle doctors are very confident at the beginning, but they are helpless after the treatment. Huaxian. Il Yanran. Huaxian nodded, walked over, and reached out to pry open Yanran's closed eyes. And Yanran's body trembled and she was very nervous. All I saw was darkness, without a single ray of light. Looking closely, it seemed like a bottomless black hole. Even with the miracle-level medical skills I currently possess, I can't figure out what's going on. System strengthened my medical skills to the highest level. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have used unlimited enhancement points to enhance your medical skills to the extreme. And obtain chaos level medical skills. The next level of extraordinary medical skills requires 1 trillion god level gene points. Having acquired chaos level medical skills, Huaxian once again looked into Yanran's eyes. Yan Hongyi, who was standing by, saw that Huaxian had examined half of the patient and then continued to examine him, and asked nervously, Huaxian, how is it, can you cure it? After checking, Huaxian nodded and said, there are several ways to treat blindness caused by the venom of the blinding beast. The simplest and most feasible way is to catch the blinding beast and wipe the eyes with the juice from its eyes. This is the only way to recover. That magical beast is the blinding beast. What kind of beast is the blinding beast? Yan Hongyi asked in shock. The blinding beasts live in extreme darkness because they hate light. They also hate all creatures that can see light. They have only one thought in their minds, which is to make all creatures lose their sight. Thinking of this, Yan Hongyi and Yan Ran both remembered that the place they went to for fun was indeed very dark, with almost no light. Now that a cure has finally been found, Yan Hongyi and Yan Ran are both very excited. Huaxian. If that's the case, how do we capture the blinding beast? Yan Hongyi asked. Capture the blinding beast? I'm afraid no one among you can do it except me. I will do it. Yan Hongyi said excitedly. Then let's go catch the blinding beast now. Huaxian looked at the 5 hours left in the mission and was afraid that there would not be enough time to capture the blind veterinarian to heal in Yan Ran's eyes and complete the mission. So he said, we can set off now to catch the blinding beast. But it's time to complete the deal between us. Yan Hongyi said. We agreed that we would complete the deal only if you healed in Yan Ran's eyes. But you haven't done it yet. Huaxian said, but I have already told you the cause of her illness. Next, we just need to catch the blinding beast and cure her. So our deal is already halfway done. Yeah, you said it was only halfway done. It won't work if it's not completed. Huaxian frowned and said, well, take me to catch the blinding beast. Chapter 361. Blinding Beast. Yan Hongyu and Yan Ran were also very anxious. So everyone was in a hurry to catch the blinding beast. So they went out directly. Just walked out of the equipment shop not far away. Yan Ryu was shopping with the 2 women, talking and laughing along the way, as if nothing that had happened before had happened. When Yan Hongyi saw this scene, she frowned speechless. At this time, Yan Ryu saw Huaxian and the others, and her face changed drastically when she saw that her daughter Yan Ran was also with Huaxian. Huaxian, you bastard, you really want to take advantage of my daughter. While rushing over in a hurry, he scolded Yan Hongyi. You too, hypocritical, you pretended to help Yan Ran before. But now you help Huaxian to lead Yan Ran into the fire pit. In her opinion, except Yan Hongyi, it would be impossible for anyone else to take her daughter away from the Yan family. And Yan Ran immediately became anxious. Mom, please stop talking nonsense. Hongyi brought me here to treat my eyes. Mr. Hu is a skilled doctor and has found a way to cure my eyes. Yan Hongyi was very upset after being scolded, and said angrily, and Yan, please have some conscience also, you are old now. You should use your brain when speaking, and don't just say whatever comes to your mind. You dare to teach me a lesson? He raised his hand to hit Yan Hongyi. And Yan Ran knew her mother's character, but even though she couldn't see it, she guessed what she was going to do and immediately stood in front of Yan Hongyi. Yan Ryu slapped Yan Ran hard on the face. Yan Ran, what are you doing? Yan Hongyi said with concern. At the same time, he angrily looked at Yan Ryu and yelled, you are really unworthy of being a mother. You almost caused your son to lose his job before, and now you come to make trouble again. If it weren't for you, Yan Ran's eyes would have been healed long ago. You? Mom, I beg you, please stop interfering in my affairs. I've really had enough. And Yan Ran said courageously. Yan Ran, you are my daughter, how dare you say such words to your mother? Yan Ryu felt heartbroken. I thought that everything I did was for your own good. But you actually said such words, it makes me so sad. Huaxian looked at the mission time getting shorter and shorter, and said in a deep voice, "Do you still want medical treatment?" Yan Hongyi's body trembled, and she decided to go all out. She pushed Yan Ruyu away and said, "You are lucky you don't need to care about Yan Ran's affairs." After saying that, he took in Yan Ran and left. Huaxian led everyone to follow. Yan Ryu reacted and exploded. "Stop right there, Yan Hongyi. Who do you think you are? I think you just want to take my daughter away and let that bastard Huaxian violate her." Bang! Huaxian couldn't bear it any longer and kicked Yan Ryu away. Ding dong! He fell to the ground, but he did not faint. Huaxian's eyes subconsciously looked towards the place where she resisted most of the force. I thought to myself, big-breasted and brainless, I had the fullest experience. Although she did not faint, Yan Ryu felt as if all the bones in her body were about to fall apart. And she felt very sleepy even when moving. "Let's go." Huaxian took the lead and left. Yan Hongyi was stunned. But after she came to her senses, she pulled in Yan Ran to lead the way. "Hongyi, is my mother okay?" And Yan Ran asked worriedly when she heard the noise. "It's okay, you won't die," Yan Hongyi said coldly. Outside Kaijiang City. An abandoned mine. It is desolate and covered with moss. And it has obviously been abandoned for a long time. Yan Hongyi led everyone deeper and soon arrived at the mine. The mine is not very big, with a diameter of 3 meters. It is pitch black inside and very eerie. Huaxian asked, "Did she encounter the blinding beast here and get her eyesight affected?" Yan Hongyi nodded and said, 30 years ago, we were good friends. We practiced together and improved together now that we felt stronger. We wanted to find a place to show off. I came to this place by accident and found the cave. Relying on my cultivation, I plucked up the courage to walk in. But I didn't walk far before I accidentally fell off the cliff in the cave. Fortunately, I grabbed a rock and didn't fall. Yan Ran found a vine to save me. Just when I was about to climb up, a dark shadow appeared and attacked me. Yan Ran threw the weapon in her hand over, then stopped the blinding beast from swallowing me in one bite. Who knew that the other party would suddenly spit out venom? And Yan Ran had no time to dodge, and it just happened to spray into his eyes. And then he went blind. Huaxian heard this and said, "The venom of the blinding beast can blind a creature even if it comes into contact with the skin, let alone the eyes. Fortunately, the blinding beast is timid and only dares to attack by surprise. Otherwise you would have no chance of getting out alive." After checking the system task time, there were still 3 hours left. Huaxian walked towards the cave and said, "Wait here for me. I'm going to catch the blinding beast." When he finished speaking, he was already engulfed in darkness. What the blinding beast hates most is light. And it is extremely sensitive to light. Huaxian took out a glowing stone and activated his mental power to the extreme. Soon, I felt a dark shadow moving in the darkness. The target is approaching. Huaxian deliberately relaxed his guard and looked around curiously. The blinding beast seized the opportunity and launched an attack directly. He approached Huaxian from above, burst into speed, opened his mouth wide, and launched an attack. As Huaxian waved his hand, a black shadow appeared in his hand. It has black fur all over its body and looks like a black domestic cat. But its size is as big as a domestic dog, and it looks cute and adorable. His eyes were huge and he stared at Huaxian in horror. As if he was afraid of himself. Huaxian smiled slightly. A blinding beast took the opportunity to think that Huaxian was careless and spewed venom. Huaxian's powerful soul force made his mental power seem like substance, directly solidifying the space in front of him. When Blind Moan saw venom pause in the air, his cute eyes were filled with fear. This time I was really scared. Ding, the blinding beast has surrendered voluntarily. It is the pet of the original host. Do you accept it? Accept to activate the pet system. Accept. Huaxian accepted it without hesitation. There was no need to think about it at all. Pets are also part of strength. Ding, congratulations to the host. The first level pet system has been activated. Currently 3 pets can be bound, and 3 pet spaces have been obtained. With one currently being a blinding beast. After the binding was completed, Huaxian felt that the blinding beast was connected to his blood. As if it was a part of his body, he could also feel the blinding beast's thoughts. Which was magical. "Master, please let go, you're strangling me to death." The voice of the blinding beast sounded in Huaxian's spiritual ocean. He hummed and let go of the blinding beast. This guy didn't play by the rules and disappeared directly into the darkness. Huaxian smiled slightly. He didn't expect this guy to be so cunning. If it was someone else, he would have let him get away. Return. But who is he? It's system bound, so I have to listen even if I don't want to. After the command rang in the mind of the blinding beast. In fear, his body turned uncontrollably and rushed towards Huaxian. "Little guy, you'd better behave yourself, or I'll skin you and stew you." After he finished speaking, he took out a jade bottle and said, "Cry some tears for me." Chapter 362, Eye Treatment. The cowardly and fearful blinding beast nodded repeatedly in fear. And then tears rolled down silently. Huaxian sensed his tear-jerking thoughts and said speechless lie. Next time, if you dare to think nonsense and curse me again, I will release to you. The blinding beast was extremely frightened. Only then did it realize that its master could actually know what it was thinking. It was too terrifying. After collecting the tears of the blinding beast, he said, "Let's go to the pet's pace." After putting the blinding beast into the pet's pace, Huaxian discovered that he could actually use reinforcement points to exchange for an energy source suitable for the blinding beast to help him practice. With unlimited strengthening points, there is naturally no stinginess. After settling the blinding beast, he walked out with the blinding beast stairs. Everyone gathered around immediately. "How is it?" Yan Hongyi asked excitedly. The others also stared at Huaxian curiously. Huaxian nodded, handed the glass bottle to Yan Hongyi, and said, "This is the tears of the blinding beast. Apply it evenly on her eyes. It will have a significant effect after one application. Do it 3 times in a row and her eyes will be completely bright again." Yan Hongyi couldn't wait any longer. "Yanran, open your eyes quickly." And Yanran was also extremely excited and muttered to herself, "I can finally see the light. I and Yanran can finally see the light." No one knew how much pain she had endured behind her seemingly calm appearance over the years. "Sometimes I even thought about not living anymore." Fortunately, everyone encouraged her and she managed to get through it. And Yanran opened her eyes and tilted her head back. Yan Hongyi carefully dropped a drop of the blinding beast's stare into her left eye. The intense stimulation caused Yanran to cover her left eye and wail in pain. "Huaxian, who the hell are you? Are you going to kill Yanran?" Yan Hongyi roared at Huaxian angrily. Huaxian said calmly, "The reaction proves that it is effective. The painful stimulation is just to wake up the dormant eye nerves. Just wait, in 3 minutes at most, she will be able to see vague light." Everyone was waiting patiently, except Yanran, who was in great pain. 3 minutes may not be fast or slow, but for Yanran, it was torture. Finally she adapted and a blurry light appeared in her retina. Extremely excited, "Light, I see the light, I really see the light." And Yanran screamed excitedly. Only then did Yan Hongyi realize that what Huaxian said was true. "Yanran, how do you feel? Can you still bear it?" "I can." "Hongyi, please drop a drop in my right eye." And Yanran said excitedly, "No matter how great the pain is, it cannot compare to the hope brought by seeing the light." "Okay, Yanran, open your eyes." Another drop of the blinding beast stare fell into Yanran's right eye. A strong sense of stimulation made Yanran's body tremble violently. But this time, she held back and did not make a sound. 3 minutes passed quickly. After his eyes recovered, he could see more clearly. He could already vaguely see Yan Hongyi beside him. So he grabbed her arm and shook it excitedly. "Hongyi, I really see the light, my eyes are healed." Huaxian said, "Do this 3 times every 5 hours, and you will be fully recovered." Hearing this, Yanran became even more excited. Looking at Huaxian, seeing his handsome appearance in the blur, he excitedly bent down to express his gratitude. "Thank you." Huaxian said, "Thank you, no need." He said to Yan Hongyi, "We can start our transaction now." Yan Hongyi smiled bitterly. She didn't expect Huaxian to still be thinking about the deal. She took out the shop contract and handed it to Huaxian. "This is the transfer contract. Once you sign and confirm, the equipment shop will be yours." After Huaxian signed the contract, he said, "Give me your account number for receiving payment." Yan Hongyi said bitterly, "No need." Huaxian said seriously, "Give me your account number." I said 20 billion plus the treatment for her eyes. Seeing Huaxian being so serious, Yan Hongyi could only bitterly take out the payment account. Scan the QR code to transfer money. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have spent 20 billion platinum coins within 8 hours and will receive a chance to win a prize draw. Ding, new mission. Spend 30 billion within 16 hours to buy an antique sword worth 100 billion. If the mission fails, the host's highest gene realm will be deducted by 3 levels. If the mission is completed, you will get a chance to draw a lottery. The system gave me a lottery. Ding, congratulations to the host for winning 100 trillion pseudo-god level Yin Qi gene points in the lottery. Huaxian was overjoyed. Although he couldn't use this thing, the heroine of the weird totem needed it. The reason why the task of upgrading all the heroines to the 50th level of the pseudo-god gene cannot be completed is because the weird heroines cannot be upgraded using reinforcement points. Huaxian had been looking forward to the luxurious mysterious gift package reward. The new task is another designated consumption task, which is to use 30 billion to purchase a designated antique sword worth 100 billion. This is another difficult task to complete. Has anyone heard of the Eternal Sword? Huaxian asked. The Eternal Sword? Everyone frowned and thought, but had no idea. The Eternal Sword? I seem to have heard someone mention it. And Yan Ran muttered. Everyone's eyes were on her, waiting for her to recall. After a long while, and Yan Ran said, I can't remember who said it. Because I can't see it, I can only remember his voice. I can only remember it when I hear the voice. Huaxian frowned. But this was also a way to find the eternal sword. Tell me, what will it take for you to help me find the eternal sword? And Yan Ran said, Mr. Hu, you cured my eyes, I am willing to help you find the eternal sword for free. Then when did you hear about the eternal sword? It's been years. I think it was at a party. Reunion? Yan Hongyi muttered. And suddenly asked, Yan Ran, was it at the genius gathering that shocked Kaijiang City 10 years ago? Yes, it seems so. I remember that the voice that mentioned the ancient heaven sword was a man with a hoarse voice. Hoarse voice. Yan Hongyi frowned and thought, she couldn't remember the man's hoarse voice at the party. After all, 10 years had passed. Let's go ask other people who attended the party. Maybe they know who it is, Yan Hongyi said to Huaxian. Okay, that's it as long as you help me find the eternal sword. I can agree to a reasonable condition within my ability. Hearing this, both of them were overjoyed. Thinking about Huaxian's words of thanks, I felt a little excited. Let's go back to the city and ask them. Yan Hongyi took in Yan Ran and left, already impatient to help Huaxian find the whereabouts of the Kangyu sword. There are only 16 hours left for the mission. And Huaxian and Yihan are anxious. Everyone took the spaceship directly back to the city. And Yan Ran said, Hongyi, let's go find Wen Liao first. No, Yan Hongyi refused without hesitation. And Yan Ran explained. Hongyi, I know you hate him, but he is the most powerful young noble in Kaijiang City. He has many friends, maybe he knows the whereabouts of the Eternal Sword. Chapter 363, Antique, Eternal Sword, Kaijiang City. Wen's Manor. In order to help Huaxian find the whereabouts of the Eternal Sword, Yan Hongyi was persuaded by Yan Ran and agreed to come to the Wen family. Huaxian also learned it from their conversation that Wen Liao from the Wen family had been pursuing Yan Hongyi, but was rejected every time later. He became angry and slandered Yan Hongyi, causing their relationship to reach a freezing point. Please notify Wen Liao and tell him that Yan Hongyi is looking for him. And Yan Ran said. The security guard glanced at Yan Hongyi and smiled coldly. Our young master said that seeing Yan Hongyi is like seeing a dog. Ignore him. You, Yan Hongyi was furious. Pop Huaxian swung his hand and slapped him. The security guard flew out heavily. Ing dong. He hit the wall and fell to the ground, already unconscious. Huaxian said to another security guard. Go inform the Wen family and tell them that I, Huaxian, am here to visit. You wait. And Bao left these words and ran away in a panic. After a while, a large group of people from the Wen family rushed out aggressively. Who dares to act wildly in my Wen family? A young man shouted angrily. And he saw Yan Hongyi, his eyes instantly filled with anger. Yan Hongyi, it's you, you bitch, what are you doing here? Huaxian said, I came to see you because I have something to ask you. So, you are also responsible for the security of my Wen family? A middle-aged man asked, in a deep voice. Huaxian nodded and said, he can't speak, so teach him a lesson. Well, I don't like you now, so I'll teach you a lesson. After saying this, Wen Liao rushed towards Huaxian and punched him hard in the face. Huaxian stretched out a hand, lightly grasped his fist, and squeezed it hard. Wen Liao screamed in pain. Take him down for me. Seeing this, the middle-aged man gave the order angrily. The two old men behind him surrounded Huaxian from the left and right. Get close to Huaxian and attack directly. Someone grabbed Huaxian's shoulder. Bang! Huaxian kicked the guy out with a lightning-fast kick. The other person was a step late before he could make a move. He saw his companion being kicked away, realizing that this was a master. His expression changed drastically and he quickly stepped back to keep some distance. Wen Liao was in so much pain that he couldn't bear it anymore. Dad, save me, save me. A middle-aged man saw his son suffering and his subordinates being useless. So he became even more angry and disappeared on the spot and rushed towards Huaxian. Dragon Gripper. He grabbed Huaxian fiercely with his claws. Huaxian stretched out his other hand, grabbed his paw and squeezed it hard. Click. His claws were crushed in an instant. The intense pain made the middle-aged man scream out instinctively. But he suppressed it and did not roar like Wen Liao. Everyone else was stunned by this scene, including the increasing number of passers-by who stopped to take a look. Who are you and what do you want to do? An old man from the Wen family came out. Seeing the old man, Wen Liao shouted excitedly, Grandpa, save me quickly, my hands are about to be broken. Huaxian said calmly, it doesn't matter who I am, what matters is that I came to visit your Wen family and was humiliated by your young man. And even attacked directly. The Wen family has a bad temper. When Han On Ji, Wen Liao, apologize. After hearing this, the old man shouted angrily. I thought to myself, the father and son have lived their whole lives in vain. They dared to come to the Wen family to cause trouble. Could they be simple people who were so stupid as to take action directly? Young man, I'm sorry. When Han Dongji obeyed the old man's orders, Hu Xian immediately let him go. Wen Liao was unconvinced and said, Grandpa, I did nothing wrong, why should I apologize? Yan Hongyi, that bitch, I have been pursuing her for 10 years. But she refused me, now she comes here with a man, what is her purpose? Shut up and apologize now. The old man roared even more angrily. Wen Liao was very unwilling, but he did not dare to challenge the old man's bottom line. I'm sorry, he squeezed out these words from between his teeth. Only then did Hu Xian let go of his hand and walked into the Wen family with a swagger. The old man quickly led the way and said, Young man, please. Yan Hongyan and Yan Ran were already stunned, thinking, this guy is really crazy. Pan King and the others had stars in their eyes. Miss, this Hu Xian is so strong, yet so handsome, Junya said to Pan Qingyao. Aim to the Wen family's reception room. Hu Xian held up the seat. And the old man sat next to him and asked, Young man, I don't know what you are here for. I thought to myself, no one comes here for no reason, I wonder why he came. Hu Xian nodded and said, I came to visit because I want to inquire about the whereabouts of an antique, eternal sword. The eternal sword? Wen Huiyi muttered to himself, obviously unaware of the whereabouts of the eternal sword. Wen Liao suddenly said, I know the whereabouts of the eternal sword. But I won't tell you unless. Unless what? Hu Xian asked calmly. Although he was very excited inside, he did not show it. Unless you kneel down and beg me, Wen Liao said. Thinking you bully me and ask me to apologize, I will humiliate you. Hu Xian smiled. If you want to insult me, then it might bring disaster to the Wen family. After saying that, he picked up the teacup beside him and took a sip. The threatening words made Wen Huiyi frown. They stared at Hu Xian, unable to see through his true intentions, and dared not act rashly. He looked at Wen Liao and said, Tell me if you know the whereabouts of the eternal sword. I thought it would be better to get rid of this plague god as soon as possible. Wen Liao said unhappily, Grandpa, I think this guy is just showing off. He is definitely not your opponent, we don't need to be afraid of him. Others had the same thought in their minds, but did not speak out. Hu Xian, however, looked indifferent and drank his tea, as if everything had nothing to do with him. On the contrary, others were a little worried. Wen Huiyi pondered for a while and said, Tell him the whereabouts of the eternal sword. Grandfather, I asked you to tell him. Wen Huiyi was angry. Wen Liao's beloved body trembled. And he looked at Hu Xian and said, There is no free lunch in the world. If you want to find the whereabouts of the eternal sword, you must meet a condition. What conditions? Hu Xian asked calmly. I want Yan Hongyi. I want her to be my maid as long as you give her to me. I will tell you the whereabouts of the eternal sword. Yan Hongyi looked at Hu Xian with a pale face. Hu Xian smiled slightly and said, It seems that you, the Yan family, won't cry until you see the coffin. Do you think I have a good temper? Magnetic snap. As he spoke, lightning instantly appeared on Hu Xian's body, covering his entire body. No one had time to be shocked. Boom boom. There was thunder and lightning outside. Deafening, and at the same time there was a powerful pressure that spread in all directions with the Wen family as the point. The terrifying pressure caused panic and despair among all living beings within the range. Countless people knelt down uncontrollably with their legs. Chapter 364, No Fight. Everyone in the Wen family knelt on the ground, their hearts terrified to the extreme, beads of sweat dripping down their cheeks. Even Yan Hongyi and the others who were not targeted had a look of fear on their faces. Hu Xian stared at Wen Liao and said inferently, I'm asking you again, tell me the whereabouts of the eternal sword. Wen Liao dared not play tricks anymore and said in horror, The eternal sword is in the Lu family in Mingcheng. After getting the information he wanted, Hu Xian took back the thunder. The thunder and lightning outside gradually dissipated. The frightening pressure then disappeared. Hu Xian stood up, looked at the old man and said, You are not bad, not as stupid as your descendants. I won't take this favor for nothing. Here is my contact information. As long as it does not violate morality, I can help the Wen family once. Upon hearing this, the Wen family was stunned at first, and then became extremely excited. Thank you, sir. Wen and Wei were so excited that they even changed the way they addressed each other. The person in front of him may seem young, but he is definitely a true god. With the promise of such an existence, the Wen family is equivalent to having a powerful backer. Hu Xian took everyone away from the Wen family. When he came outside, he asked, Besides the military, where else can we find the fastest aircraft? The security department's aircraft are even more advanced than those of the military, said Yan Hongyi. Okay, Then go to the security department. Be my flying vehicle, Yan Hongyi said as he took out the flying vehicle. Hu Xian didn't hesitate and took the lead in boarding the aircraft. When I came inside, I was a little stunned. I didn't expect that Hongyi's aircraft was decorated in pink and red. It looked very warm and romantic. Seeing Hu Xian looking around curiously, Yan Hongyi felt a little shy. It was the first time that a strange man entered her aircraft. After touring the place, Hu Xian saw the red moon looking at him and smiled. Very beautiful. Yan Hongyi blushed even more. After about a quarter of an hour, we arrived at the Kaizhong City Security Department. You are. Without waiting for the other party to speak, Hu Xian took out his credentials as the supervisor of the Guangzhou City Military Department. As high-ranking military officials of the Human Alliance, their credentials are unified, especially for supervisory envoys. Although they cannot supervise other people's military departments across cities, they still have privileges in other aspects. Kaizhong City Supervisor. What can I do for you? I want to requisition the most advanced aircraft from your security department. Please follow me. You need to apply to our boss for this matter. Following the security officer, I came to the head of the security department. Boss, he is the supervisor of the Guangzhou City Military Department. And he said he wants to requisition our most advanced aircraft. After saying that, he lowered Hu Xian's ID card over to him. After the top leader looked at it, he said, our most advanced aircraft has been reserved. Being booked by someone means that you are still in the security department. I don't know who booked you and where you are going, Hu Xian asked. I'm sorry, this needs to be kept secret. At this time, a security guard came in, the top leader. Here you are, right? Take her to the most advanced aircraft. Yes. Hu Xian walked out. The leader shouted, Supervisor. You can't. Not far away, a woman wearing a purple dress, with a striking figure and wearing a mask also looked over. The security guard walked over and said, the boss asked me to take you to the most advanced aircraft. Good. Hu Xian came over and called out, Girl, I wonder if you are going to Mingcheng. So what? The other party said coldly. Hu Xian smiled and said, It's like this, we just happened to have something important to do in Mingming. And we were wondering if we could assemble a flying machine. No, the woman refused directly and left immediately after answering. Hu Xian followed. Yan Hongyi and the others followed behind. Soon they arrived at the tarmac and stood in front of a super advanced aircraft. Miss Ji, this is the most advanced aircraft in our security department. The woman nodded coldly and said, This type of aircraft is the most advanced in your Kaizhong City. It is. The security officer was a little embarrassed. There is no way Mingcheng is a first-class city with an excellent geographical location and a developed economy. So the equipment of both the security department and the military is very good. Hu Xian walked towards the aircraft. Seeing this, Fan King and the others had no choice but to follow behind. The woman frowned and said to the security guard beside her, I don't like competing with others for flying vehicles. The security guard said quickly, Come down quickly. Hooray! At this time, the door of the aircraft was actually closed. Inside the aircraft, Hu Xian's communicator was on. He pressed a button and the aircraft took off. It turned out that Hu Xian used super advanced hacking technology to invade the spacecraft and controlled the spacecraft directly to Africa. Since the girl was so proud of herself, Hu Xian was busy with his mission and naturally had no mood to waste time with her. Yan Hongyi was shocked after seeing Hu Xian's hacking skills. Just because hacking skills are too difficult, it can't be improved like improving one's cultivation. I feel more and more that Hu Xian is not a simple person. Damn it, is your security department's firewall so rubbish? Someone hacked into it and took away the spaceship so easily. A woman said angrily. The safety officer's face also looked very unhappy. He quickly reported it and notified the safety officer of the combat unit to drive the aircraft to catch up. The top leader was furious when he received the news. At this time, he received news from various departments that all aircraft had been hacked and could not be started. The hacker department was very busy, but there was no progress at all. Damn it, what level of hacker is the other party? Why is he so terrifying? The top leader came to the hacker department and angrily asked, Has it been solved? No, the opponent is too strong. A bunch of useless trash. Someone, come here, order the ultra-long-range department to blow up that spaceship for me. I thought to myself, even if you are the supervisor and you violate the rules, I have the right to shoot you down. Yes. Not long after, a subordinate came again, sweating profusely, and said, My lord, all weapons departments have also been invaded. And I inquired about the various ministries and learned that they had all been hacked and our entire security department was paralyzed. What? How can this guy, an overseer, have such powerful hacking skills? Notify the military and ask their hackers to help. Yes. On the spaceship, Huaxian has increased the speed of the spaceship to the limit. The speed was so fast that everyone inside the spacecraft could feel the obvious shaking. Lan Ying came to Huaxian and asked worriedly, "Son-in-law, are you in such a hurry to find the Eternal Sword because it is so important?" The others also looked at Huaxian, wanting to know. Yes, it is very important. Chapter 365. What can you do to make up for it? Ming City. Lu family. A luxurious spaceship came speeding and hovered over the Lu family. When people noticed the logo of Kaijiang City Security Department on the spaceship, many of them were curious about what the spaceship of Kaijiang City Security Department was doing in Lu's house. The Lu family was also extremely curious, but because it was a spaceship belonging to the security department, even though the Lu family was powerful in Mingcheng, they did not dare to confront the security department directly. Apply for connection. On the spacecraft, Huaxian connected the connection requested by the Lu family. A group of people appeared on the screen, and Huaxian and others also appeared in the eyes of the Lu family. Seeing that they were not from Kaijiang City's security department, they all frowned. A middle-aged man asked, "Who are you and why did you come here on the Kaijiang City Security Department spacecraft?" Huaxian said calmly, "I came to the Lu family because I had something to deal with. Why did the Lu family let me in?" Seeing that there was only one man on the other side and the rest were all women and a child, the Lu family was naturally not afraid. They immediately released the air defense and allowed the spacecraft to land. As the spaceship landed, the Lu family guards immediately surrounded it, and all the top leaders of the Lu family arrived. The warehouse door opened and Huaxian took the lead and walked out. "Who are you anyway?" "It doesn't matter who I am. I came here today mainly for the Eternal Sword." "What?" The top leaders of the Lu family were all very shocked. Not everyone knew about this Eternal Sword. A lower level had a look of confusion on their faces. The middle-aged man in the lead asked in a deep voice, "Sir, how did you know the whereabouts of the Eternal Sword?" Huaxian said, "That's not important. What's important? Is important is that I want to use 30 billion platinum coins to buy the Eternal Sword." "What? Are you crazy?" A member of the Lu family was extremely shocked. Huaxian said, "Can we discuss it? No room for negotiation. Get out." The middle-aged man waved his hand to order the guest to leave, and turned to leave. A group of security guards immediately surrounded them aggressively. Huaxian said, "I guess you are the head of the Lu family. It is better not to do some things to the extreme if you have no way out. Then you will only have a dead end." A young man walked over from a distance and said to Stephanie, "Who do you think you are, threatening our Lu family?" He said to the middle-aged man, "Father, we have investigated clearly. This spaceship was snatched by these guys from the Kaijiang City Security Department. It is said that they also offended Ji Wanning, the daughter of the Ji family." "What? Are you crazy?" When Huaxian heard their conversation, he realized that the woman's name was Ji Wanning. The middle-aged man glared at Huaxian and said, "Don't even think about buying the Eternal Sword for 30 billion platinum coins. Even 300 billion is impossible. Get lost now." The young man said, "Father, this guy has offended the Ji family. Why don't we arrest him and send him to the Ji family? That would be good." At this moment, a super spaceship of the Ji family hovered above the Lu family. It was very huge, much larger than the spaceship driven by Huaxian and his team. The Ji family's spaceship landed directly without any hesitation. Not only did the Lu family not show any dissatisfaction, but they all greeted them with smiles. It was like a servant trying to please his master. The spaceship landed and a woman came out. When they saw this woman, Fan King and the others all looked excited. "Isn't she the woman whose spaceship was snatched away by Huaxian?" The Ji Wanning mentioned by the Lu family. Ji Wanning got off the spaceship. The head of the Lu family asked enthusiastically, "Ms. Ji, I didn't know you were coming to our Lu family. I hope you can forgive me for not welcoming you." Ji Wanting focused her attention on Huaxian after a cold look. She asked the Ji clan leader, "Why did he come to your Ji family?" Patriarch Ji was not satisfied with the concealment and quickly said, "He came to our Ji family because he wanted to use 30 billion platinum coins to buy the Eternal Sword with a market value of 100 billion platinum coins." "Oh, really?" "Yes, he said it himself." Ji Wanning walked up to Huaxian step by step, stared at him, and said inferently, "You want the Eternal Sword? You seem to be very eager so. The Eternal Sword is very important to you. What do you want to do?" Huaxian asked with a frown. Ji Wanning smiled and said, "You are arrogant and brutal. You snatched my spaceship away, causing my blind date to fall through. You also offended the Yu family in Xuanyang City, and put the family business into crisis. So Patriarch Lu, I will buy the Eternal Sword with 100 billion platinum coins." Chief Lu hurriedly said, "Mrs. Ji, your words are too precious. If you want the Eternal Sword, my Lu family will give it to you. But Che Sheng, go get the Eternal Sword." "Okay, father." The young man left. Not long after, he arrived holding an ancient brocade box, and respectfully handed it to Ji Wanning, saying, Ms. Ji, the ancient sword inside is the eternal sword. Ji Wanning opened the box and found an exquisite silk package inside. She took out the silk and gently opened it, revealing a long sword without a scabbard. The long sword was dull and black, and did not look like a bronze sword. Ji Wanning held the long sword in her hand, waved it a few times and said, This is the eternal sword you wanted, not bad, not bad. Although it's not a magical weapon, it's very easy to use. Unfortunately, the sword is mine now. Hu Xian apologized. I'm sorry, I was wrong to snatch the spaceship today. I want to apologize to you. Oh, apologize, you can still apologize. I can't believe that you, who is so arrogant and unreasonable, would apologize. Come on, apologize, I want to hear if it sounds good. As he spoke, he turned his ear to the side. Fan King and the others looked at Hu Xian in surprise. In their hearts, Hu Xian has always been a very strong person, but they didn't expect that he would also have to bow his head. Sorry. Hu Xian dares to act and take responsibility for his mistakes. If he is wrong, there is nothing he is afraid to admit. TSK, apologize, what's the point? You made me miss out on a good marriage. And even put my Ji family into a financial crisis. Can an apology from you solve this problem? Do you know how terrifying the Yu family in the super city Xuanyang City is? They are the top family in the super city, not to mention targeting forces from first-class cities like us. They are also a terrifying existence in Xuanyang City. Ji Wanting lost her ladylike image and shouted angrily. Hu Xian said, Miss Ji, what happened has already happened. Why don't you tell me how I can make up for it so that you will be willing to sell this eternal sword to me? Ji Wanting calmed down a little, stared at Hu Xian and sneered. What ability do you have to make up for it? Fan King said. My husband is amazing. He has many abilities, including a strong genetic level, unparalleled medical skills, the hacking skills you have seen. And? Husband? So, you are all her wives? After Ji Wanning sneered, she looked at Hu Xian and said, You are really good. You are the most philandering man I have ever seen. Lan Ying hurriedly said, Girl, don't talk nonsense. I'm not his wife, he is my son-in-law. Chapter 366. Captured Ji Wanning. Hu Xian smiled and said, Why don't you become my wife? This way you can solve the problem of your blind date being unsuccessful, offending the Yu family, and the financial crisis. Hearing this, the Lu family members all sneered, thinking, Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? How dare you set your sights on Ji Qianjin? You bastard. Who do you think you are? You are a toad wanting to eat swan meat. I think he is not even a toad, he is shit, the whole world is shit. The younger generation of the Lu family couldn't help but mock Hu Xian. Ji Wanning sneered, You have a nice idea. Can you solve the problem of offending the Yu family? Can you solve the financial crisis that the Yu family has brought to us? Yes, Hu Xian answered confidently. And Xian saw that her husband was in urgent need of the eternal sword. So she came over, took Hu Xian's arm and said, There is nothing in the world that my husband can't do. Yin Yun Yu also came over and took Hu Xian's arm and said, If my husband can't solve it, no one else can. Fan King was not far behind and walked over and said, That's right, our husband is omnipotent. Chuo Dongyu also walked over firmly. Although he didn't say anything, his expression expressed everything. Ji Wanting smiled coldly and stared at Hu Xian. You are very powerful and rich, right? And you should first use 100 billion to buy this eternal sword. It can be seen that Hu Xian proposed 30 billion to purchase the eternal sword, which proved that he definitely did not have any extra platinum coins. Hu Xian said, This sword costs 30 billion to buy. This is the task given to me by the higher-ups. I can't pay a cent more or a cent less. Miss Wanting, you and I have no deep hatred as long as you sell this eternal sword to me for 30 billion. I will bear all the crises brought by the Yu family for the Ji family. And I will double compensate for all the losses caused to the Ji family. Of course, if you like me, I will marry you. Ow? Then you should first deal with the crisis brought by the Yu family. After that, I will sell this eternal sword to you. Hu Xian looked at the time and saw that there were only 9 hours left. It was impossible to resolve the Yu family crisis in such a short time. Even if they wanted to use their powerful strength to suppress the Yu family, it would be impossible after all. It took more than 10 hours for a true god-level fighter to fly at full speed to reach Xuanyang City. Ms. Wanting, I really want this eternal sword now. Please give me a chance to sell it to me. Hu Xian said in a pleading tone. Ji Wanting still sneered. And then said, Beg me? Well, show your sincerity, kneel down and beg me. And I will sell this eternal sword to you. When Enheirian and Yin Yu heard this, they frowned instantly. They actually made the king kneel down and were tired of living. Girl, I think you should not go too far. As Dark Sky spoke, he took a step forward, and the power of a true god oppressed the entire Lu family. Boom boom boom. The pressure from the true god was unbearable for mortals. Everyone in the Lu family knelt on the ground, their hearts shaken and their faces filled with horror. Lu Qingshan, the head of the Lu family, was so scared that he almost peed himself. I thought that the other party was just a slightly powerful little character. After all, the supervisor is powerful, but it also depends on the level of the city. But now, any random woman stands out and is actually a real god. How terrifying. Ji Wanting also knelt in front of Hu Xin with a pale face. It's unbelievable, who is the other party and why is there a real god beside him? No, this true god woman calls him husband, then who is he? She didn't believe that if Hu Xin had no power, a true god level woman would willingly follow him. In other words, this Hu Xin was at least a true god level. Fear. It's so horrible. Wife, calm down, we can't bully others by taking advantage of our power. Hu Xin stopped. Dark Sky. Only then did Dark Sky put away his aura of a true god. Hu Xin walked over and gently helped Ji Wanting up, saying, I'm sorry, my wife is a little impatient, don't take it too hard. Ji Wanting asked in surprise, if I sell the eternal sword to you, are the conditions you mentioned before true? I thought, with a true god in charge, what does the Yu family matter? Hu Xin nodded and said, yes, it's all true. Ji Wanting stared into Hu Xin's eyes and thought for a while before saying, okay, then I agree to your terms. He handed the eternal sword to Hu Xin. Hu Xin took over the key on Gu Jianao and said, wife, give me your payment account number. The word wife made Ji Wanting excited and shy. Husband, we are all family, so let's just forget it. Even though she was shy, she still called him out. After all, no one in the entire MUYN star had a true god husband. Of course, this does not include the people around Hu Xin. Hu Xin smiled gently and said, wife, I've told you before that 30 billion to buy the eternal sword is the task given to me by my superiors. 1 cent more or 1 cent less will not do. Okay then. Ji Wanting then took out the payment account number. Hu Xin quickly transferred the money. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have spent 30 billion platinum coins within 16 hours and received a chance to win a prize lottery. Ding, new mission, spend 150 billion platinum coins with 5 times the critical strike within 24 hours to buy a 10-year-old ginseng. If the mission fails, the host's highest genetic realm level 3 will be deducted. If the mission is completed, you will get a chance to draw a lottery. System, let me draw a lottery. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have won the Super God Disguise skill in the lottery. This skill disguises the Super God's coercion, lasts for 3 minutes, and has a cooldown of 24 hours. Hu Xin's body trembled. This skill was absolutely amazing and could play a huge role at the critical moment. Sure enough, the rewards obtained from the lottery are much more advanced than gene points. At this moment, the Lu family was shocked to the extreme. They didn't expect that there was a real god beside Hu Xin. And they didn't expect that Ji Wanting was really taken down by Hu Xin. Now everyone in the Lu family hopes that Lord Hu Xin will forgive them and not bear grudges against them. Hu Xin looked at the Lu family with cold eyes. It made them tremble with fear. I won't bother with the others who didn't speak, but you guys should handle the people who insulted me. If I'm satisfied, the Lu family will be fine. If I'm not satisfied, the Lu family will cease to exist. All the members of the Lu family trembled violently and looked at the patriarch Lu Qingshan. At this time, Ji Wanting's phone rang. There was nothing to hide in front of Hu Xin. So the communication was open. A very beautiful woman appeared in the image. Daughter, you just came back. Where have you been? Do you know that because of your lateness, the Ji family is in crisis? Now everyone in the Ji family is very angry. Your father has called a meeting. Come back quickly. By the way, my daughter, you have to be prepared. Your father may publicly punish you severely in order to win the support of the public. Hearing this, Ji Wanting was so frightened that her body trembled violently and her face turned pale. Suddenly thinking of Hu Xin and his power, he breathed a sigh of relief and said, Mom, I'll be back soon. The woman emphasized, Daughter, you must hurry. You are not valued in the Ji family. Such a big thing has happened. You can't let everyone wait for you. Mom, I know, I'll be back in 10 minutes at most. Chapter 367. You are confused. After hanging up the phone, Ji Wanting looked at Hu Xin and said, Hubby, you heard everything. Hu Xin hugged her and comforted her. Don't be afraid, I'm here even if the sky falls. The Lu family members were praying in their hearts, hoping that Hu Xin would forget about them because of Ji Wanting's matter and leave quickly. Hu Xin looked at them and said in a deep voice, I will give you another 10 seconds. I will destroy the Lu family, and you will only offend those guys who offended me. You still have 7 seconds. The Lu family was terrified. Especially the young men led by Lui Sheng were so scared that they defected and urinated all over. For the continuation of the family, the patriarch Lu Qingshan's eyes gradually became cold and he looked at the young men headed by his son. Dad, no, I don't want to die. The son Lui Sheng was the first to plead. Patriarch, please, we really don't want to die. We offended each other for the sake of the Lu family. Others also begged for mercy. Lu Qingshan said in a deep voice. It's useless to plead with me, he is the one who wants to kill you. Lui Sheng was the first to wreak the rush towards Hu Xin and said. Sir, please, spare my life please. Others also hurriedly said. Sir, please forgive us, we know we are wrong. Hu Xin remained indifferent. If every true god who was offended chose to forgive the ants, wouldn't the ants become even more aggressive? There are still 2 seconds. Lu Qingshan took action. When the last 2 seconds ended, 6 bodies were lying in front of Hu Xin. The Lu family members' hearts were bleeding when they looked at the 6 bodies. Not only were they direct descendants, they were also geniuses of the Lu family. But now they were all dead. Everyone looked at Hu Xin. And their hearts were gradually filled with resentment. Hu Xin said coldly, want to take revenge on me? Boom! There was a loud thunder. Terrifying lightning appeared on Hu Xin's body. A 9-day thunder and lightning resonated and rolled in. In an instant, the sky above Mingcheng was filled with thunder and lightning. And the terrifying pressure of thunder and lightning rolled in like the sky was falling. Not wanting to make too much noise, Hu Xin retracted the lightning. And the 9-day lightning also disappeared. Hu Xin likes this lightning gene more and more as he tries it again and again and again, and it gives him a shocking feeling. The Lu family was terrified. I thought Hu Xin was just a playboy from some super powerful force. But I didn't expect him to be 100 times or 1,000 times more terrifying than that woman just now. After being shocked, Ji Wanning was ecstatic. Such a strong and outstanding man is now her husband. With him around, who dares to bully her? Bully the Ji family? Hu Xin said coldly, Lu family, you'd better not have any thoughts of blaspheming the true God again. Otherwise you will not be able to enter the reincarnation after death. After saying that, he took Ji Wanning's hand and walked away. Wife, go and take care of your business. Well, thank you, husband. He boarded Ji Wanning's spaceship and left under the horrified and desperate gaze of the Lu family. In less than 10 minutes, they arrived at a mountain on the east side of Xuanyang City. The mountains may seem like nothing, but if you feel them carefully, you will find that there is genetic power emanating from the earth. As we go deeper into the mountains, the genetic power becomes stronger and stronger. Soon we saw a huge manor, located on a round stone pillar in the mountains. It was very peculiar. The spaceship landed in the manor. And the beautiful woman in the previous communication came over with a worried look on her face. When the hatch opened, the woman said worriedly, daughter, hurry up, this matter. When the woman noticed that it was a man who appeared, she was stunned. Then he asked, who are you? Ji Wanning came out and introduced. Mom, this is my husband Hu Xin. Husband? Daughter. Is it because of him that you were late on purpose and offended the Yu family? The woman asked in disbelief. Because no matter how you look at it, Hu Xin is just ordinary in disguise. Thinking that it was because Hu Xin stole her spaceship that delayed her time. And that she became his wife by mistake, Ji Wanning nodded and said. That's right. You are confused. Look at his ordinary appearance. Is there anything good about him that is worth offending the Yu family for him? Mom, the Yu family is nothing but scum in front of my husband. They are not worth mentioning. Didn't you say Dad called a meeting? Let's go over there. Daughter Yu. The woman didn't know what to say. And he remembered that there was a group of women following Hu Xin. And asked, daughter, who are they? Mom, they are my husband's wife and relatives. What, he has so many wives? Daughter, what do you think? Or is he threatening you? The woman asked, looking at Hu Xin with a cold gaze. And the more she looked at him, the more displeased she became. Mom, my husband didn't threaten me. He walked over to the woman and whispered in her ear. Mom, it seems that my husband and the wife beside him are both true gods. What? The woman was shocked, but then she refused to believe it. Daughter, are you crazy? Are they the real gods? Mom, you saw the terrifying lightning in the sky just now. It was caused by my husband being angry. This is what happened. Tell everything that happened in the Lu family. Daughter, are you sure what you said is true? Mom, it's absolutely true. When has your daughter ever lied to you? The woman looked at Hu Xin with different eyes again. Looking at him carefully, I found that he was confident and fearless, as if he was different from others. As they were talking, they had already arrived at the Ji family's meeting hall. Everyone in the Ji family gathered together, waiting with gloomy faces. The center of the great hall is sunken. At this time, the door of the conference hall opened and everyone looked over with cold eyes. Seeing a group of people following the woman, they all frowned. Everyone was stunned when they noticed Ji Wanning holding the arm of a young man. And then they exploded. Ji Wanning, who is he? An old man roared. It was Ji Wanning's grandfather, Ji Chonghee. Mother Shang Kaixia gritted her teeth and introduced. Dad, he is Wanning's boyfriend Hu Xin. What? The whole audience was shocked. Afterwards, they were all extremely angry, and some were even murderous. Ji Wanning, just for such a waste, you were late on purpose and offended Yuha? The eldest young master of the Yu family, do you want to kill our Ji family? After the eldest brother Ji Weijun roared with a murderous voice. He rushed towards Ji Wanning. No one stopped him. He came in front of Ji Wanning and slapped her hard. Hu Xin reached out and grabbed Ji Weijun's wrist, saying calmly, "Whoever touches my woman will die." These simple words made Ji Wanning feel extremely safe and moved. Dark Sky and the others had similar feelings. And King Yao stared at Hu Xin and became more and more moved. The more she followed Hu Xin, she realized how outstanding he was. You bastard, you're the one who bewitched my sister, right? Then I'm going to kill you. Chapter 368, Sky's Compensation. Buzz. The terrifying genetic power erupted from Ji Weijun's body and gathered in his fist at an extremely fast speed. The powerful force caused the space around the fist to tremble. He plunged Hu Xin. Boom. A powerful bolt of lightning burst out from Hu Xin's body. Using the hand that was holding Ji Weijun as the medium, and instantly spread throughout Ji Weijun's entire body. Phew. The powerful force of thunder and lightning not only interrupted Ji Weijun's attack, but also caused him to be attacked by his own genetic power and suffered serious injuries. Hu Xin let go. Ding dong. Ji Weijun fell to the ground. Everyone in the audience was stunned, so much so that Shang Kaixia, who was standing nearby, didn't have time to support her son. It took a long time for the Ji family members to come back to their senses with horror on their faces. Someone was shocked and asked, "That doomsday like thunder and lightning in the sky just now, couldn't it be caused by him?" Hearing this, the Ji family was terrified to the extreme. Hu Xin smiled and said, "Yes, it's me." And he said, "I'd like to announce that Ji Wanning is my woman. I hope you can give me some face and not embarrass her." These people looked at each other. At this time, a steward from another family came running in panic. Seeing that everyone on the scene was shocked, he asked in confusion, "Patriarch, Master, did you know that the people from the Yu family are here? I thought they were scared because they knew the Yu family was coming." Hearing this, clan leader Ji Yang asked, "Is the Yu family here so soon?" The housekeeper was stunned, thinking, "You don't know? Then why are you so shocked?" "Patriarch, a Yu family fighter ship flew over and landed in the manor." Ji Chonghee, "You're going to hold a meeting, right? That's great, I have something to announce." A strong voice came. Everyone in the Ji family was somewhat shocked and frightened. After a while, a middle-aged man came to the entrance of the hall with a dozen people. However, the door was blocked by Hu Xin and others. A young man shouted angrily, "Get lost." Hu Xin slowly turned around. None of the people behind were afraid, and they all looked at them as weak. Noticing that the expressions of the people blocking the door were not simple, the Yu family members were a little confused. "But that's all. I told you to get out, don't you understand?" Hu Xin smiled and asked, "Are you the Yu family?" "Yes." "So what?" The other party was very cold. Hu Xin pointed to the other side of the ground and said, "I'm glad you're from the Yu family. I have a score to settle with you. First of all, you made my wife feel bad, so you have to compensate me. It's not much, just 1 trillion platinum coins. Secondly, you threatened the Ji family and put them under great mental pressure. You need to pay compensation." Yishuan said 100 trillion will be enough. "Finally, you bullied my wife, my family, and insulted me. You must pay compensation. This is a little expensive. 1 quadrillion platinum coins. The total is. Boy, are you crazy because of poverty? Are you looking for compensation from our Yu family? The top family in Super City Promotion City? Yes. That's right, it's you now. Either pay up and leave, or die." When the last two words were spoken, the voice burst out with the power of the death gene, making everyone present feel the breath of death. An involuntary fear inside. Womaness does not fear death. The Yu family members looked at Hu Xin with a changed look in their eyes. They couldn't figure out his true intentions and didn't dare to act rashly. The Ji family was shocked and wanted to know where Ji Wanning found this partner. Hu Xin continued, "The total is 11 trillion platinum coins. Pay me and leave. If you don't, I will kill one of you every 10 minutes. He turned on the communicator and said, "The timer begins." Watching the 10-minute countdown, the faces of everyone in the Yu family looked extremely ugly. "Dad, what do you think?" the young man asked the middle-aged man in the lead. "I can't see clearly, but what I just took seemed to be the power of the death gene. It's very strange." "Dad, the death gene is not something a living person can control. Will he use some magical weapon to release it and scare us? I think what the young master said is on point. The Yu family was talking about this. A middle-aged man said to an old man behind him, Mr. Shaoan, use all your strength to kill him unexpectedly. You can't be that powerful at this age. Good. Mr. Shaozi began to accumulate strength. When the countdown reached 5 minutes, a Ji family became nervous. 3 minutes. After accumulating strength, Mr. Xiaoying suddenly burst out, rushed towards Hu Xian with a long sword in hand, and slashed at Hu Xian's head. The terrifying aura frightened the family members and made them tremble with fear. Because of this momentum, even the old man of the Ji family, Ji Chonghe, is not as strong as him. This means that this one person can sweep away their Ji family. Everyone is very worried, can Hu Xian and his team win? Looking at the powerful sword approaching him, Hu Xian calmly stretched out his right hand, and with 2 fingers, he casually clamped the blade. The whole audience was stunned. Hu Xian smiled slightly and folded it hard. Click. The sword blade broke with a sound. Just throw it away. The sword blade was extremely fast, flying like Master Xiaoying. The latter had no time to react. Phew! The sword blade pierced into Mr. Xiaoying's forehead accurately, and with tremendous force, it penetrated him completely. The more powerful the genetic practitioner, the more tenacious his vitality. Even though Mr. Xiaoying's brain was destroyed, he still did not die instantly. His body was still moving around wildly, looking extremely unwilling. After a while, ding dong. Then he fell to the ground. The Yu family gradually reacted and looked at Hu Xian with horror in their eyes. Hu Xian smiled and said, Since you have bad intentions and are trying to kill me, the compensation amount will be doubled to 10 trillion platinum coins at the intermediate level. The entire Ji family took a deep breath. 1 trillion platinum coins. Even the Yu family couldn't come up with that, right? Hu Xian remembered something and said, Oh, by the way, if you can't take it out, I will kill you one by one every 10 minutes. And then go to the Yu family and destroy everything. Cold sweat. Countless people broke out in cold sweats. The clan leader Yu Handanji said in a trembling voice, Sir, we really can't come up with 100 trillion platinum coins. Do you think we can use something else to pay for it? The stronger the opponent was, the more afraid he was. So he didn't dare to mess around anymore. Hu Xian thought of the mission item. So he said, Okay, 1 ginseng that is 10,000 years old. If you take it out, not only do you not have to pay me 1 trillion platinum coins, I will also give you 150 trillion platinum coins to buy it. 10,000 years of sharing ginseng. Everyone was shocked. No matter what it was, if it lived for 10,000 years it would become a spirit. Let alone a 10,000-year-old ginseng. Hu Xian also didn't think that the Yu family could afford it. But they could give it a try. Yu Handanji said, Sir, I really can't get the ginseng that has been distributed for 10,000 years. But I know where it is. Can I provide you with a clue when you let my Yu family go? Hu Xian looked at the Ji family and asked, Do you know any clues? Everyone shook their heads vigorously. Seeing this, Hu Xian looked at Yu Handanji and said, How about this? If you provide the information, the compensation will be half to 50 trillion platinum coins. Chapter 316 Scene. The whereabouts of the 10,000-year-old ginseng. Yu Handanji's heart was bleeding. 50 trillion. Although he could afford it, it was definitely a sky price and a disaster for the Yu family. I regret it so much. When it came to 100 billion, why didn't I just give the money and leave? But I dare not refuse because the other party is too weird and too powerful. Okay, I'll transfer the money to you right away. As the head of the Yu family, the funds and industries of the Yu family are naturally in his hands. Hu Xian said to Ji Chonghe, Please accept these hundreds of billions of platinum coins as my marriage gift. The entire Ji family trembled violently. A betrothal gift of 500 trillion platinum coins was definitely a sky price and a huge sum of money. Ji Chonghe looked at Yu Handanji, but did not dare to withdraw. Hu Xian is not afraid of the Yu family, but the Ji family is. Seeing this, Hu Xian said, Grandpa, take it with me here. The Yu family means nothing, just say a word from you. If you are unhappy with the Yu family, I will destroy them immediately and then go to the Yu family. The Yu family was scared to death. The Ji family became stronger. Yes, with such a powerful son-in-law around, why should we be afraid of the Yu family? Ji Chonghe then smiled and took out the payment account and said, Chief Yu, I'm sorry, this was all arranged by my son-in-law. You can't blame me. Yu Handanji was extremely unhappy, but he didn't dare to show it. He smiled and said, I dare not. How dare I blame your relatives? I quickly transferred the money and just wanted to leave as soon as possible. Otherwise, if this guy gets unhappy and kills everyone, then their deaths would be unjust. After paying, he said to Hu Xian, Sir, the 10,000-year-old ginseng is in the territory of the rat people in Senmao City. A rat tribe, aren't they an alien race? Hu Xian asked curiously. Yes, the rat tribe is an alien race. They are good at treasure hunting, have a keen nose, and are very good at finding spiritual materials. I also learned by chance from an old man that there is a 10,000-year-old ginseng in the rat tribe's territory. Okay, if the news is correct, I won't embarrass your Yu family anymore. If the rat people don't have 10,000-year-old ginseng anywhere, that will be the end of your Yu family. Get lost. The Yu family members were scared to death and looked at Yu Handanji, hoping that he was not lying to this devilish guy. Yu Handanji was also worried in his heart. After all, it was a friend who told him, and he was not sure whether it was true or not. He said with a stiff upper lip, "Sir, my best friend will definitely not lie to me. It would be better. Sir, we're leaving." Yu Handanji led his men away respectfully. The Ji family's eyes fell on Hu Xian. Hu Xian looked at them and said, "Is there a spaceship that flies very fast? I need to reach the rat tribe's territory within 12 hours. This." Father-in-law Ji Young smiled bitterly and said, "Son-in-law, even with our most advanced aircraft, it will take half a month to fly to the rat tribe's territory." "What, half a month?" Hu Xian frowned. "Ji Chong," he said at this time, "there is another way to reach Sentai City, which is close to Senmao City. Within an hour. What's the solution? Tell me now, old man." "Ji Chong," he said, "it is the space gate of the first Chamber of Commerce, the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. However, this space door is only used by the top executives of the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. It is never open to the public, and can only accommodate one person at a time. So, you can't take your wife and relatives with you." "Space gate?" Muttering, Hu Xian said to An-He Ian and Yin Yin Yu, "Wife, take everyone back to Guangzhou City and reunite with my other wives. I will come to find you when I am done." "Okay, husband." An-He Ian and Yin Yin Yu said in unison, very obediently. Hu Xian smiled and nodded. "Ladies, thank you for your understanding." He looked at Ji Chong He and said, "Old man, I wonder where the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce is." Ji Chong He said, "Since my grandson-in-law is so anxious, I will take you to the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce." Good. After Hu Xian said goodbye to the girls, he boarded the Ji family's most advanced spacecraft and headed to the first Chamber of Commerce. They are all in the same city and can reach the destination in a few minutes. "Grandson-in-law, that's the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. Spacecraft can't land here, so go by yourself." "Okay. Old man, feel free to contact me if you have anything." "Don't worry, grandson-in-law, I'm definitely not afraid of bothering you." Hu Xian jumped off the spaceship and walked quickly towards the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce building. The old man left in a good mood. He thought he would be stopped, but the guard just glanced at him. Walking into the upper hall. It is magnificent and huge. A beautiful girl in a business suit came over and asked respectfully, "Sir, how can I help you?" Hu Xian looked around and found that every professional customer service representative was very beautiful, with black stockings, beautiful legs and a curvy figure, which were extremely attractive. "I'm looking for the person who is responsible for this." "Excuse me, sir, are you a senior member of the union?" "No." "Then sir, please come with me and fill out an application form to meet the loser." "No, I'm busy. Please inform your responsible person immediately." "I'm sorry, but the rule here is that only senior members are eligible to meet the loser directly. Everyone else needs to apply." Hu Xian asked impatiently. "So how can I become a senior member of your union?" "Sir, the first registration for our membership requires an asset of 100 billion platinum coins. And it is only for ordinary membership. You need to keep doing business and accumulate points. Only when you reach a certain point can you be promoted to the next level of membership." Hu Xian rolled his eyes when he heard this. If he hadn't needed help from others, he would have been too weak to explode. He restrained his temper and asked, "Besides senior membership and application, is there any other way to meet you guys?" "Sir, if there are senior members willing to take you, you can also meet our senior members." Hearing this, Hu Xian looked around. There are quite a few people. Then he asked, "Do you know which of those people is a senior member?" "Sorry sir, this is not within my job scope, and I don't know their identities." Hu Xian ignored the customer service and walked towards a fat man who looked tall and impressive. The fat man looked to be in his early 30s. Hu Xian patted him on the shoulder and asked, "Brother, I know you are not simple just by looking at your outfit. I wonder what level of member of the Chamber of Commerce you are." The fat man was originally very dissatisfied with being patted on the shoulder, but he was very pleased with Hu Xian's words. He said proudly, "I am now a junior member of the first Chamber of Commerce." Hu Xian immediately left without interest. I continued to ask other people, and the highest level they got was only an intermediate member. He frowned immediately. At this time, security arrived and said, "Sir, we noticed that you have been asking customers about their membership levels. This has seriously affected the customer experience. Please leave. Huaxian said, I just want to find a senior member. Does anyone know one? Please recommend one. The security guard said impatiently. Sir, if you don't leave, we will have to use force. Chapter 370. Rich Woman, Keeping a Mistress. Huaxian is in a very bad mood now. He has great ability but he has to ask for help from others. So he dare not explode. Now being threatened by a few security guards, he immediately exploded. Fuck you. Bang bang bang. The fight ends with one strike. Several security guards fainted on the ground. You have to know that this is the security guard of the First Chamber of Commerce. The Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. He is not an ordinary person. But he is no match for you. Only then did everyone notice that this young man who had been looking for high-level guys was not simple. Huaxian completely lost his patience and said to the nearest customer service representative, either take me to see your person in charge, or recommend me a senior member. Hey, little brother, I'm a senior member. On the second floor, a wealthy woman shouted to Huaxian. Huaxian was overjoyed when he heard this. He jumped up and tried to jump to the second floor. Everyone who saw this scene was stunned, wondering if this guy was crazy. Jumping in the lobby of the First Chamber of Commerce? Immediately, a strong energy appeared. Huaxian suddenly felt his body sink and he was almost knocked down. Unleash even more powerful genetic power and charge forward. As everyone watched in shock, the visible deformation of the air wall was magnified. Boom! With a loud bang, the air wall burst and disappeared after a gust of wind. Huaxian landed steadily in front of the rich woman on the second floor. He asked excitedly, are you a senior member? The rich woman was very satisfied with Huaxian's performance and said with a smile, of course. And can you do me a favor? I want to meet the top leader here. The rich woman reached out and grabbed Huaxian's hand, smiling and saying, this is a small matter as long as you meet my requirements. You won't have to work hard anymore, just tell me if you need anything. When the people around heard this, they were very envious. This is true even for junior and mid-level members. Senior membership is not only a reflection of wealth, but also a symbol of strength. It's so lucky to be supported by a rich woman. The key point is that this rich woman has a good figure and is very beautiful. It is so lucky to be supported by her. But Huaxian looked down on it. He asked the others, are there any other senior members among you? Seeing that Huaxian actually looked down on her, the rich woman's face darkened and she said coldly, boy, do you think senior members are cheap? Let me tell you. There are only 3 senior members in the whole Mingcheng. And I am one of them. At this time, a woman who looked similar to the rich woman came over. Mom, who is he? He's a young man with some strength. I'm impressed by his martial arts skills, but I don't want him to follow me. The woman looked at Huaxian and frowned. Mom, I don't see what's so special about him. He is quite capable. He jumped up from the first floor and broke through the defensive air wall. What? The woman was shocked and then she looked at Huaxian seriously. Huaxian looked at the woman and said, your mother wants to support me. But I don't want to. Why don't you support me? Boy, do you want to die? How dare you set your sights on my precious daughter? The rich woman was very angry. I thought to myself, it is your blessing that I like you, but you dare to despise me and try to attract my daughter's attention. That's too much. Mom, stop joking, your daughter and I are a perfect match. Huaxian called her mom directly. Everyone in the audience was stunned. If you don't know, you would really think they are a family. While the woman was stunned, Huaxian walked over and put his arms around her waist. The strange feeling made the woman scream. The rich woman reacted and became furious. You dare to molest my daughter? Come, take him down for me. Whoever takes him down will be paid 100 million by me. Where there is huge money, there are always brave men. Many people rushed to Huaxian for 100 million yuan. Faced with these people who were blinded by money, Huaxian, who was in a hurry to complete the task, showed no mercy. He kicked them one by one, all with heavy force. In a few seconds, the surroundings were filled with people who had fainted and still had painful expressions on their faces. Oh my god, their genetic realm is ruined. Only then did people realize that everyone who had taken action had lost their cultivation. After everyone noticed it, they were shocked to the extreme. Those who still wanted to try their luck were all frightened to the point of turning pale and feeling lingering fear. Huaxian came to the rich mother and daughter again and said to the girl, it's okay if you don't want to be my woman, but do me a favor and take me to see the person who is responsible for this place. You. The woman was so angry that she couldn't speak. The rich woman said with a wicked heart, young man, except that I am a little older than my daughter, my figure and beauty are no worse than hers. Be my man, and enjoy yourself. Then, he came to Huaxian's ear and whispered, as long as you become my man, if you are just coveting my daughter's body, I can. Huaxian slapped her and said angrily, you are such a slut. In order to get me, you even sold out your own daughter. This is the first time I've met a mother like you. What's going on? A majestic voice came. Huaxian looked up and saw a middle-aged man walking down from the third floor. I noticed that everyone looked at this middle-aged man with respect. The loser, this guy has been clamoring to see you. But he is not qualified, so he wants to ask a senior member for help. And then, the first customer service representative who received Huaxian told him the truth about what happened. But I dare not add fuel to the fire. The middle-aged man came to Huaxian, frowned and asked, "Young man, what's wrong with you?" Huaxian said, "I want to use your space portal." What? A whole audience was stunned. Everyone knows that the space portal of the First Chamber of Commerce is exclusively for internal senior management and will never be used by outsiders. Now someone actually came to borrow it, so everyone was shocked. Even the loser was stunned for a while before asking, "Young man, I'm afraid you don't know anything about our Chamber of Commerce?" Huaxian nodded and said, "I really don't understand. I'm in a hurry to go somewhere now, so I hope you can borrow the space portal. After I'm done with this, I will definitely reward you handsomely." I'm sorry, even a 3-year-old child knows that the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce's space portal is only available to high-ranking members. No one else is eligible. Just at this moment, a large team of senior security officers arrived. Each of them was very powerful and all flew to the second floor. Everyone watched with wide eyes, wondering what the outcome would be. After all, this was the first time that there was such a big disturbance in the First Chamber of Commerce. "What's going on?" the senior security commander asked sternly. "The aura makes countless people tremble with fear." The loser pointed at Huaxian and said, "It was him who caused trouble in our First Chamber of Commerce. Please watch the video for details." A surveillance projection appears and starts fast-forwarding from the moment Huaxian comes in. After watching it, the team of senior security officers were shocked. The commander asked, "I wonder who you are." Chapter 371. Help. Huaxian said calmly, "It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is that I want to borrow the space portal of the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce." The rich woman at the side said angrily, "He hit people. You all saw it in the video. He hit me. I demand that he be arrested and sent to death prison." "Come with us," said the commander. Because the scene of Huaxian breaking through the air wall was so shocking. And the commander guessed that his identity might not be simple. He did not dare to fight him roughly. Huaxian was quite satisfied with this and shook his head, saying, "I have something very important to deal with and I don't have time to go to the security department." At this moment, a full-screen screen above my head opened. A woman dressed seductively and looking sexy and charming appeared on the screen, attracting everyone's attention. She asked coldly, "What happened to the Mingcheng Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce? Why was its aura broken?" The person in charge explained respectfully, "Leader, it's like this. Recount what happened." The charming and seductive woman's eyes fell on Huaxian and she looked at him curiously for a while. And he said, "You want to borrow the space portal of our First Chamber of Commerce? The Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce, there is no other way except this." Huaxian naturally knew this method, so he asked, "How can I become a senior executive of your Chamber of Commerce?" The woman smiled and said, "You are lucky your Chamber of Commerce is recruiting. To be more precise, I am recruiting. Do you want to apply? Once you are accepted, you will be a senior executive of our Chamber of Commerce, and you can use the space portals all over the continent at will." "What position?" Huaxian asked curiously. Although the other party was wearing a mask, judging from his figure and temperament, he was definitely not ugly. It would make sense to see what position he was recruiting for. The woman smiled and said, "It's not a very senior position. It's just my personal assistant. The main job is driver and bodyguard." "How about it? Are you interested?" Huaxian thought for a moment and said, "Okay, I don't know what the conditions are." The woman smiled and said, "First of all, appearance, secondly, strength, and thirdly, obedience. Can you satisfy me? If you satisfy me, you can immediately become my senior personal assistant." Huaxian's face changed for a while, and then he returned to his original appearance and asked, "What do you think of my appearance?" The whole audience was stunned by Huaxian's appearance. The rich woman's daughter regretted not agreeing to Huaxian. But now, he seemed to be favored by the top leaders of the First Chamber of Commerce. The charming woman smiled and said, "I said, with your figure and strength, you can't be ugly at all. It's very good. Your appearance is over 10,000. From now on, you are my senior personal assistant. Don't we need to test the last 2 items?" Huaxian asked. The charming woman smiled and said, "You can break through the key wall of the Chamber of Commerce. Needless to say, your realm is far beyond the peak of the pseudo-god. It is enough for Mu Yanxing to have such strength as for being obedient. I believe that no man will disobey me. Since you seem to have something urgent to deal with, Let me give you 3 days. Come to Jinyuan City Jinfeng Chamber of Commerce to find me after 3 days. I will now grant you facial recognition privileges. You can use the space portal at any branch of the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. After saying that, the screen turned off. Hu Xian felt bitter. What was this like? Was he considered being kept by someone? However, the most important thing now is to complete the task. He said to the person in charge, please lead the way. No one tried to stop them, and they could only watch Hu Xian leave with the losers. All the way to a location 100 meters underground. Walking into a room, a portal emitting blue light comes into view. The bearer said respectfully, this is the space portal of our Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. And we just walk in? Hu Xian asked curiously. Of course not. You need to lock the coordinates you want to reach first. There are various coordinates here, take a look for yourself. After saying that, he tapped the screen next to him and a map of the mainland appeared. Hu Xian has a photographic memory and can remember everything he sees after just one look. Then he clicked on a map. A dream of space teleportation lit up with a dazzling white light. A loser said quickly, go in now and you will appear at the portal of the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce in Tyson Cheng. Hu Xian nodded and walked into the dazzling light. I just felt my body sink and my head swell. This feeling lasted for a few minutes. And when I recovered, I was already at the edge of the portal. It is worth noting that all the designs of the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce are exactly the same. And the surrounding environment is no different from that in Mingcheng. Walk out of the room and the same thing happens outside. Along the way, I didn't meet anyone and I walked out of the basement smoothly, got into the elevator, and went straight to the top floor. Coming out from the top floor is the reception area for senior members. Going down is the second floor, which is the reception area for intermediate members, and the first floor is the reception area for junior and ordinary members. Except for the people, everything else is the same. When Hu Xian came down from upstairs, many people looked over curiously. What caught Hu Xian's attention was that there were not only humans here, but also rat people, pig people and so on. Obviously, Tyson is located at the junction of different ethnic groups, so he naturally has close contacts with them. Hu Xian went straight to the first floor, saw a beautiful rat woman, and walked towards her. There is no difference between the rat people and rat elves in the alien world and the genetic world. I think they are from the same clan. Seeing Hu Xian coming over, the beautiful rat woman faced him with a smile on her face. The main reason was that I saw Hu Xian coming down from the third floor, so I didn't dare to neglect him. Hello, my name is Hu Xian. Could I buy you a cup of coffee? Hu Xian asked, extending his hand. The beautiful mouse girl shook hands with Hu Xian like a lady and said, hello, my name is Shu Xie, and I'd be happy to have a cup of coffee with you. Please. Hu Xian took Shu Xie away. People from other tribes around were extremely envious, thinking that Shu Xie was favored by the top leaders of the Golden Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. Soon they came to the nearest coffee shop and ordered some snacks and coffee. After taking a sip, Hu Xian asked, Miss Shu Xie, are you a member of the rat tribe from Senmao City? Mao Xie smiled and replied, yes, I was born and raised here. Mr. Hu, what is the reason for your inquiry? To be honest, I heard that the nobles have 10,000-year-old ginseng. So, you actually want to take advantage of my tribe's treasure? Sorry, we are not suitable to be friends, Shu Xie said angrily, then stood up and left. Hu Xian quickly chased after him and said, Shu Xie, listen to me. Shu Xie refused, I don't want to listen. Anyone who wants to hit my treasure is not my friend. After saying this, he was about to bypass Hu Xian and leave. Hu Xian grabbed her hand and said, Shu Xie, listen to me. I am not. Gulp, this is molesting, Shu Xie screamed. Chapter 372, Never Forgive. Immediately a group of people surrounded them, including people from various ethnic groups. Seeing these people about to take action, Hu Xian directly pulled Shu Xie into his arms and said, don't get me wrong, I had a quarrel with my wife. It's almost the holidays, and we have a disagreement about what gifts to give to our elders when we go home. Everyone, don't make trouble, wife. Without waiting for Shu Xie to finish, Hu Xian kissed her. Shu Xie's eyes wide, and she had never thought that she would encounter such a thing one day. She wanted to burst out her cultivation to shock Hu Xian away, only to find that her cultivation was suppressed by the powerful force unleashed by this guy, and she was completely unable to resist. When the people around saw that Shu Xie didn't resist, they believed that it was just a couple's quarrel. Although they are humans and rats, intermarriage among different races is the norm in Tyson City. It took Hu Xian 5 full minutes to let go of Shu Xie. The latter was almost suffocating and stared at Hu Xian while gasping for breath. Just as she was about to shout, Hu Xian kissed her again. Shu Xie really wanted to die. This time it lasted several minutes again. When they separated, Xuexai collapsed on Huexien due to lack of oxygen. Huexien held her and rushed out of the city. There was no trouble along the way. He came out of the city, took out a spaceship, and flew to the Senmao city with Xuexia. Xuexai felt like she was being molested and kidnapped. And she bit Huexien hard. The rat people's teeth were extremely sharp. And the pain made Huexien take a deep breath. After a long time, Xuexia finally softened and let go. Huexien asked with a smile. Are you venting your anger? Xuexia said angrily, Human. You molested me, I will never forgive you. Huexien grabbed her into his arms and said, It's already like this, and you still don't forgive me. Do you want me to get closer to you? Xuexia thought of something and was horrified. Huexien, are you crazy? I don't like you, you can't. Huexien didn't give her a chance and just forced himself on her. Speaking of which, I have been very busy during this period and have not practiced dual cultivation. Pieces of clothes fell to the ground one by one, and Xuexia cried. Huexien did not show any mercy to the woman because of this. A few hours later, Xuexia bit Huexien's neck hard again. He pushed so hard that blood oozed out instantly. Huexien remained silent. When Suoshi's mouth softened and she let go, Huexien hugged her and said, Don't worry, I will be responsible for you. I don't need you. You have defiled me and I will never forgive you ever. Xuexia roared. Huexien eavesdropped on her thoughts and found out that she was not joking. Then he realized how much harm his actions had caused to Xuexia. I'm sorry, I thought. Huexien couldn't continue. Xuexia ignored him and didn't react, even though she was held by Huexien. Huexien took a deep breath and said, Xuexia, no matter whether you will forgive me or not, in my heart, you are my wife, and I will take care of you and treat you well for the rest of my life. Stop being so hypocritical, you humans are really bad. Completely bad, and hopeless. Xuexia roared angrily. Sweet words were of no use to her. Huexien asked bitterly, Then my wife, how can you forgive me? I will never forgive you unless you die. So Sia said firmly. Bye. Huexien sighed and could only take things one step at a time. 4 hours later, we entered the forested city. It's more like a forest than a city. It's just that, above those stars, on the ground and below, there are residences and shopping malls, but they are completely different from human buildings. All I can say is that each has its own style of questioning. Huexien checked the mission time and found that there were less than 5 hours left. The situation was quite serious. The spaceship stopped outside the Mori city. Xuexia, we've arrived at the Senmao city, let's go. Huexien said, stretching out his hand. Xuexia ignored him and rushed out of the spaceship and laughed as quickly as possible. When Huexien came out, Xuexia's voice was no longer there. With a wry smile, he walked towards the gate of the forest city. It is called the city gate, but it is just an entrance that is guarded and not blocked by 40 vines. Stop, human, why are you entering our Senmao city? Thinking of Xuexia's strong reaction when he mentioned the 1,000-year-old ginseng, Huexien hesitated whether to state his purpose directly. Daddy, it was him who defiled me. From a distance came the extremely sad cries of Xuexia. The next moment, a middle-aged rat man fell from the sky. Emitting a powerful aura, his pseudo-god gene was at least level 50. How dare you, despicable human, defile my daughter? I. Huexien shouted, Father-in-law, what do you mean by tarnishing? I am not unfaithful to Suoxia. More and more people gathered around. Most of them were from the rat tribe, and a few were from other races. Huh, loser? You are just a small human, how can you be a loser? The middle-aged rat man held a sharp bone spur in his hand. After approaching Huexien, he stabbed him hard in the head. Huexien didn't dare to hurt his father-in-law, so he could only avoid him. The attack missed, and the middle-aged rat man became a little furious. He turned around and swept across, ready to make a finishing blow with the bone spur in his hand. Huexien easily avoided it with a jump. A middle-aged rat man thrust the bone spur in his hand forward fiercely, no longer seeking a fatal blow, but only wanting to hurt the enemy. Huexien did not dodge this time. He reached out and grabbed the bone spur, pulling it hard. The sudden huge force caused the middle-aged rat man's body to lean forward. Huexien placed the bone spur on his head so that if he fell forward, he would hit the bone spur. This scene shocked the whole audience. Xuexia remembers yelling, Huexien, stop it and move the bone spur away. Huexien did not remove the bone spur. The middle-aged man was unable to dodge due to inertia and could only watch the bone spur with horror on his face. Huexien, if you don't remove the bone spur, I will never forgive you in my life. Xuexia cried. Huexien then moved the bone spur away and said, So, you accept me now. Go to hell. A middle-aged rat man took this opportunity to launch a sneak attack. The Terran laser weapon taken out from the nanospace device stabbed fiercely into Huaxian's heart. Seeing this scene, everyone became nervous for Huaxian. Dead? Many people think so in their hearts. It's just because Huaxian's current situation makes it impossible to avoid it. Huaxian smiled slightly, mobilized the true god-level genetic power, and used mental force as a medium to build an energy wall in front of him. Booming magnet. The laser sword attacked the energy wall, making a harsh collision sound. The whole audience was stunned by the scene before them. Boom! The powerful laser output overloaded the laser handle, causing it to smoke and catch fire. The laser disappeared. But the middle-aged Ratman stood there in shock. Suddenly, a bone spur in Huaxian's hand seemed to come back to life and stabbed towards the middle-aged Ratman's head. No, Huaxia roared in despair. Chapter 373, damn it. You did it on purpose. Huaxian was also shocked. The power of this bone spur explosion is so strong that even if it is not at the true god level, it is not far off. Suddenly, he was stabbed by the bone spurs and rushed towards the middle-aged Ratman. In everyone's opinion, he was the one who wanted to kill the middle-aged Ratman. Boom! Powerful true god level lightning power burst out from Huaxian's body. When the bone spur was less than an inch away from the middle-aged Ratman, he pulled it back forcefully. Everyone saw that under the influence of lightning, the bone spur emitted black smoke. That is an evil force. An old Ratman shouted in shock. What? Evil power? Doesn't that mean that the bone spur is controlled by evil power? A stream of black smoke that was almost condensed into substance suddenly rushed out of the bone spur and flew towards the depths of the forest city. Huaxian was furious and yelled, "How dare you frame me and still want to escape?" Boom boom! The true god-level lightning gene power erupted. The sky changed, and the 9-day thunder descended again. This scene shocked the entire forest city. Especially the people of all ethnic groups, who saw Huaxian's outburst were shocked and stunned. Ratsamian is numb. I never expected that this human being whom I looked down upon would be so terrifying. True God, he is the true God. Someone reacted and shouted in fear. Huaxian chased the black smoke and disappeared from people's sight. Soon they arrived at a dark place that looked like it had been burned by a wildfire. And the ground was littered with blackened bones. Huaxian fell to the ground. The environment suddenly changed, and dark fog appeared strangely, covering the sky and the earth. Even the dense thunder and lightning outside were blocked. In the eyes of all living beings in the forest city, the thunder and lightning that seemed like a doomsday catastrophe suddenly disappeared. Someone was shocked and said, "He must have entered the He-Is-En forbidden area to hunt down the evil. Oh my god, after entering the He-Is-En forbidden land, can he come out alive?" In history, no one who entered the He-Is-En forbidden land has ever come out alive. Not necessarily he is a true god, maybe he can come out alive. Hearing these people's discussions, Huaxia actually became a little worried. The middle-aged Ratman came up to her and said, "Daughter, maybe you are wrong this time, the bone spur actually hides evil. If he hadn't forestalled the evil today, I would have died without knowing how." "Dad, can he walk out of the He-Is-En forbidden area alive?" "Have no idea." In the forbidden area of Hess, the black smoke became thicker and thicker. Even though Huaxian possessed powerful genetic power, his strength was useless here. All I saw was black smoke. It turned out that the soul perception was also blocked. It means that he will become blind here. Transparent eyes. His eyes changed, and the black smoke turned white in Huaxian's eyes. He discovered that countless strange creatures surrounded by black smoke were surrounding him. It's hard to tell what level of cultivation he is at, but it's very strange. Huaxian sneered in his heart, but pretended that he saw nothing, and started to fumble around with a panicked look. As these things got closer, Huaxian discovered that these were actually humanoid creatures emitting black smoke. Apart from the strange black smoke all over his body, he is no different from a human being. Under the transparent cloth, each of these people, both men and women, were not wearing any clothes. Huaxian automatically ignored the men and looked at the women. Some tall, some short, some fat, some thin, some pretty, some not. It dazzled him. His eyes uncontrollably looked at places that these women shouldn't look at. Gurgled. I couldn't help swallowing. Wow. With a slight exclamation in his heart, Huaxian discovered that a very beautiful woman in black smoke was rushing towards him, holding a black blade and full of murderous intent. However, the murderous aura was wrapped in black smoke and could not be felt at all. If it were not for the transparent eyes, Huaxian would find himself a lamb to be slaughtered here. The beautiful smoky woman approached him and stabbed him in the heart. There was a bloodthirsty look on his face, and he licked his lips, as if he still had a desire for blood. Huaxian looked at places she shouldn't have looked at and almost had a nosebleed. Seeing the danger coming, he became evil-minded and stretched out both hands to grab the smoky woman's body. She was so soft that he couldn't hold her with one hand. The woman in black smoke, who was about to make a fatal blow, suddenly trembled violently, as if she had been electrocuted, and froze in shock. I can't believe that this human can actually see me? The other black smoke people were the same, they were all stunned by this scene. Not good, this human must have some special ability. Our strange black smoke has no effect on him. Lil, save the clan leader. All the black smoke men rushed towards Hu Xin with murderous intent. Hu Xin quickly mobilized all his lightning gene power. Boom! Lightning exploded inside the body but did not reach the surface. Hu Xin was extremely shocked, the lightning gene was actually suppressed by the black smoke. Danger is imminent. Hu Xin quickly loosened his hands, grabbed the woman's neck, knocked the weapon out of her hand, pulled her into his arms and controlled her. Due to the hesitant physiological reaction, the woman in black smoke felt something she shouldn't have felt. I secretly cursed the human race for being beasts. The tribe leader was taken away easily, and these black smoke humans stopped immediately. Human, let the chief go and we will let you leave. A sturdy man said murderously. Hu Xin smiled and said, your clan leader and I hit it off right away, I won't hurt her. From now on, she is my woman. As he spoke, he walked forward holding the black smoke human chieftain hostage. The black smoke humans who were blocking the road had to make way. Oh to hell. A powerful black smoke human attacked Hu Xin. The power is so strong that it is probably no less than the 55th level of the pseudo-god realm. Hu Xin kicked him. Bump. The guy flew into the sky in response. It can be seen how terrifying the power of this kick is. Those black smoke humans who were still preparing for a sneak attack gave up the idea in horror. Only then did I understand that this human not only had a strong lightning gene, but also had a terrifying basic gene. The chief of the black smoke human tribe was also deeply shocked. In the end, with countless black smoke people seeing him off, Hu Xin took the black smoke people's chieftain hostage and walked out of the He Is Hen. Step out of the Hessen area. Magnetic. Thick black smoke came out of the body of the black smoke human chief, and his skin began to visibly fester, as if it had been burned by fire. The strange thing was that her festering debris fell to the ground, and the ground covered with green plants began to turn black. The pain caused by the festering made the black smoke tribe leader frown, but he did not make any sound. The black smoke people behind him were very worried. Someone shouted, you despicable human, you are trying to murder our clan leader. We will fight you to death. Hu Xin looked back in confusion and asked, what's going on? Damn it, you did it on purpose. You couldn't possibly not know that our black smoke tribe would be burned to death if we left the Black Forest. Chapter 374, Capture Yan Yue. Rumble. Unaffected by the black smoke, Hu Xin waved his hand and terrifying lightning struck. The black smoke people were so frightened that they retreated back in horror. Hu Xin took out a spaceship, rushed in with the black smoke human chief, put away the top charm suit, and hugged the black smoke human chief fiercely. The latter was so frightened that his expression changed drastically. He endured the pain of burning without saying a word. But now he roared, beast, kill me. I never dreamed that I would be deathled by a human. Hu Xin smiled and said, you will know the benefits in a while. Ding, bind to the top female protagonist of the black smoke human race, Yan Yue, and gain a combat power increase of 100 million. Ding, get the first drop of blood of the top heroine Yan Yue. Get the true god first level black smoke gene realm. And get 10 billion black smoke base points. Hu Xin was overjoyed. He didn't expect that taking over Yan Yue would bring him such huge benefits. Yan Yue was stunned. The pain from leaving He Is En and being burned disappeared. And when I looked at my burned skin, it was visibly healing. Not only that, even the black smoke floating on the surface of the body gradually merged into the body and finally disappeared. Thinking of the ancestral teachings, Yan Yue looked at Hu Xin in shock and asked, you are the human king. Hu Xin grinned, of course. Yan Yue stared at Hu Xin in shock, feeling a mixture of emotions that were indescribable. A leader of the evil and dark faction black smoke human race is actually the woman of the adult king? But why is this feeling so good? Hu Xin didn't pay attention to Yan Yue's situation and was enjoying it madly. Time passed by minute, and Hu Xin enjoyed himself to the fullest. Thing consumption task countdown, 605,958. The system's prompt sound brought Hu Xin's enjoyment to an abrupt end. Yan Yue gradually accepted Hu Xin and her fate. Seeing Hu Xin stopped, he actually took the initiative. Hu Xin looked at the countdown that was getting shorter and shorter and smiled bitterly. This mission was doomed to fail. Less than a minute. It would be too late to teleport there instantly. A face full of depressed look, waiting for the punishment to come. Fortunately, the punishment this time is not to cripple his arms and legs. Ding, since the host has not completed the task of consuming 150 billion platinum coins within the specified time, the host's highest gene realm, Yinling Gene True God Realm Level 3, will be deducted, and the remaining level is Yinling Gene True God Realm Level 2. Huaxian's heart was bleeding as he was instantly deducted 3 levels of the True God level. That's True God level it, as extremely difficult to upgrade one small level. And he's gone just like that. Ding, new mission. Completed within 48 hours and spend 50 billion platinum coins. If the mission fails, the highest level of Gene Realm Level 5 will be deducted. If the mission is completed, you will receive an evolution gene pill. Huaxian felt extremely bitter. The failure of a mission will reduce both the mission amount and the difficulty of the mission. However, the penalty for failing the second mission has been increased. Huaxian realized that the system did not support mission failure. Huaxian was really depressed because he enjoyed himself too much this time, which led to the failure of the mission. Looking at Yan Yu was still enjoying herself. He felt depressed and couldn't muster any interest at all. I thought, women are all trouble. I feel sorry for those 3 who are at the True God level of genetic realm. I secretly reminded myself to always be alert to the mission in the future. Seeing that Yan Yu was not going to stop, Huaxian became angry and shouted, "It's all your fault." Then he launched a crazy punishment on Yan Yu, causing her to scream in pain. The punishment lasted for more than an hour. And the punishment stopped only after Yan Yu surrendered. "Asshole, you don't know how to be gentle and considerate to women at all," Yan Yu said shyly while lying in Huaxian's arms. Huaxian was thinking about the failure of the mission and felt depressed. Very depressed. After a while, Yan Yu saw that Huaxian ignored her. So she looked up at him and asked, "Hubby, what are you thinking about?" Huaxian looked down at Yan Yu, shook his head and said, "Nothing. You seem to have something against me." Yan Yu sensitively noticed something and asked, "No, why would I have a problem with my wife? It's just a small matter. I'm a little depressed. That little thing must have something to do with me, right? No, don't worry about it so much." After adjusting his mood, Huaxian put the luck shelter suit on Yan Yu, and then said, "We are leaving here. Do you have anything to tell your people?" "Of course." Huaxian accompanied Yan Yu back to Hesse again. The black smoke humans were all waiting at the edge of the black forest. And each of them was very worried. When they saw the tribe leader coming down with this human being's arm around him, they were all stunned. But the clan leader doesn't seem to be afraid of the outside world anymore. "He wasn't burned," a master roared in shock. "Why is the patriarch so close to this human? It seems that the chief is no longer afraid of the burning outside world after being with this human." Everyone was talking about it. Yan Yu came over and said majestically, "Everyone, please stop guessing that. That's right, I am this person now. Wife, don't reveal my identity. This human race Huaxian's woman. This. Chief, how can our Black Smoke tribe intermarry with humans? Moreover, you are the chief of our tribe." "That's right. Patriarch, I don't accept it." "Chief, I want to challenge him." A young man roared murderously. "Yan Muhedi, you step back." Yan Yu shouted angrily. "Chief, I don't accept it. I have loved you for 3,000 years. We are true love. How can you abandon me because of this human?" Smokescreen Hedi. "You are so silly." "Chief, Smoke Hedi is not wrong according to the rules of my Black Smoke clan. If you like someone, you must bravely express your feelings. If the other person has a partner, you can challenge and defeat that partner to gain the approval of the person you like. Who among you can be his match?" Yan Yu shouted angrily. "Chief, I Yan Muhedi, am the #1 warrior of the Black Smoke tribe. At the Black Smoke gene level, I can definitely crush him." Yan Yu frowned. Huaxian said at this time, "Really? Then I accept your challenge." Smokescreen Hedi was overjoyed. "Yuan, you are not a coward if you can really defeat me at the same level. I will recognize you as the leader." Huaxian nodded and said, "Okay." After saying that, he walked into the Black Smoke. Now that he has mastered the Black Rot Gene True God realm, Black Smoke has no impression of Huaxian. "Come on and fight," Huaxian said. Smokescreen Hedi is about to take action. An elder from the Black Smoke tribe said, "Wait." Everyone's eyes fell on the old man. The old man came over, took out two pendants and handed them over, saying, "This is a realm suppression gene pendant. It will suppress your gene realms at the same time to the 35th level of the extraordinary gene. This is truly fair." "Okay." Yan Muhedi took the pendant and put it around his neck. Chapter 375 Beating the Opponent. Everyone's eyes fell on Huaxian. Huaxian took the pendant with a smile and looked at it in his hand. He did not feel any pressure, nor could he see anything special about the jade pendant. The old man explained, "This realm suppression gene pendant needs to be worn around the neck to be effective." Huaxian nodded and put it on his neck. He suddenly felt a magical gene-suppressing force burst out from the pendant. Suddenly his powerful realm was suppressed, and only the 35th level of extraordinary gene was protected. The first feeling when one's realm is suppressed is discomfort. After all, it is very unpleasant when a powerful cultivation suddenly becomes weak. It took me a while to get used to it. Smokescreen He was anxious to teach Huaxian a lesson, and said coldly, "Human, get beaten next." He rushed towards Huaxian with an ultimate burst of power. Being at the same level, Yenmu He believed that he was absolutely invincible, so he did not take Huaxian seriously at all. Facing Smokescreen He rushing over, Huaxian looked indifferent, as if he didn't hear anything. This scene made the entire Black Smoke clan confused. What's going on? Smokescreen He was furious. Mort death. With a roar, his combat power increased by another 3 points. He approached Huaxian and fiercely punched Huaxian's calm face that deserved a beating. The Black Smoke human race became nervous and prayed that Smokescreen He would win. When Huaxian's fist was about to hit him and He's face was distorted with anger, he stretched out his hand and easily grasped He's fist. The whole audience opened their mouths in shock. He wiped his eyes again, totally unable to believe what he saw. This human race actually used the Black Smoke gene power that was unique to their own Black Smoke race. How is this possible? Smokescreen He was also stunned when he saw the Black Smoke genetic power on Huaxian's fist. What's more crucial is that, with the same genetic power and the same realm, his full-strength punch was easily taken by a human. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Smokescreen He roared inwardly and punched Huaxian hard with his left hand. Huaxian increased the strength of his hands and pushed gently. However, He felt a powerful and irresistible force coming from Huaxian's hand. Tap 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 tap. Completely unable to resist, he retreated again and again. Every step you take will leave a deep footprint on the ground. The entire Black Smoke human race was shocked to the extreme. The shock in their hearts was indescribable. How is this possible? How could you, a human being, master such a powerful Black Smoke gene power? Smokemu He couldn't accept it and asked roaring. Huaxian said calmly, "Talent is something that cannot be explained in words. But it is very mysterious." After he finished speaking, he looked at the others and said, "You Black Smoke clan. If you say you don't accept it, you can come up today. I will suppress my realm and fight anyone from your Black Smoke clan." What? The whole audience was shocked. Then he became extremely angry that someone dared to look down on their Black Smoke human race like that. A Black Smoke human with a level 40 supernatural gene rushed out and roared, "I'm here to teach you a lesson." Rushed towards Huaxian. He approached Huaxian and kicked him. Just like when facing Smokescreen He. Huaxian looked indifferent. When danger approaches, a punch is thrown into the air. Buzz. The space trembled violently, and a powerful Black Smoke genetic force erupted. But the terrifying power far exceeded Huaxian's current suppressed state. The opponent was horrified to find that he was locked and had no way to escape. The speed is not fast enough. Boom. With a loud bang, the body flew into the air. Click. The sound of breaking bones was then heard. His face turned from blue to red. He vomited a large amount of blood and then fainted while still in the air. Boom. It was only after he fell heavily to the ground that the others came to their senses and their terrified eyes fell on Huaxian. Huaxian clapped his hands, looked at the countless Black Smoke humans and asked, "Who else?" "I'll do it." A guy with a pseudo-god gene level 46 rushed out. And without any nonsense, he went straight to kill Huaxian. Holding a black sharp blade, he approached Huaxian and slashed him with the blade. Ruthlessly and cruelly, determined to kill. Huaxian still looked calm. This scene made the guy who made the move feel unsure. The main reason is that Huaxian has defeated 2 opponents with this relaxed attitude. Yanyu watched carefully this time. Just because of this battle. It is no longer just a gap within the small mirror world. It spans a large realm. It is the gap between gods and mortals. If Huaxian wins in this way, he will truly be worthy of being the king of men. As the enemy approached, Huaxian exploded, still with the power of the Black Smoke gene. And still with a punch. The difference is that this punch carries the power to destroy the world, making the surrounding pseudo-god gene warriors feel trembling. So strong to strong, a human being, not only can he use the power of my tribe's Black Smoke gene, but he also possesses such terrifying combat power. I remember correctly that at the same level, even the tribe leader doesn't have such terrifying combat power, right? That's right, our clan leader is not that terrifying. But why is this human so powerful? As far as I know, in human history, there is only one person who possesses such incredible combat power. Human King? The people next to him exclaimed. And his voice reached the ears of all the Black Smoke humans. The whole family was shocked. Looking at Hu Xin, his expression changed. Boom! There was a loud bang. The opponent's weapon was blown away. The enormous force caused blood to flow from the palm of his hand where he was holding the knife. And his entire arm drooped, trembling and completely useless. Strong to strong, suppressing the Dao Transcendent Gene to level 35. And even defeating the false god with just one punch. I now even doubt whether the peak false god can be his opponent. Just as the black smoke people were discussing among themselves, an old man came out. He looked very old, and it was obvious that he was definitely not young. Yes, Great Elder Yan Haohong, he is the strongest after the clan leader. He has already taken action. If? Shut up, there is no if. The Great Elder will never lose. Yan Haohong came to the opposite side of Hu Xin and said steadily, Human, although I don't know how you mastered the black smoke gene power of our tribe, but since you have mastered it, you can be regarded as a member of our tribe. I am at the peak of the 65th level of the pseudo-god gene realm. I can't see through your fists and feet. I can suppress you at the 35th level of the transcendent gene realm. It's impossible for you to defeat me across so many realms. Stop it. Hu Xin smiled and said, the limit of cultivation is to transform in the extreme state. Without going through danger, how can you become strong? Come on, old man, there is no need to show mercy. Hu Xin also became serious this time. And his combat power increased by more than 300 million times. All erupted at this moment. A terrifying fighting aura broke through the suppression of the realm, making Hu Xin's body as light as a feather and floating uncontrollably. A powerful aura that emanated from it shocked the black smoke human race to the extreme. Chapter 376, Becoming a God with One Finger. So scary. A member of the black smoke tribe was so shocked that he stuttered. How could that be? Could there be something wrong with the realm-suppressing gene pendant he was wearing? Yan Mu Hidi also felt the same way. He took out the realm-suppressing gene pendant he was wearing and threw it to Hu Xin, saying, do you dare to wear my realm-suppressing gene pendant? Hu Xin took the pendant and took off his own pendant with a smile. Buzz. The moment the realm-suppressing gene pendant was taken off, the realm was no longer suppressed, and the true god-level black smoke gene power in Hu Xin's body completely erupted, sweeping in all directions. Boom boom boom. The extremely powerful force suppressed all the members of the Black Smoke tribe and made them all kneel down. The shock in their hearts could not be described in words. Even Yan Yuya was extremely shocked. If it weren't for her identity as the heroine, she would have knelt down under the pressure. Hu Xin gathered his strength, slowly landed on the ground, looked at the old man and asked, do you still need to fight? The old man knelt on the ground, trembling, and shook his head, saying, no need. I never thought that the realm that I could not reach in my whole life of practice was achieved by a human like you. Great Elder, he is the human king, a master reminded. The Great Elder smiled bitterly and said, even if he is a human king, he is the most powerful among all human kings in history. There has not been a human king who can master the power of our black smoke gene. There is nothing to say, because it has never happened in history. This also proves Hu Xin's strength. Hu Xin looked at the audience and said, please keep the news that I am the human king a secret. As a favor. His eyes fell on the Great Elder. All the black smoke humans watched carefully, wanting to know what Hu Xin was going to do. Hu Xin pointed at the Great Elder. System, exchange some human king points for black smoke true god gene points and strengthen this guy for me. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have successfully used the human king points to exchange for a black smoke true god gene point to strengthen the black smoke human race. Great Elder Yan Haohong. Following the system's prompt, Hu Xin pointed at Yan Haohong's finger. And a pure black smoke genetic power that made the black smoke people tremble with affection flew into Yan Haohong's body. The next moment, Yan Haohong, who had been stagnant at the peak of pseudo-god realm for 30 years without any progress, suddenly exploded with momentum and instantly surpassed the peak of pseudo-god realm. Click. A voice that only Yan Haohong could hear was heard. And the barrier of true god that had blocked him for 30,000 years was broken. An extremely powerful force burst out from his body. Because he had just broken through, he couldn't control it. So the nearby owner of the force turned pale due to the pressure. Many owners were seriously injured. But the wave of his hand, Hu Xin blocked the powerful aura brought by Yan Haohong's breakthrough. The eyes of the black smoke human race were not on Yan Haohong's breakthrough, but on Hu Xin. Just because of his one finger, the Great Elder who would never be able to break through to the true god level in his lifetime broke through. So, can he also help them break through? Thinking of this, I can't help but look forward to it. Yan Haohong's momentum has reached its peak. His breakthrough is complete, and he has begun to consolidate his realm. What shocked Yan Haohong was that the power that Hu Xin bestowed on him was enough to break through to the pinnacle of this small mirror world. And it felt like he was just a little bit away from breaking through to the second level of true god. Yan Yue came to Hu Xian, took his arm and said, "Hubby, what about me?" Although her fighting ability is stronger than Yan Haohong, she is only at the peak level of pseudo-god genes. Hu Xian smiled and said, "Don't worry, when the time comes, I will naturally help my wife break through." Yan Yue enjoyed being called wife. An old man came to Hu Xian with a thick face and said, "At human, I am also at the 65th level of the pseudo-god gene, although it is not the peak, but..." Hu Xian raised his hand and pointed, interrupting what he was about to say. I saw a stream of smoke as black as ink flying into the old man's body, and like a vast expanse of smoke, his momentum began to surge. Then, under the shocked gaze of other tribesmen, he broke through to the realm of true God. The whole audience was envious. "Oh my God, it's so easy to break through." It was a bit hard to believe what I saw with my own eyes. Hu Xian looked at the other black smoke humans and said, "As long as you practice hard and reach the 65th level of the pseudo-god gene, I can help you break through. Of course, only my own people have this privilege. By the way, super god level is also okay." What? The whole audience was stunned. Shocked. Then I remembered that Hu Xian was the human king. And I felt relieved. "Chief, does that mean that our Black Smoke clan has surrendered to the human king?" asked a member of the clan. Yan Yue said seriously, "I am already the woman of the human king, so my Black Smoke clan will naturally follow the human king. Besides, you have all seen the abilities of the human king. Among us evil and dark forces, who can make a person break through a realm with just a wave of his hand? Even if there is, it can only be achieved by using evil methods and sacrificing countless lives. And not everyone is qualified to enjoy it. But it's different for the human king. As long as you reach the limit of the pseudo-god gene realm, you can break through to the true god level. This is a realm that countless creatures can only dream of but cannot achieve. I am willing to follow the clan leader and the human king." The great elder who completed the breakthrough expressed his opinion immediately. Ding dong. He even knelt heavily in front of Hu Xian. "Thank you, King of Humanity, for your advice." Hu Xian waved his hand and said, "We are all family. There is no need to do this now that you have reached a powerful realm. Remember not to become an enemy of the human alliance." "I understand. Well, it's time to leave now." Hearing this, Yan Yue said to all the tribe members, "I will follow my husband and leave the affairs of the tribe to the first and second elders." "Yes." And he followed Hu Xian into the spaceship and left. The people from the Black Smoke tribe surrounded the first elder and the second elder and asked them various questions. "Great elder, do you feel anything is wrong after breaking through to the true god level? I always feel that this kind of pie in the sky thing is unreliable." "That's right, great elder. Are you feeling any discomfort or any sequel?" "Second elder, what about you?" The great elder said, "There is no discomfort or sequel. What the human king bestowed upon me is the incomparably pure Black Smoke gene essence power, which can be fully absorbed by the body and even change potential." The second elder nodded and said, "Yes, I feel the same as the first elder." Hearing this, the tribesmen became excited, especially those whose pseudo-god genes were above level 60, who wished they could reach the peak immediately. "First elder, second elder, I'm going into seclusion," said an old man. "I'm going to retreat to, and me, the forested city, the border." A rat people gathered their troops and stood ready for battle, as if they were waiting for something. When they saw a human spaceship flying over, they all focused and entered combat mode. "Hu Xian, are you a bastard?" Chu Xie shouted with a big loudspeaker. Hu Xian opened the warehouse door, stood at the door and said with a smile, "Why, my dear, you miss me so much after just a few hours of not seeing me?" Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when they saw that Hu Xian was fine. After all, he was there to fight evil, so he was their hero. The spaceship landed in front of the army, and Chu Xie rushed over, threw a brocade box to Hu Xian and said, "This is for you." Chapter 377, Can Your Husband Withstand a Beating? Hu Xian opened the 1-meter-sized brocade box, and inside lay a ginseng. Obviously, it was the 10,000-year-old ginseng required for the mission. With a bitter smile, he handed the brocade box back to Chu Xie and said, "I don't need the ginseng now." Chu Xie's body trembled, thinking that Hu Xian despised her, and tears welled up in the corners of her eyes. Hu Xian reached out to wipe away her tears and said, "Why are you crying? I really don't need this ginseng now. But don't worry, I will still be responsible for you." Chu Xie suddenly threw herself into his arms and hugged him tightly. "He is?" The middle-aged man who had fought with Hu Xian before looked at Yan Yue and asked. Hu Xian smiled and said, "The leader of the Black Smoke tribe is Yan Yue." "What?" The whole audience looked at Yan Yue in shock. Someone said, "It's impossible, she can't be a member of the Black Smoke tribe. When the Black Smoke tribe walks out of the Black Forest, A strange burning situation will occur. They can't survive outside the Black Forest at all. That's right, he definitely can't be a black smoke human. Huaxian smiled and said, if she is not from the Black Smoke tribe. And who do you think she is? This. Heizan is located behind Senmao City. It can be said that the existence of Senmao City is to guard Heizan and your evil black smoke human race. People of other races who enter the forest city will be strictly checked and registered, leaving behind the unique smell of the rat people. The rat people did not feel it from Yan Yui, which means that Yan Yui did not enter from the outside. Would he really be a member of the Black Smoke tribe? If the Black Smoke tribe can walk out of the Black Forest and not be burned anymore, it would be a disaster for us. Suddenly, countless rat people became nervous. My eyes couldn't help but look towards the distant Heizan direction. Huaxian said, everyone, don't worry or be afraid, the Black Smoke race has been conquered by me and is now a force under my command. They are friendly forces to my human alliance. An alliance with your human race? Who are you anyway? A highly respected rat prophet came over holding a strange wooden staff. Wherever this person passed, all the rat people knelt down on one knee. He walked straight up to Huaxian and looked down at him. Buzz! The space trembled, and a strange oppressive force emerged between heaven and earth. The human king is intimidating. Boom boom boom. No matter who they were, they all knelt down in fear under this strange pressure. The rat prophet is no exception. He looked horrified and shocked as he said, Human king. The whole audience was shocked and couldn't believe it. This guy was actually the human king who led the human alliance army to suppress evil and darkness. At the same time, he became nervous inside. The appearance of the human king must mean that a great era is about to come and the world will no longer be peaceful. Huaxian put away the human king's intimidation and said, my identity needs to be kept secret. Then he said to Huaxia, take me to Senmao City to spend some money. Huaxia nodded, pulled Huaxian away, and obviously accepted it completely. Soon they entered a cave. The decoration here was completely different from that of human cities. To humans, this place was more like a strange tourist attraction. Yan Yui was extremely curious as she stepped safely into the outside world for the first time. That's the most luxurious shopping mall for us rat people. Let's go take a look. He took Huaxian into a larger cave. The place was filled with shelves covered with vines, on which BAFA was selling all kinds of high-end items, mostly spiritual objects and spiritual materials. Huaxia, why don't you stay in the palace? Why did you come out? Asked a beautiful rat woman who was as beautiful as Huaxia. At the same time, he also looked at Huaxian curiously. Shuayan, let me introduce you. This is my husband Huaxian. What? Shuayan was extremely shocked. Huaxia, are you crazy? Didn't you say you hate humans the most? Why did you find a human as your husband now? Huaxia smiled bitterly. The world is unpredictable. Huaxia, I heard that you secretly ran to the human world. Could it be that you were deceived by the sweet words of humans? There's nothing wrong with Shuayan. My husband and I are truly in love. By the way, I see you seem to be in a bad mood. Have you encountered any troubles? Ratayan said bitterly, you know the Tianhuang rat tribe. My parents asked me to go on a blind date with a guy from the Tianhuang rat tribe. So you don't want to? So what are you going to do? I don't know, Huaxia, please give me some ideas. I really don't want to marry a Tianhuang rat. What can I do? Huaxia was also distressed. Suddenly, she glanced at Huaxian and said, why don't I let my husband pretend to be your boyfriend and deal with him? No, Huaxian and Shuayan said in unison. Honey, we're just pretending. Shuayan and I are best friends. Please help us, Huaxia persuaded. Ayan, you know that the Tianhuangshu people hate humans the most. If your husband follows you on a blind date, things will definitely go wrong. By then, your case will be exposed among the Tianhuangshu people. And no one from the Tianhuangshu people will go on a blind date with you anymore. Hearing this explanation, Shuayan's eyes lit up. I think what you said is right. Xia, but your husband doesn't seem to agree. Please help me, Huaxia begged. Huaxian said bitterly. It's not that I don't want to help, I'm just worried that Shuayan will fall in love with me after getting along with me. Ratayan burst out laughing, and then said, human. Don't worry, Ratayan, will never fall in love with you. Huaxian smiled and said, many girls said this at the beginning. But in the end, they all fell in love with me. Forget it if you don't want to help me, I'll go find other humans. Huaxian nodded and said, this is best. Huaxia, what do you want to buy? No one wanted to pay attention to Huaxian. Huaxia took Huaxian's arm and said, look at how you've made Ayan angry. I'm just doing you a small favor. Besides, even if Ayan falls in love with you, you won't suffer any loss. Ding, the heroine requested a mission, helping Shuayan. Completing the mission will increase the heroine's favorability by 100. The current benefit of favorability is increased combat power. Although 100 may not seem like much, the reward from the system should not be too bad. So in order to complete the task, Hu Xin said, okay. Then I agree. Ayan, my husband agreed, just contact me when you need anything. Shu Xia said excitedly. It will be needed soon. My parents have arranged to meet the other family at the Pokhara restaurant. That's less than an hour, right? Yes. In that case, it should be about time to go there now. Let us go together. Ratayan said worriedly. Can your husband withstand a beating? I'm worried that the Tianwang rat people will get angry and beat him up. Chapter 378. Fists are the most important thing, just be strong. Shu Xia glanced at Yan Yu was conquered by Hu Xian and smiled. Not bad. I was thinking, even the leader of the Black Smoke tribe was conquered by my husband's force. And he actually asked me if my husband can withstand a fight? Okay then, I'll close the shop now and go meet that Anthony Wong. And she walked into the inner room, and after a while, Shu Yan came out wearing a set of sexy and charming clothes. Hu Xian's eyes lit up when he saw it. Seeing this, Shu Xia said with a smile, Husband, how is it, are you shocked? Let me tell you. Shu Yan is one of the 3 most beautiful women in our rat tribe. She just doesn't want to be bothered by others, so she dresses ugly on purpose. Shu Yan closed the shop door, glanced at Hu Xian and said, let's go. Walk all the way towards Pokhara restaurant. Look, that's. Oh my god, she is worthy of being one of the 3 most beautiful women among us rat people. She is so beautiful. If only I could marry her. Shu Yan didn't like the looks from these people. In order to avoid unnecessary trouble, he walked over and took Hu Xian's arm. Hu Xian glanced at her and said nothing. Shu Yan said, don't worry, even though it was Shu Xia who asked you to help me, I will thank you after it's done. As Pokhara restaurants approach, Shu Xia took Yui's arm and said, Husband, Ayan, you go in first. We will be there to cheer you on from the side. Good. Shu Yan took Hu Xian into the Pokhara restaurant. Along the way, Shu Yan looked at Hu Xian from time to time and found that this guy was actually unmoved by her beauty. If it was fake, it was too realistic. I remember that year. At the beauty pageant, a human businessman was willing to spend an outrageous price to sell himself, proving that her beauty is in line with human aesthetics. Why can Hu Xian remain unmoved? Some of them are hard to understand. My daughter, this way. A voice came. When the woman who was shouting saw Shu Yan holding a human's arm, she was stunned. When the people who were with her heard the woman's voice, they all came over. One young man in particular was very excited and enthusiastic. After all, he was going on a blind date with one of the 3 most beautiful women of the rat tribe, and he felt that with his talent and status, he would definitely be able to win her over. When I walked over, I saw the beautiful Mao Sayan holding the arm of an extremely handsome man. They were so sweet and loving, my eyes instantly turned red. Rat Ayan, what are you doing? A middle-aged rat man roared angrily. Shu Yan was panicking inside, but she forced herself to remain calm and said, Mom and Dad, let me introduce you, this is my boyfriend. Hu Xian. And he introduced to Hu Xian, Honey, this is my dad. And this is my mom. Hu Xian greeted politely, Hello? Mom and Dad. Shu Yan's cry of husband made the young man lose his mind and ran over, shouting, Shu Yan, don't forget, you are mine. He kicked Hu Xian with a flying kick. The momentum is powerful, not lower than the pseudo-god realm. A team of middle-aged couples looked at the young man's outburst and nodded with satisfaction. As expected of my son, I haven't checked his combat power for a month. And he has become much stronger. Yes, our son is the best. When Shu Yan saw this scene, she was so frightened that she didn't know what was wrong. I was worried that Hu Xian was no match for me. Hu Xian kicked him. Click. He kicked the young man's leg directly and broke it. The young man was in excruciating pain. Many people around were stunned. How dare you hurt my son? The middle-aged rat man who had just praised his son for his ability rushed over with murderous intent. A bone spur pierced Hu Xian's head fiercely. Hu Xian was a little surprised. It seemed that the rat people all like to use bone spurs as weapons. Grab the bone spur and push hard. Boom! With a loud bang, the bone spur was crushed into ashes. A whole audience was shocked and stood there in shock. Shu Yan stared at Hu Xian in amazement. She didn't expect him to be so powerful. My daughter's human target is so ferocious. Anthony Wong's father is a pseudo-god gene level 55. With the weapon in his hand and his strength, even a pseudo-god gene level 56 wouldn't dare to touch him. How could this guy just grab it and crush it, and he's still unscathed? Not bad, I like this son-in-law, Shu Yan's father muttered on the side. Impossible, you must have used some secret technique. There is no way you could destroy my weapon a second time. The middle-aged man roared, took out another bone spur from the nanospace device, burst out with all his strength. and stabbed Hu Xian fiercely. Just like before, Hu Xian grabbed Director Gu and exerted force violently. Boom! This time, it was shocking to the extreme. Not only did the bone spur at the hand position shatter into ashes, but a huge force spread throughout the body. When the middle-aged man sensed the danger, his expression changed drastically and he let go instantly. As the bone spur fell, it shattered into pieces. This bone spur, which was obviously harder than the previous one, was shattered by the force. Looking at Hu Xian again, all the creatures at the scene had faces filled with horror. Hu Xian clapped his hands, walked up to Shu Yan's parents and said, "Uncle and Aunt, I'm sorry, this is our first meeting and I didn't bring any gifts. I will make it up to you next time." Shu Yan's father laughed excitedly and said, "Son-in-law, what gifts do you bring? You are the best gift my daughter has brought. Let's go, the food is served, and we can drink and talk." Wang Qiu Sheng's mother came to her senses and shouted, "Shu Haohong, what do you mean? When we were chatting before, you said that Shu Yan and my son were a perfect match. Are you changing your mind now?" Shu Haohong said coldly, "So what if you changed your mind? Look, your husband and your father are not a match for my son-in-law. And your ancestor may not be either. Do you think I would give up such an excellent son-in-law? But he is a human. What's wrong with the human race? In this world where martial arts are respected and fists are everything, as long as you are strong enough, you can get all the recognition. Just think about the human king. I wonder how many races are begging to marry their daughters to him. But he is not the human king, and there will never be a human king in this world." Hu Xian looked at the woman suddenly and asked coldly, "Tell me, why is it impossible for a human king to appear in the world again?" The woman said subconsciously, "Because the human king is not dead. He is just imprisoned by evil. As long as the old man king is not dead, there will be no new human king." "How do you know all this?" Shu Haohong asked coldly, with a murderous aura locked on her. My wife is talking nonsense," and Fanny Wang's father walked over and said, then pulled the woman away. Chapter 379, Can you just watch this? Hu Xian blocked their way and said coldly, "Do you want to tell the truth? Or do you want me to use some tricks?" The middle-aged man shouted angrily, "What do you want to do? This is the Rat People tribe. Our territory. If you dare to mess around, you will be killed without a burial place." Hu Xian sneered, "It's better for me to mess around than for you to betray justice and join evil. You are talking nonsense. When did we betray justice?" Seeing many people looking at him with unfriendly eyes, he said anxiously, "Don't listen to what this human says. We are of the same race, and he is slandering us." An old ratman said, "Although he is a human, our eyes are not blind and our ears are not deaf. They saw everything that happened just now. The old man king is not dead. How did you know such a big secret?" "We don't know. I was just talking nonsense," the woman roared in fear. This incident soon alarmed the high-level members of the rat tribe. A large group of elite rat tribe arrived and surrounded the entire Pakara restaurant. The general walked in and shouted angrily, "Who betrayed the rat people?" Ding dong! The woman fell to the ground in fright. They didn't dare to resist at all, and the 3 members of the family were arrested. "Take him away." The general glanced at the whole place majestically and waved his hand to take the man away. Hu Xian shouted, "Wait! Human, what do you want to do?" The general shouted angrily. Hu Xian opened his transparent eyes and actually saw evil power inside the general's body. Looking at the other soldiers and the family of 3, it was the same. Hu Xian's expression darkened. He had not expected that evil had already begun to invade and control the allies of the human alliance. Hu Xian sneered, "Tell me the truth. What evil has made you willing to betray justice in the human alliance?" "What?" The whole audience was shocked. They were all frightened by Hu Xian's words. "How dare you slander the elite army of the rat men like this? How dare you slander my Ratman army? Someone, take this human down." Hu Xian did not resist. His purpose was to see where these guys were taking him, hoping to catch the evil behind the scenes. "Husband." Shu Xian was very worried, but was stopped by Yan Yue. They didn't let her go until Hu Xian was taken away. Shu Xian said angrily, "Yan Yue, aren't you your husband's woman? Why did you see your husband being taken away and did nothing? You even stopped me from saving him." Yan Yue said calmly, "Do you think that if my husband doesn't want to be captured, and these soldiers take him away?" Shu Xian suddenly realized, "Why did my husband let them take me away?" Yan Yue said, "It seems that there is an evil or darkness in Senmao City that we, the Black Smoke people, are unaware of." Shu Yan came over and said, "Xia, I'm sorry, I caused your husband to be arrested." "Ayan, it's okay. My husband is so capable that nothing will happen to him. You are Princess Su Cia." Shu Haohong walked over with the woman and said in surprise, "Hello, uncle and aunt." Shu Xian greeted with a smile. "Long time no see, you're even more beautiful now by the way." What's your relationship with that human? Zhuxia hesitated for a while and said, he is my husband. Ah, I knew you couldn't come up with such a good idea. My daughter. Mom and Dad, I just. Okay, thanks to this, you can see that Anthony Wong's family actually betrayed the evil. Otherwise, if you were married to them, you would really be doomed. Huaxian was led by the Ratman army not towards the palace, but towards the southwest. They walked farther and farther, and finally got away from the Ratman settlement area. As we went deeper, fog and miasma gradually appeared. Where are you taking me? Asked Huaxian, who was detained in the prison van. At this time, the army stopped. Some soldiers opened the prison van carrying Anthony Wong and his family of 3. The 3 of them walked out proudly. Anthony Wong said, "Where, damn human boy, you have exposed our identities. Today is the day you die." "Okay, this guy is missing. And the master wants to see him," said the general. "Then continue on your journey." After about 3 hours, he passed through the fog and entered a canyon that sloped downward. A miasma disappeared at this time. The canyon was full of flowers, and the fruit trees in the distance were rosy, like a paradise. It's hard to believe that behind the fog and miasma, there is such a peaceful and beautiful canyon. Everyone moved along the canyon, smelling the fragrance of flowers and hearing the fluttering of bees and butterflies. Every member of the rat tribe was enjoying themselves happily. Huaxian couldn't quite imagine that such evil could exist in such a place. I became curious about that evil. As we go deeper into the canyon, it gradually becomes wider and a pastoral landscape appears. Huaxian looked at it carefully and couldn't help but take a deep breath. What were planted in the field were not hanging vegetables, but heads. To be precise, the body was buried in the soil, with only the head exposed. These heads are almost all women, each with delicate skin and tender flesh, looking very beautiful. Among them, humans are the majority, but there are also other races. Seeing another person being captured, all of them turned their heads with difficulty. "Man, I'm afraid they will be slaughtered and eaten directly," said a beautiful head on the side of the road. "Those with delicate skin and tender flesh might also be taken care of. It's like kissing a man. You're still thinking about men when you're about to die. You're such a lunatic." "I'm not dead yet, I feel like I won't die." Anthony Wong saw Huaxian curiously looking at the heads of beautiful women everywhere, and sneered, "Don't worry, you still have a chance to be planted in the ground and wait for death." Huaxian ignored him after looking around. He was shocked to see so many beauties from all ethnic groups planted on the ground. All along the way, there were scenes like this, surrounded by flowers, beautiful and strange. "Wait," Huaxian shouted. "What? You're going to die and you're scared?" Anthony Wong asked sarcastically. Huaxian said, "I have to pee urgently." Crackling. A whip was lashed at him. And someone cursed, "You dare to meddle in other people's business when you are in a hurry to pee. You are asking for a beating." It was the general who was in the lead. Huaxian said, "Who of you wants to eat me? If I don't pee and get pissed, will you be punished?" Upon hearing this, the soldiers' faces changed, and they shuddered at the thought of the evil terror. The general shouted angrily, "Open the cage and let him go to the bathroom." The soldier opened my husband's hand and Huaxian jumped out. Walking to one side, he saw beautiful women looking at him everywhere. He looked at the general and asked, "Is there any place where we won't be exposed?" A foreign beauty said first, "Handsome, I haven't seen it yet. Since we are in the same boat, please let me have a look." Huaxian was speechless. "Can you just watch this?" Chapter 380. Weird. "Handsome guy, I want to see it too." "Handsome guy. We all want to see it." Huaxian was speechless and took out his spaceship. "What are you going to do? Want to escape? This is not the outside world." The general shouted sternly, "You're overthinking it. I just wanted to find a secluded place to peek into you, see how horny they are. Enter the spaceship, relieve yourself and come out happily. Get back to the cage," the general shouted angrily. Huaxian obediently returned to the cage. Anthony Wong said, "Boy, you are not afraid now, right? You will be afraid later." Continuing on our way, the scenery stretched for 3 kilometers. And the fields were full of all kinds of beauties, even angels. I don't know how these people survive being planted on the ground like this. Finally, a village appeared in the distance. The village looked no different from a human one. As we approached the village, we saw sidewalks paved with skulls and fences made of bones on both sides of the road. Almost all of them are in the shape of human skulls. And occasionally you can see the heads of alien races. And along the way, I wonder how many skulls will be needed to pave the road to the village. After another kilometer or so, we finally approached the village. Standing at the door were 2 human-like creatures holding weapons and wearing clothes made of bones. They were used to seeing someone coming. Without asking any questions, he opened the door and let him in. Huaxian looked around curiously. And many human-like creatures were also looking at him. Walking along the main road to the deepest part of the village, we finally arrived at a palace made entirely of bones. Master, you have brought back an excellent human man. Let him in. A cold voice came. The cage opened. Huaxian jumped out of the prison car, looked around, and saw nothing but bones. Go in quickly, the general urged. Huaxian walked into the castle, wanting to see what was inside. When he walked into the castle, he saw that all the soles of his feet were hanging from the eaves. I don't know how they dealt with it, but the flesh and blood on the soles of the feet are still there and they haven't rotted. What are you looking at? Come inside. An angry voice was heard. Huaxian looked over and saw that it was actually a tree with a human face. Huaxian walked over curiously. What are you going to do? The tree scolded. Huaxian came to the tree, which was as thick as a bowl, and reached out to touch it. It was surprisingly soft, like touching human skin. I pressed it and it was very elastic. Scratched. A trees actually laughed and shook violently. Huaxian laughed out of curiosity, thinking it was interesting that the tree was actually ticklish. After a while, black juice began to flow out from the leaves of the trees. Looking at this incredible tree again, it is already dying. Only then did Huaxian stop and leave. There are many such trees along the way, but none of them dare to show off their power anymore. Huaxian saw a beautiful woman looking at him in a flower bed, as tall as a person on the side of the road. I walked over and asked curiously, how did you survive like this? The beauty looked at Huaxian with a pitiful look in her eyes. We women can still survive to some extent, but men like you only have a 50 chance. And most of the time, you will be eaten. Knock knock. Huaxian knocked on the flower bed, which was made of pure ceramic. I reached out and touched the soil. It was normal. Nothing special. Out of curiosity, he looked at the beautiful woman's head and reached out to touch it. The beautiful woman did not avoid Huaxian's touch and then asked, "Are you comfortable?" Huaxian grinned. "It's a human. Of course I am a human being, just a poor human being. I wish I were an evil creature." The goddess roared as her mental state became increasingly abnormal. Huaxian ignored her and walked towards the main hall in the distance. There are many strange and weird things along the way. In the middle of the main hall is a lotus pond, which is filled with mermaid-like creatures instead of fish. They look like they were swimming freely in the water. But Huaxian discovered that the energy they could obtain was limited, and they were probably confined to one position by some force. "Human, you are not afraid at all," said a merman. Huaxian asked, "Why should I be afraid?" Another marine creature that looked like an octopus but had a human body said, "Because you will most likely be eaten soon." Huaxian smiled and said, "If the other person is delicious, then I would also like to eat him." Hearing this, these guys were stunned and looked at Huaxian in disbelief. "You are different. I hope you can really eat her," said a little mermaid innocently. Huaxian said, "Of course." After saying this, he walked around the pond and headed towards the main hall. "Wow, little human brother, come and play with me, please." Not far to the right, a little girl who looked neither human nor human shouted at Huaxian in a coquettish manner. Maybe it's because she's petite, she looks pretty. The key point is that the little girl was naked, which attracted Huaxian's attention. He walked over, squatted down and asked, "Little girl, what do you want to play?" Roar. The little girl let out a strange cry, and the mutant head suddenly enlarged. Its mouth opened wide, revealing all its fangs and teeth. And it suddenly bit towards Huaxian's head. Huaxian was so scared that he stepped back repeatedly. This thing's neck was like a rubber band, infinitely stretched, chasing after him and biting him. Huaxian ran all the way. Her speed was also very fast. Huaxian turned back, and this guy chased her relentlessly. Huaxian looked at her rubber band-like neck behind her and came up with an idea, jumping and spinning between his neck. After a few seconds, the guy seemed to have reached his limit and bounced back. The knot tied at the head was so huge that it wrapped the entire head. His body swayed and he fell to the ground. Huaxian walked over and looked at his lower body. It was nothing but a little girl's, just a flower tendons. The little girl began to struggle, as if she smelled the strange scent on Huaxian. The knot was so huge that after struggling for a while, there was no movement. Huaxian looked around and the faces of the people immediately hid themselves as if they were scared. Huaxian frowned and walked towards the main hall. The main hall is protected by human-like creatures holding strange weapons, and it isn't clear whether they are male or female. Huaxian walked over, and they didn't even look at him, as if they had received an order, and naturally did not stop him. Huaxian swaggered into the main hall. The main hall looked ordinary and there was nothing special about it. But when he passed through the door frame, the scene in front of him suddenly changed. It was filled with fog. His vision, hearing, smell, and perception were completely useless at this moment. In a daze, Huaxian was even shocked to find that he seemed to be disappearing. Or to be more precise, forgetting himself. Forget everything. Forget yourself. It's so horrible. I bit my tongue so hard that I didn't even feel the pain. Chapter 381, You are a devil, you are not a human. Thinking is also gradually forgotten. This made Hu Xin feel unprecedented fear. Transparent eyes. Under the transparent eyes, the Fogan miasma became a decoration. In front of him was a huge palace sitting in the upper seat. A human woman with long legs and perfect curvers was gazing at Hu Xin seductively. Angel wings. Pause. Holy light burst out, golden wings appeared. And the holy light turned golden. The miasma was dispelled. And Hu Xin finally felt that everything had returned to normal. The dazzling woman sitting on the upper seat looked at the golden wings on Hu Xin's back with a look of surprise. Xianian said, You are truly a different kind of human being. Come, serve me. If you serve me well, you will be rewarded. The voice is full of charm and is simply irresistible. Hu Xin burst out with his extraordinary willpower. And struggled to resist the heavenly music that kept echoing in his ears. Beads of sweat could not help but drip. Seeing that this human being could resist the charm of her fairy music, the woman's eyes showed curiosity. Human brother, come on. I'm looking forward to your satisfaction. The charm of Xianian intensified. And Hu Xin clenched his teeth so hard that blood came out. At this moment, the woman's long, straight legs suddenly spread open. Hu Xin's firm willpower to resist the temptation was instantly weakened by this scene. His mind went blank, with only the woman's fairy voice floating in the air. The whole person was like a walking corpse, walking towards the woman stiffly. He came to the woman, who stretched out her slender hand and gently stroked Hu Xin's cheek. Then, he stroked downwards and tore open Hu Xin's clothes. The robe fell off, revealing Hu Xin's perfect body. The woman was drooling at the sight. The slender hand continued to move and caress. And the right hand reached Hu Xin's heart. Boom boom boom. It was as if his hands had ears, sensitively feeling Hu Xin's strong heart. Tick, tick, tick. The woman was actually drooling. His eyes were fixed on Hu Xin's heart. Filled with passion. I couldn't control myself, thinking. What a strong and powerful heart, it must be delicious. The nails on the slender hands began to grow longer. As thin as cicada wings and extremely sharp. Tew. It pierced Hu Xin's heart fiercely. Hu Xin was extremely bewitched, his brows furrowed in pain. But he still didn't wake up. The smell of blood made the woman rule. And her open mouth revealed her sharp, jagged teeth. Holding Hu Xin's heart in his hand and feeling its beating, his saliva never stopped flowing. With a sudden and strong pull, a still beating bloody heart was pulled out. The woman stared at the heart with fiery eyes. Her mouth opened, becoming very big, and she took a bite. Started chewing. Makes a creaking sound. Ding, the host's heart has been dug out and eaten by an evil creature. And the host is considered dead. Ding, the host has one chance to revive. Automatically revive. After resurrection, the enchantment also disappeared. Hu Xin suddenly opened his eyes and looked at the stunning woman who was chewing his heart with relish. I thought to myself, you know how to play, right? The stunning woman paid no attention to Hu Xin's situation at all. This gave Hu Xin an opportunity. He pounced on him suddenly and started practicing dual cultivation. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have bound the ultimate evil heroine Moine. And increased the suppression of evil creatures by 100 million. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have obtained the first blood of the top evil heroine Moine. Mastered Moine's charm skills, obtained the first level of the evil 98 series evil gene true god. And obtained 100 million points of 98 series evil gene points. Ding, every time you practice dual cultivation with the evil heroine, you can steal 0.1 of your cultivation with the human king's authority. Ding, special note, the evil heroine Aizen the host will not be punished in any way. This effect made Hu Xin, who was extremely angry after losing an opportunity to resurrect, feel better. He decided that from now on Mayana would be his tool to cultivate his evil power. Mei Ne, who was chewing with relish, was stunned by Hu Xin's operation. The most shocking thing was that she found that the evil power in her body was flowing away like water. She suddenly exploded, trying to shake Hu Xin away. But he was suppressed so tightly that he had no power to resist. His face was full of horror and disbelief. He muttered in despair. How could this happen? How could this happen? How could you be the human king? The power of the human king is the power of justice. And it is the only power. He did not feel a trace of the power of justice from Hu Xin. However, the only one who can conquer the women of their evil tribe is the human king, who has a physique that can accommodate everything. Stop it, feeling her cultivation level rapidly draining away. Moine roared in despair. Hu Xin sneered, ignored her, and worked even harder to improve Mayana's skills. An hour later, Mayana's cultivation level dropped to the 8th level of True God. and Hu Xian's evil cultivation level rose to the 2nd level of True God. 2 hours later, Moinei's cultivation level dropped to the 7th level of True God, and Hu Xian's was promoted to the 3rd level of True God. After 8 hours, Moinei's cultivation level dropped to the 1st level of True God, and Hu Xian's was promoted to the 8th level of True God. If this continues, Mayana will fall from the True God. Damn human, you are abominable, you are more evil than us. Another hour passed, and Mayana's cultivation level fell below the True God realm, while Hu Xian reached the 9th level of True God. Mainei's face was pale and she looked extremely desperate. With his strength, he is a powerful person not only in Muyn Star, but also in the pseudo-god realm. Now I hate Hu Xian for falling from grace. His eyes were fixed on Hu Xian. If looks could kill, Hu Xian would have been killed countless times. Hu Xian smiled coldly and said, "My heart is delicious, right? I tell you, if you kill me once, I want you to pay it back for your whole life. Damn human. I curse you to live a life worse than death." After Mainei cursed, she was about to self-destruct. Hu Xian used the female protagonist's authority to easily suppress her, pulled her into his arms, and whispered in her ear, "You want to die? Without my permission, you can't even die. What did you do to me?" Moinei asked in despair, thinking about how she wanted to self-destruct just now, but was irresistibly suppressed by an unknown force. "What did you do? I'm telling you, from now on everything about you is under my control. I have the final say over your life and death." "You? What are you talking about? You ate my heart and caused me to lose my life. I really wanna kill you." "Then kill me," Moinei roared. For her, the decline in her cultivation level was a fate worse than death. "You wish for it, I won't kill you. I will only deprive you of your power after you become stronger, so that you will always be a weak ant. You are the evil demon. You are the dark soul, you are not a human." Chapter 382. Evil Growth Rules. Mayana is facing despair, anger, and near collapse. Hu Xian said coldly, "You'd better be obedient and don't make me angry. Otherwise I will take away all your cultivation." Moinei's body trembled violently and she took 2 steps back in fear. Now at least he still possesses the cultivation base of a pseudo-god. If this power is taken away again, then life would be worse than death. Even though he was extremely angry and regretted not devouring Hu Xian's flesh and blood, he did not dare to say anything that would anger Hu Xian. After all, life and death are in the hands of this human being who is more evil than the devil. Compromise. "Follow me." Hu Xian took the lead and walked out. Mainei followed him, looking at his back with hatred. "Come here, hold my arm, and be affectionate after all. We are husband and wife now." Mayana was so angry. "Who said you were my husband?" Subconsciously, I was about to speak up to object. Hu Xian glared at her fiercely and immediately shut up in fear. He walked over obediently and took Hu Xian's arm. "Put a smile on your face. Don't let people see that you feel wrong to be my woman. Otherwise I will immediately." Moinei's expression immediately changed, and a bright, kind smile appeared on her face. She finally realized that this guy was a domineering president, and she would be the one to suffer if she didn't obey him. The two of them then walked out of the palace together. Walk outside. The evil creatures encountered along the way were so surprised that their eyes almost popped out of their heads when they saw this scene. Out of respect and fear for Mayana, they not only did not dare to ask too many questions, but were also very cautious, fearing that Mayana would kill them if she was unhappy. This kind of thing happens all the time here. Outside, the team of soldiers escorting their subordinates were still waiting, awaiting orders from their superiors. Anthony Wong and his family looked towards the palace from time to time. Suddenly, they saw Mainei walking on the avenue holding Hu Xian's arm, and they were all stunned. The Lord of Evil is holding the arm of this stand human? They look very close and happy. But it be that the Lord of Evil has taken a fancy to this pretty boy and wants to control him to become his man? But why not myself? Anthony Wong thought with a broken heart. Hu Xian and Mainei soon arrived at the gate. All eyes and evil glances were focused on them. Hu Xian looked at Anthony Wong and his family with a smile, and said coldly, "You betrayed justice, joined evil, and even wanted to kill me. Tell me, how should I deal with you?" Anthony Wong said unwillingly, "Lord of Evil, this human is despicable and cunning. You must not be deceived by his sweet words." Ding dong. After saying that, he knelt on the ground, looking like he was going to ask the evil lord to think twice. Mainei looked at Anthony Wong and became even more angry. She thought to herself, "You knew this guy was despicable and cunning. Why didn't you tell me in advance? Now, I'm in trouble. What you said is of no use." The more I think about hindsight, the angrier I get. It can be seen that Hu Xian has a conflict with this guy. An evil force hit Anthony Wong. The latter sensed the danger. His body shook violently. He raised his head, and saw the scene of destruction. feeling extremely desperate. My lord, spare my life. My lord, please spare my son. Knock knock. Anthony Wong's parents also knelt down and begged. Anthony Wong saw that the Lord of Evil was determined to kill him. And he panicked and despaired, and could only beg for a chance of survival on his own. He turned and ran, hoping to escape. He hated Hu Xin even more in his heart, thinking that everything was caused by him. But what is his level of cultivation? Even if Mayana's cultivation level had dropped to the peak of a pseudo-god, it would be a piece of cake for her to deal with Anthony Wong. The evil gas penetrated into Anthony Wong's body and his entire body was wrapped in black smoke. He did not die instantly, but fell into extreme pain and screamed in agony. He kept struggling and rolling on the ground, which was extremely scary. At this time, wisps of pure black smoke, carrying complex energy auras, floated towards Mayana. Seeing this, Hu Xin curiously used his powerful soul power to sense it. It was discovered that the black smoke contained genetic power, life force, despair force, fear force, anger force and many other forces. These powers directly entered Mayana's body, and the heroine was 100% sensitive to it. It was discovered that these powers were directly absorbed by Mayana, and her cultivation level increased a little bit. Hu Xin was shocked by this evil method. No wonder evil is called evil. This kind of practice goes against the way of heaven, so it is naturally unacceptable to heaven and earth. After a while, Anthony Wong stopped struggling, and his body beneath his clothes turned into a pile of bones. Looking at the dead bones all over the ground, Hu Xin finally understood how they got there. Oinei thought about everything that happened last night and glanced at Hu Xin, wanting to know what his expression was and whether he would blame her. After all, everything was under his control now. After sensing it, Hu Xin said, "Aren't there still so many people?" Boom boom boom. Hearing this, all the rat men soldiers knelt on the ground in fear, trembling and terrified. It can also be seen that for some unknown reason, the evil Lord Mayana has been conquered by this human. They begged Hu Xin, "Sir, please spare our lives. We have no choice but to offend you. If we don't do what the Lord of Evil wants, we will die." Hu Xin sneered, "If you do it, you will die anyway." As Mayana waved her hand, dozens of evil forces were released. When these people saw this scene, they were filled with extreme despair and had no intention of escaping at all because they knew they could not escape. The painful wails, roars, and curses continued for a while, and all these people turned into dry bones. Hu Xin had been sensing Mayana's changes and discovered that after she had fallen from the peak of the pseudo-god realm, she was actually showing signs of becoming a true god again. I became very curious about the evil practices of the evil clan. "Come with me. Take Mayne outside to the fields." The beautiful ladies on both sides of the avenue recognized Hu Xin at the first sight. When they found that the Lord of Evil was gently holding his arm, they were all stunned. After looking at the countless heads of beautiful women on both sides, Hu Xin asked Moine, "What happened to them? Why were they planted in the fields?" Moine saw through Hu Xian's mystery and didn't dare to hide it. So she said truthfully, "I have set up a formation here. As long as they are planted according to the formation, they can absorb the various powers in their bodies every day. Because they are absorbed in a staggered manner, they can rest and recover, and I can obtain a stable source of power for a long time, thereby continuously strengthening myself." "Then how do they survive?" Hu Xin asked curiously. "There are powerful gene veins underground. I cannot absorb the power of the gene veins directly, but they can. I have set up formations so that the gene veins can provide them with a constant supply of energy, so they will not starve to death. Moreover, after so many years of accumulation, not only did they not die from the energy absorbed by me, but their cultivation became stronger and stronger because of their powerful genetic dragon veins. You've also seen that almost all of them are at the pseudo-god gene realm, and many are at the peak of the pseudo-god gene realm." Chapter 383, 100,000 Beauties. "So, they didn't suffer any harm?" Hu Xin asked thoughtfully. Looking around, there are no less than 100 beautiful women here. Almost all of them have the cultivation level of pseudo-gods, and more than 30 are at the peak level of pseudo-gods. As the human king, he can use the human king points to allow them to directly break through to become true gods. Once he does so, he will instantly have 30,000 true god warriors. What is this concept? It's scary to think about it. System, give me detailed information on improving the true god gene realm. Hu Xin asked impatiently. He wanted to build a powerful army of true gods, so that even if he went to the world of true gods in the future, he would have powerful trump cards and could even sweep across the world. It makes me excited just thinking about it. Bang! The true god gene world is divided into levels 1 to 100. To upgrade to the first level, you only need 1 point of true god gene power that carries the true god rules. The second level is 10 points, the third level is 100 points, and so on. It was indeed level 100, but the number of True God gene points required to upgrade to level 100 was so terrifying that it was simply unimaginable. Of course, the 33 million human king points currently possessed are enough to create an early army of true gods. What's more, they are all beauties. Just thinking about the grand scene of commanding an army of 100 true god level beauties to conquer all directions makes me extremely excited. Of course, not if I directly devour the power in their bodies. These 100,000 people will not improve me much. That's why I took great pains to arrange this ancient formation. Even if it is incomplete, it has brought me huge benefits. Unfortunately, he looked at Huaxian with resentful eyes. I thought to myself, you devil got away with it. Then, will it be okay to let them out now? Huaxian asked anxiously, already impatient. Of course there will be trouble. Once one person is passive, the formation will be destroyed and the self-destruct formation will be activated. Combined with the genetic dragon spirit veins below and the explosion of 100 pseudo-gods, the world will probably be destroyed. Hearing this, Huaxian took a deep breath. And how can I rescue them? Go to the underground Gene Dragon Vein, subdue or destroy the Gene Dragon Vein. Cut off the energy source of the formation, and you can rescue them. You are so easy to talk to, I don't quite believe it. Huaxian said to Moine with cold eyes. Moine smiled bitterly. What good can I get if I don't listen to you? The beauties around were all stunned with shock when they heard the conversation between Huaxian and Moine. From the conversation, it is not difficult to hear that this human, who has only been here for a short time, seems to have subdued the evil lord. Huan, have you really conquered this evil lord? A beautiful woman asked. Huaxian looked at the beautiful woman, smiled and said, of course. Why don't you give her a slap and try it? Pop. Huaxian slapped Moine in the face without hesitation. Huaxian had no regard for the evil heroine who took his life. The enormous risk caused Mayana's body to fly out like a kite with a broken string. Madman, you madman, Moine cursed angrily in a grieved lie. I never thought that even though I was so humble, he would still be so cruel to me. The beauties who saw this scene were all so shocked that they were stunned and couldn't recover for a long time. Come here, Huaxian shouted coldly. Moine was very unwilling, but she dared not disobey and hurried over. I can't understand why you are so cruel to me even though we are physically close. Huaxian stretched out his hand. Moine, with half of her face swollen, had to obediently hold Huaxian's arm and force an ugly smile on her face. This scene made the beauties around them go crazy. Oh my god, what did I see? The invincible Lord of Evil, Moine, was actually being held in the hands of a human youth. Am I dreaming? This can't be real. It seemed real. I bit my tongue and it hurt. Huaxian looked at the beauties around him and said, I will get you out, but I have a small request. What do you want? Hearing that they could be saved, all the beauties were extremely excited and asked loudly subconsciously. Huaxian smiled and said, you are all beautiful women. I am very interested in you all. So you want us all to be your women? A beautiful woman asked in shock. Then he said, but we have 100 people, are you sure you can handle it? The other beauties also looked at Huaxian with similar puzzled expressions. I don't have any aversion to being Huaxian's woman. After all, this is a man who conquered the Lord of Evil. He must be extremely outstanding. Women in the cultivation world only want a safe and stable living environment. And strong men can bring them the life they want. Huaxian conquered the evil Lord Moine, undoubtedly proving his own strength. Huan, can your body handle it? Ethin, I don't think it's okay. The scene exploded again. Huaxian said awkwardly, everyone be quiet, I want to form an army of beautiful women. And you are just right for me, so as long as you are willing to follow me, I will save you. So if we don't follow you, you won't be with us. Ruthless. That's too cruel, I still want to be your wife. Me too, I was just thinking about having a baby with him. Everyone, be quiet if you really don't want to, I will save you. How about this, I will save you first, and then you can consider the conditions I propose. After saying that, he said to Moine, take me to find the Gene Dragon Spirit Vein underground. Moine didn't dare to resist and obediently lead the way towards the castle. Human, as long as you save me, I, Asuka and Yin of the Bird Clan, are willing to follow you. I, Qiuyue of the Earthworm Tribe, am willing to follow you. I am from the Python Clan. Countless beautiful women expressed their opinions. Who wouldn't want to regain their freedom? Besides, most of them have been imprisoned here for at least 5,000 years. They have had enough, but they have no chance to leave. The opportunity is right in front of us now. Who would want to miss it? They didn't believe that Huaxian would save them unconditionally. Further away, those beauties still didn't know what was going on. Hearing the roars of these beauties here, they became extremely curious. Hey, what's going on over there? What are you guys making so much noise for? Do you know you're disturbing my sleep? That's right. I just had a beautiful dream someone came to rescue us. I was about to leave this damn place when you woke me up. Sisters, stop complaining. I have good news for you. A young man who was escorted here before has subdued the evil Lord Moyne. Now it is our turn to destroy the Gene Dragon's spiritual vein. What? The whole audience was shocked, and then couldn't believe it. How is it possible? How could the Lord of Evil Moyne be subdued by a human? I don't believe a human youth can be so powerful. Yes, if this human really saves me, I will be his woman. Me too, if he saves me, I will marry him. This news reached the ears of every beautiful woman. And after being shocked, they all refused to believe it. Chapter 384, Evil Dragon's Spiritual Vein. The Palace Backyard. Moyne brought Huaxian to a bottomless pool. The pool looked ordinary. Nothing special. The entrance to the dragon spirit vein is right below this pool, said Moyne. Huaxian didn't ask any more questions. He hugged Moyne and jumped into the pool. The water temperature dropped suddenly. And almost instantly, the body surface began to freeze. The extremely horrifying freezing cold air invaded the body through countless pores. Huaxian was shocked. He subconsciously looked at Mayana and found that she was fine, and there was a cold look in her eyes. Huaxian smiled coldly. You dare to play tricks on me? You asked for it? Holding Mayana in